You just said that a MILF is the ultimate peak. And the next moment, from a lifelong single dog, you were actually reborn into the body of a total scumbag. He was a domestic abuser, who somehow married a household name and famous pop star, who even gave birth to a cute daughter for him. But ever since the marriage, he was unexpectedly fired by his company. It's all because of a jinx like you that I lost my job. You couldn't help but complain. This previous host was a real bastard. Are trembling on the sofa. And Shen Yuchu, holding the child, sees you staring straight at her. She subconsciously pulls Wan even tighter into her arms. Tears fill her eyes. It's not that she hasn't thought about leaving with Wan, but she is an orphan herself. And all the family's money is in the hands of a demon like you. Seeing the terrified look of the two, you sigh deeply. Since you're here, you might as well make the best of it. Then you slowly stand up and turn on the light. The warm orange glow flickers on, illuminating the entire room. Looking at the messy chaos before you, you scratch your head speechless. First you open the window to let in some fresh air, then silently start cleaning up the empty beer bottles in the house. Shen Youchu is still holding Wan, huddled on the sofa without moving, though a flicker of surprise flashes through her eyes. You don't rashly go to disturb the mother and daughter, but instead grab a towel from the kitchen to clean the table, until the house is clean to a spotless state. By now you are already dripping with sweat, so you take some clean clothes from the bedroom and walk into the bathroom. Yuchu looks at the tightly closed bathroom door, her tense body finally letting out a sigh of relief. She looks at the room you just cleaned, her eyes reflecting intense disbelief. How did this demon suddenly change his ways? Mommy, I'm hungry. Be good, Wan. Mommy will cook for you in a bit. Shen Yuchu strokes Wan's hair, whispering softly, she can only wait for you to go to sleep, before she can cook for herself and the child. Then the bathroom door opens, and you walk right out. The mother and daughter sitting on the shabby small sofa shrink back at the same time. You shake your head, ignoring them as you push open the front door and head out. Shen Youchu freezes, despair filling her eyes. Did he go out to buy alcohol again? Didn't he drink enough tonight? Now she and Wan will have to go hungry for another night. Shen Yuchu bites her lip, tears falling uncontrollably. Mommy, don't cry. Mommy, I'm really not hungry anymore. Wan thinks it's because she's hungry, that her mother is crying. She hastily reaches out her small fair hand, clumsily wiping Shen Yuchu's face. Shen Youchu bites her lip, tears falling even harder. After a while, she says softly with a trembling voice, be good, Wan. Let Mommy lull you to sleep. You won't be hungry once you're asleep. Mommy will wake up early tomorrow to make you something delicious. Okay. Mommy, don't cry. Shen Yuchu gently hums a lullaby, coaxing Wan to sleep. Watching Wan slowly close her eyes, Shen Yuchu thinks about these past 2 years since getting married, her heart filled with extreme bitterness. She finally decides she'll leave this hell tomorrow, even if she dies out there. It's better than being tortured to death by this demon. Suddenly, the sound of the door lock rings out. Shen Yuchu, still lost in thought, can't help but shudder again. She subconsciously covers Wan's ears, quietly listening to the movement outside. You push open the front door and subconsciously look toward the sofa. Your expression blinks in confusion. Did they both go back to the bedroom? But it seems they haven't eaten yet. You stare blankly at the food in your hands. After thinking for a moment, you set the food on the table and walk toward the bedroom. Shen Yuchu's body remains completely tense. He hears your footsteps slowly approaching the bedroom and prays in his heart that you won't come in. But the very next second, I bought some food for you guys. If you're hungry, come out and eat. I'll be sleeping in the guest room tonight. Hearing this, Shen Yuchu suddenly snaps her eyes open. Then she hears your footsteps gradually fading away. The room falls silent once again, with only Shen Yuchu's nervous breathing echoing in the bedroom. Wan has opened her eyes at some point. She clearly heard your voice, and is staring curiously at the closed door. That smelly dad today actually didn't come back to the room to sleep, and he even seemed to say he bought food for them. Thinking of the food, she feels hungry again. She gulps, looking at her mother expectantly. Shen Yuchu lowers her head, seeing the longing in her daughter's eyes. Summoning her courage, she tiptoes quietly to the bedroom door. She opens the door, and the aroma of the food on the dining table hits her. Shen Yuchu's eyes instantly well up. He really actually bought food for them. Facing your sudden kindness, Shen Yuchu doesn't feel happy. Instead, she feels a deep soul-chilling fear. Why is he acting like this? What more does he want to get from her? Wan barefoot, runs over with her short little legs. She peeks through the crack of the door, and then her eyes suddenly light up. Saliva even starts to flow out uncontrollably, but she doesn't act on her own. Instead, she looks up, her big eyes staring at her mother without blinking. Shen Yuchu takes a deep breath, then forces a smile and picks Wan up. Be good, Wan. Let's be quiet. Let's eat. Wan hurriedly nods her little head. You inside the room naturally hear the sounds outside. You heave a deep sigh. After sighing, you start to ponder. Just after buying the food, you realized, in this house, there is actually only about 1,800 left in savings. I need to make some bank. A moment later, you suddenly sit up straight, wondering why you didn't realize it sooner. This is a parallel world. Feeling excited, you reach for your phone and keep scrolling through it. After a while, a smile spreads across your face. This world is indeed just as you remembered. The cultural heritage and the entertainment industry are completely different from your world. Some trashy songs that made you cringe actually occupy the top music charts. Clutching your phone, your mind races as you think. One classic song after another from your original world slowly begins to surface in your mind. As you keep thinking, you gradually can't hold on anymore, only able to drag your exhausted body and slowly drift off to sleep. The next morning at 6 a.m. sharp, you gently open the door and walk out of the bedroom. The dining table and kitchen have already been cleaned until they are spotless. It must have been Shen Yuchu who cleaned up after eating last night. You stand there for a moment thinking, then quietly head into the bathroom to wash up. You know that Shen Yuchu usually only gets up at 8 a.m. to cook, because the original you always slept until after 10 a.m. before getting up. Only after you woke up and finished drinking could the mother and daughter eat your leftovers. You subconsciously sigh again, then quickly finish washing up. Inside the room, Shen Yuchu is actually already awake, but she doesn't dare to go out. The sound of washing outside disappears, and the front door opens and closes. Shen Yuchu purses her lips, staring at the bedroom door, wondering what you went out for again. After waiting for a long time, there is still no sound outside. Shen Yuchu glances at Wan Wan, who is still sleeping soundly beside her, and after a thought, she gathers her courage and quietly gets out of bed. She opens the bedroom door and walks out. The smell of alcohol in the room has become very faint. The fresh air blowing in through the window smells wonderful. This whole situation gives Shen Yuchu an unreal feeling. It has been a long time since she smelled such a fresh scent. Shen Yuchu walks to the window to look at the world outside, unconsciously dazed for a moment. It isn't until this very second that she suddenly remembers she's only 24 years old. After an unknown amount of time, the sound of the front door rings out again. Shen Yuchu is jolted awake, and then her whole body subconsciously tenses up as she turns around mechanically. You also freeze in place awkwardly, not expecting Shen Yuchu to be awake already. After washing up, you realize there was no food at home. So you just bought some meat, vegetables, and rice. Both of you are stunned. Only now do you clearly see your wife's appearance. She is incredibly beautiful, way more stunning than the influencers and stars in your old world. But she's way too thin, and her face is excessively pale. It's likely due to malnutrition. Seeing this, your heart feels pain, hate, and awkwardness. What an absolute beast. To abuse such a beautiful wife like this, he really deserved to die. Morning. I'm going to cook now. You are the first to break the awkward silence, carrying the groceries quickly into the kitchen. Shen Yuchu can hardly believe her own eyes and ears. He actually greeted her. And when did he even learn how to cook? Shen Yuchu silently watches the silhouette, busy working in the kitchen. A massive sense of grievance surges in her heart. She bites her lip hard, her eyes gradually moistening. What is this supposed to be? Pitying me, a sudden realization of conscience. Mommy Wan Wan wakes up at this moment, unable to find her mom. She runs out with her little bare feet. As soon as she comes out, her little nose catches the aroma of food. She turns her big eyes toward the kitchen. You in the kitchen naturally see this little sprout too. Then you grinned and gave her a little smile. Terrified Wan Wan shrank back behind Shen Yuchu. You helplessly rubbed your nose. Before long, the meal was ready. You looked at the two still standing cautiously in the distance and said, "Go wash up and come over to eat." Even though Wan Wan was clearly gulping her saliva, she still didn't move. Shen Yuchu was also watching the scene with a bit of horror. You were originally quite expectant, but seeing their guarded expressions, the hope in your heart sank to the bottom of the sea. You fell silent for a moment, sighed again, and said, "You guys eat first." After speaking, you walked into the side bedroom. Shen Yuchu didn't move. She watched the door of the side bedroom close, then looked down at the expectation in her daughter's eyes. With a sigh in her heart, she said, "Wan Wan, let's go eat." The table was set with the millet porridge you made. It looked golden and very inviting. There were also 2 sides dishes and a small bowl of steamed egg. The moment she saw the steamed egg, Wan Wan's eyes instantly lit up. Mommy, did Daddy make this for Wan Wan? Shen Yuchu was momentarily speechless. She looked at her daughter's hopeful eyes, and eventually nodded. Wan Wan's eyes sparkled even brighter. She couldn't wait to scoop a spoonful of egg custard and put it in her mouth. "This is the first time Daddy has ever cooked for me. It's so delicious." Shen Yuchu just ate her food in silence. Her heart was struggling and full of confusion. Her gaze subconsciously drifted toward the side bedroom, toward that tightly closed door. You were sitting at the desk in the side bedroom. Actually, you were already starving. But you knew that currently the mother and daughter out there still couldn't handle sitting at the same table to eat with you. You shook your head to clear those thoughts, then took out your phone and clicked on the platforms of this world. You deleted the original account that only had a few thousand followers left. Then you registered a brand new account, habitually clicking on the platform's trending list. Your brow furrows in the next moment. What kind of trash is this singing? Since when did cramming at the last minute? This kind of low effort song actually dominate the hot searches? You have a plan in mind. From the desk, you pull out several sheets of music manuscript paper covered in dust. These were all left behind by Shen Yuchu. You spread the manuscript paper flat on the desktop, and the pen in your hand quickly starts writing tablature across the sheets. In your previous world, you were a songwriter. Now a little task like being a time-space porter is no trouble at all. In just a brief moment, a complete musical score appears right in front of you. Impatiently, you rummage through the closet nearby and pull out a guitar. Then holding the guitar, you sit upright at the desk, getting into the right headspace. The next second you close your eyes, your fingers gently sweeping across the strings as the guitar music drifts out of the room. Shen Yochu, who was silently eating, suddenly freezes. He can play the guitar. How is that possible? That guitar is hers. Shen Yochu knows very well that he doesn't play. At least not before. But what is going on now? Along with the sound of the guitar, your singing voice also slowly drifts out. Shen Yochu is even more stunned, her eyes filled with disbelief. Even Wan Wan, who was happily eating, is captivated by the singing. Stopping the spoon in her hand, she looks toward the closed door of the guest room, her big eyes blinking. Wan Wan tilts her head and gazes over there. Wan Wan knows that this is the same dad who cooked for her. For the first time, his voice is so gentle. Even though Shen Yochu has never heard this song, she can sense how powerful it is. Such a beautiful melody. She finds it hard to believe this was sung by you. Until the next line of the song rings out, Shen Yochu breaks down a little. She is lost in confusion once again. Fear of the road ahead, and fear of the change in the man before her. She's afraid this is just a fleeting dream. The singing stops at this very moment. Wan Wan also notices her mother's crying. Panicked, she climbs onto Shen Yuchu's lap, extending her small hands to desperately wipe her mother's tears. Mommy, don't cry. Wan Wan will blow on the pain for you. Wan Wan thinks her mother's body is hurting again. While helping Shen Yuchu wipe her tears, she raises her little face, pulling back Shen Yuchu's collar to blow on her skin. There beneath the collar, Shen Yuchu's back is covered in rows of scars. Naturally, you have no idea about what happened to the mother and daughter outside because of your song. Right now, you are opening your account and clicking to record a video. In the video, you don't show your face, only revealing the area from your nose down. Holding the guitar, you clear your throat. This time, you are clearly much more serious, playing and singing the song in its entirety once more. Once the song ends, you save the recording, trimming the idle time at the beginning and end. Finally, you extract the audio and add the lyrics, submitting the copyright ownership online. Once everything is set, you edit a title, All My Life With You, an original song for everyone. Hope you guys like it. Please give it a like and support. Video uploaded successfully. You let out a soft sigh of relief, thinking to yourself, finally finished. Next, just wait for the public's reaction. In this era, this song is a total banger. You put the guitar back in the closet and rub your empty, growling stomach. I wonder if the mother and daughter have finished eating. So hungry. This is such a struggle. Rubbing your stomach, you finally can't wait any longer. You gently push open the door, leaving just a small crack, looking out like a thief. You happen to see Shen Yuchu holding Wan Wan and leaving the dining table. Her eyes are red as if she just cried. She obviously sees you too. After freezing in place for a moment, she quickly carries the child back into the master bedroom. You breathe a sigh of relief, push open the door and walk to the dining table. Finally, you can eat. Looking at the food clearly left for you on the table, you feel a bit happy inside. Then you pick up the millet porridge and start gulping it down greedily, clearing every plate of food on the table. After tidying up the dishes, with nothing to do, you walk around the room, checking out the layout of this home. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-living-room apartment, only about 50 square meters. It was bought with money from both of them when they got married. Everything in the house was arranged back then, and these things now look quite worn out. You shake your head, returning to the sofa and plopping down. It's hard to imagine how Shen Yuchu lived in this atmosphere, with a child barely leaving the house for 2 years. This feeling is just like being in prison. You also know that you can't change much in a short time. So you just curl up on the small sofa, messing with your phone, searching for how to maintain a home, how to make a child happy, and how to be a good dad. The answers online are all over the place, making you scratch your head in confusion. Suddenly, the master bedroom door opens again. Following the sound, you see a little head poking out from there. Wan Wan tilts her head, staring with those almond eyes just like her mother's, curiously sizing you up. In those sparkling eyes, there is nothing but innocence and clarity, making your heart feel like it's melting. It's just that Wan Wan's face is too thin, just like her mother's. If she were a bit chubbier, she would definitely look even cuter. Back then, this mother and daughter could only eat leftovers, and the kid couldn't even eat the spoiled food. Since the original host never gave them any money, they were stuck living meal to meal, seeing Wan Wan. You subconsciously try to crack a smile, but before your lips can even move, you see Wan Wan slam the door shut in terror and scramble right back inside. Inside the room, you hear Shen Yuchu comforting the child. Your smile freezes on your face. You rub your nose, feeling totally awkward. Time slips away quietly. Until noon. You put down your phone and stand up to make lunch. And just at that moment, the bedroom door swings open. An expressionless Shen Yuchu carries a pile of laundry. As she walks out of the bedroom, she acts like you aren't even standing there by the sofa, heading straight for the bathroom. You clearly saw that when she came out, her body stiffened for a second. Is she going to do the laundry? You suddenly remember the clothes you changed out of yesterday are still sitting in the washing machine. Thinking of this, you quickly head toward the bathroom too. Shen Yuchu is feeling incredibly nervous. She didn't expect you to actually still be home. Usually at this time, you'd be out with those deadbeat friends of yours. Off drinking somewhere, she hears your footsteps, getting closer to where she is, and instantly gets even more tense. Her body starts trembling slightly. My clothes are still in the washer. Can I take them out to dry first? Shen Yuchu, who was bending over to open the washer door, is startled by your voice. Her body even stumbles a bit as she shrinks back into the corner of the bathroom. Careful now, you can't help but say, Shen Yuchu finally realizes that you were actually asking for her permission. Her eyes dart around, not daring to look at you. You go ahead. Thanks, you say, clenching your fists. Your hands are shaking a little too. Your eyes are filled with uncontrollable rage and heartache. Because you just clearly saw Shen Yuchu's neck, revealing those deep purple and red bruises. You gather the clothes from the washing machine without looking back at her, only saying, I'm making lunch in a bit. Remember to call Wan Wan out to eat. Wan Wan is asleep. Wait a while before you go wake her up. Shen Yuchu shrinks back even further. The poor girl looks completely panicked. You know your presence is only stressing her out. So you rub your nose helplessly. Grab the clothes from the washer and quickly head to the balcony to hang them up. Then you make your way into the kitchen. Back in the bathroom, Shen Yuchu stands frozen, clutching her clothes. She only snaps out of it when she hears the stove ignite. Trembling, she puts her clothes into the washing machine. But her eyes can't help but drift toward the kitchen. Thinking to herself, what's gotten into him? Shen Yuchu subconsciously rubs her own nose, then suddenly freezes again. Since when did he have that habit? Shen Yuchu just stands there by the washing machine, listening to the sound of the drum spinning, her heart feeling incredibly conflicted, until all the clothes are finally washed. She takes them out to the balcony to hang them up, and that man has been busy working away in the kitchen. Wan Wan didn't even wait for Shen Yuchu to call her. She woke up on her own. Her two tiny hands won't stop, rubbing her big sleepy eyes. The next moment when she sees you busy in the kitchen, those beautiful big eyes clearly light up. Then she curiously leans against the kitchen doorframe, just watching your back. Shen Yuchu finishes hanging the clothes and turns around to see this exact scene. Little Wan Wan looking on with total anticipation, and you working hard inside the kitchen. Shen Yuchu's mental state suddenly crumbles. She quickly turns around, leaning against the wall, covering her face as she slowly crouches down. Tears begin to fall silently. This was a scene that a long time ago she only saw in her dreams. This time you still didn't join them at the table. After bringing the food to the table, you hurriedly walked out of the house, hearing the door close. Shen Yuchu haphazardly wiped the tears from her face, stood up, hugged Wan Wan, and came to the dining table. No one knows how complicated her feelings are right now. Even she herself doesn't know what she's thinking. The food was just as delicious as breakfast. The little one was happily eating her egg custard. But this peaceful lunch for the mother and daughter was soon broken by the sound of the door opening. They subconsciously looked up and saw you carrying a large bag of things. As you pushed open the door and walked in, Wan Wan leaned closer to Shen Yuchu, the small spoon for the steamed eggs still in her mouth. Her large eyes followed your every move, your eyelids lowered, not daring to look at the frightened mother and daughter. You just walked to the sofa and put down the bag. Then spoke up, I bought you some ointment. Remember to use it. Also, I bought a toy for the kid. I don't know if she'll like it, but I see other little girls have them, so she should have one too. Shen Yuchu didn't respond to you. After finishing, you fell silent for a moment, then continued. I know you won't believe me, but there are things I still need to say. I won't drink anymore, and I won't hit you guys again. You and Wan Wan don't need to be so scared at home. The child is still small. This kind of atmosphere at home isn't good for her. You said it all in one breath, feeling the pent-up frustration in your heart ease up a lot. You didn't wait for Shen Yuchu to respond, and silently walked back into the side bedroom. Shen Yuchu watched your figure disappear. Seeing that bedroom door shut tight, she was even more at a loss for words in just one short day. Facing this man's sudden transformation, she still found it hard to let her guard down. Inside the bedroom, you're feeling even worse right now. Your eyes are all red. Clearly, you've been crying while you were outside. If it were possible, you'd rather not have isekai'd here at all than to know about everything happening here. Especially after seeing the scars covering Shen Yuchu's body, your heart feels so heavy it's about to break. You really can't wrap your head around how anyone could possibly harbor such extreme malice toward their own family. They finished eating and left some food for you. But when you walk out of your room and see the things you bought them on the coffee table, that bag still hasn't even been opened. You purse your lips and let out a sigh, only able to sit down and eat in silence. However, right at that moment, the master bedroom door actually opens again. Wan Wan pokes her little head out. Staring at you with pure curiosity, you quickly flash a wide smile at her. This time she finally doesn't get scared away. Your heart eases up a bit. Your depressed soul is partially healed by this adorable little kid, so you put down your chopsticks, using all the gentleness you possess to softly call for Wan Wan. Your voice makes her body tremble slightly in surprise, but she doesn't shrink back. Instead, she turns to glance back into the bedroom. Directly after, she seems to get some encouragement and looks at you again. A tender and sweet toddler's voice comes out of her mouth. Hearing that voice, your whole body shudders, and your eyes instantly well up with tears. This is easily, since you crossed over, the most beautiful sound you've ever heard. But Wan Wan just tilts her little head, looking strangely at you as you cry and laugh at the same time. You nod your head firmly, then stand up and take that doll out of the bag. You hold the doll and gently wave it at her. There's a flicker of excitement in Wan Wan's big eyes. She looks at the doll, then turns her head to look back at the bedroom, taking quite a while before finally shuffling towards you. Your heart starts pounding like a drum. Terrified of scaring this child who finally, the little one, getting close to you. She walks up to your side, lifts her little face and sniffs hard with her tiny nose. The next second she reveals a happy smile. Daddy doesn't smell bad anymore. Is the doll pretty? Her little hands twitch, wanting to take it but not daring to. Only staring at you intently with her big dark eyes, you immediately understand her gesture. So you slowly squat down to eye level with her, gently placing the toy into her hands. Wan Wan finally takes the toy. As her little fingers touch the doll's dress, her eyes instantly curve into crescent moons. Seeing her joyful expression, your heart is a mess of emotions, especially when you see her thin little face up close. And that faded washed out outfit, which is clearly way too small for her. Your heart stings like it's being pierced by needles. She's only 3 years old. You grit your teeth and quickly wipe away your tears, squeezing out a smile to quietly watch her play. At this moment, nothing else exists in your eyes. And meanwhile, Shen Yaochu inside the master bedroom, hearing her daughter's bell-like laughter outside, is already covered in tears. Before long, Wan Wan gets sleepy. She tightly hugs the doll, gives you a look while you're still grinning like an idiot, and runs back into the bedroom. But what you don't know is, in just one single night, that song of yours, A Lifetime With You, is absolutely killing it and going viral. At 10 p.m. that night, your video actually breaks into the top 5 trending topics. At the same time, in the office of Li Xia Operations Director at Dusho HQ, there's a knock on the door. A technician holding a tablet rushes in drenched in sweat. Director Young, we have a special situation. A video hit the top 5 trending in only 2 hours. What's the panic? Which big influencer messed up now? It's not a big influencer. It's a new account just registered today. And the video hasn't had any paid promotion. The content is just a song. As soon as those words came out, Li Xia's expression changed instantly. She immediately clicked on the trending list, only for the shock in her eyes to deepen. It's actually already climbed to 4th. I've got to see what kind of song this is. After the song finished, Li Xia fell completely silent. It was her first time hearing such a beautiful song. She immediately clicked on your profile and saw your name Bufan. Right after she gave Liu Yun an order. Give this video a push right now. Make sure it hits #1 trending by tomorrow. Liu Yun nodded vigorously, knowing he had bet correctly. And after he left, Li Xia listened to your song once more. Her fingers lightly tapped on the desk. A moment later, she picked up her phone and sent you a DM. But you were completely unaware of this. You woke up at 5 a.m. and headed out for a morning workout after washing up. This body was in worse shape than you thought. You were huffing and puffing after just a short run, running and stopping. You finally finished 5 kilometers in an hour. It was already 7:30 by the time you got home. As soon as you pushed open the door, you bumped right into Shen Youchu, who had just finished washing up. Water droplets clung to the hair on her forehead. She was startled when she saw you. You froze for a second and asked awkwardly, is Wan Wan still sleeping? You go look after Wan Wan. I'll make breakfast after I shower. Is there anything you want to eat? No, just make whatever. I'll go check on the kid. After saying that, she ducked into the bedroom as if escaping. You looked at the closed door and could only shrug helplessly. After taking a shower, you were starving. The original host's alcohol addiction also started acting up. You could only cook while chugging hot water to cope. Just then, Wan Wan wakes up. She's clutching the doll you gave her, leaning against the kitchen doorframe, watching you. As soon as you turn around and see the little one, you instantly flash a doting smile and ask Wan Wan, what do you want for breakfast? Daddy will make it for you. Wan Wan tilts her little head, thinking for a long time. Eggs. Wan Wan loves steamed eggs. All right, steamed eggs it is, you answer dotingly, reaching out to rub her little head. But afraid of scaring her, you quietly pull back, no rush. Take it slow. Wan Wan is starting to accept you. This gives you a glimmer of hope and puts you in a great mood. Even the alcohol cravings and hunger seem to vanish. You put breakfast on the table, and as usual head back to your small bedroom. to let the mother and daughter eat first. But this time there's clearly more laughter outside. You lie down on the bed and pick up your phone, which was on silent, wanting to check how the video performed. Who knew that the moment you unlocked it, you'd be absolutely floored. Holy crap. How many notifications are there? You gulp and click on your profile. The next second, the follower count of over 1 million nearly blinds you. With a racing heart, you click on the video. Over 2 million likes. Nearly 1 million comments. The smile on your face can't be stopped anymore. You've literally become an overnight sensation, and the comment section is pure praise. Everyone is begging for a new song. Next comes the moment to check the earnings. You open the back end, and the number in the wallet makes your jaw drop. A full 320,000. Without any advertisements at all. You made 320,000 in one day just from traffic. And it was passive income. You finally breathe a sigh of relief. You're rich now. Life won't have to be so tight anymore. You have to realize, before you were clutching your entire net worth of $1,000, even buying groceries was a struggle. You quickly transfer the earnings to your bank card, waiting until the two outside finish their meal. Then you push the door open and head out, clearing the table and finishing the dishes. You grab your phone and hurry out the door. This old neighborhood you live in was bought back then just because it was cheap. You both once dreamed of moving into a nice house, but the original host didn't just blow through the savings. He even sold Shen Yuchu's phone to buy Boo. You walk out of the residential area, heading straight toward the mall from your memory. The moment you step inside, you see a big brand domestic phone store. A young female clerk sees you. Her eyes light up as she greets you. Hey handsome, looking for a new phone. You nod your head, scanning the counter. Let me see this one. You've got great taste. This is our latest model. It even supports satellite calls. Do you sell SIM cards here? Of course, is it for yourself? You shake your head. No, it's for my wife. The clerk freezes for a second. A hint of disappointment flashes in her eyes. She's probably thinking to herself, all the good men are already taken. But she doesn't miss a beat. Your wife is so lucky. However, for the SIM card, she needs to bring her ID in person. Alright, didn't expect SIM cards to need real name registration too. Then please just wrap the phone up for me. After paying you leave in a hurry, there's still a lot of stuff to buy. Can't afford to waste any more time. At the same time, right after you left the house, Shen Youchu cleaned the entire place from top to bottom, sitting on the sofa and looking out the window. The smell of alcohol is finally gone from the house. The fresh air makes her feel incredibly comfortable. Watching Wan Wan playing happily, Shen Yuchu's lips unconsciously curl into a smile. Life like this is truly wonderful. But the next second, the sound of the door lock turning instantly snapped her out of her deep thoughts. Wan Wan also scrambled up quickly, clutching her doll and diving into Shen Yuchu's arms. To their surprise, loud noises came from outside, mixed with your familiar voice. Slow down, slow down. Don't scratch it. Stand it up and move it inside. She quickly picked up Wan Wan to head back to the bedroom, but her eyes couldn't help but look outside curiously. The next moment, you and a strange man appeared in her line of sight. You guys were carrying in a cream-colored cloud sofa. You saw Shen Yuchu's eyes clearly brighten, with joy written all over your face. Hey, could you help pour a few cups of hot water for the workers to take a break later? Shen Youchu, who hadn't dealt with outsiders for a long time, was a bit at a loss. Okay, I'll go pour it right now. Right now. The smile on your face grew even wider, drenched in sweat but full of energy. Then you and the workers moved the new sofa into the room and moved the old worn-out sofa out. Then came the TV, the fridge, and even some green plants. As each piece of new furniture entered, the house instantly transformed. It looked brand new. Those discarded pieces of old furniture were eventually sold by you for only $800. Shen Yuchu felt a bit of a sting seeing that, even though that furniture was old, it was still usable, and $800 was such a loss. But what she was more curious about now was where you got all this money. According to her calculations, the family should be struggling to even put food on the table. After seeing off the workers, you carried a large bag back into the living room, satisfied as you looked over the fruits of your labor. Now this finally feels like a home. You wiped off your sweat, placed the bag on the new coffee table, and plopped down onto the soft sofa. The mother and daughter were still standing dazed in the kitchen. Wan Wan hugged her mom's leg like a curious little baby, looking here and there, glancing left and right. Seeing the little one like this, your eyes crinkle into happy slits, suddenly feeling a huge sense of accomplishment. And so, you pull a large pink toy out of the bag and place it on the coffee table, while keeping your eyes fixed on Wan Wan. Sure enough, Wan Wan's attention is instantly snatched away. You reach out and beckon to Wan Wan, looking at her dotingly. Wan Wan, come see what Daddy bought for you. But Wan Wan doesn't run over immediately. Instead, she looks up at her mom, until Shen Yuchu's lips move without saying a word. Only then does she slowly shuffle over step by step. You immediately unwrap the toy's packaging. It's a princess dollhouse. The princess house is so messy. Does Wan Wan want to help Daddy decorate the little princess's home? Wan Wan's eyes instantly sparkle as she leans her body closer, right up against your leg. You give a gentle smile. Pick up the little princess from the house and sigh in a playful, dainty voice. The little princess isn't dressed up yet. Daddy doesn't know how to dress her, so I'll have to leave it to Wan Wan. You say while holding the princess out to her. Wan Wan blinks her big eye, tentatively reaching out her small hand, until she touches the princess in your palm. You keep smiling throughout, placing the little princess in her hands, and even covering her tiny hand with your large one. In that moment, her warm little hand is held by yours. The corners of your lips turn up. You pick up a long pink dress. I'll leave dressing the princess to Wan Wan. Can Wan Wan teach Daddy how? Wan Wan feels the warmth of your palm, looking at the little princess. Then at your pitiful expression, she suddenly laughs. Daddy is so silly. Wan Wan will teach Daddy. The little one laughs, showing off her tiny white teeth. As she leans against your leg, awkwardly putting the dress on the little princess, you start laughing along with her. You humbly accept the little one's guidance, learning how to dress up the little princess. In this moment, this small room suddenly becomes incredibly bright. Shen Youchu leans against the doorframe, quietly watching this beautiful scene before her eyes gradually welling up with tears. But you two hadn't played for long. When you look up and see Shen Youchu dazing off, that faded light blue shirt she's wearing now looks exceptionally painful to look at. Your eyes suddenly narrow. A thought flashes, this is actually a matching set, bought for Wan Wan's second birthday. When Shen Youchu secretly bought it behind your back, only to end up getting beaten over this outfit, and her phone sold off as well, recalling this, you instantly fall silent. The next second you stumble, standing up and covering your mouth as you rush to the bathroom to vomit. Only now do you realize, when a person with a conscience relives such behavior from a first-person perspective, just how much sickening rage it produces. This sudden turn of events terrifies the mother and daughter outside. Shen Youchu trembles in fear, rushing over to the sofa and pulling Wan Wan tightly into her arms. Wan Wan buries herself in her mom's embrace, scared that her dad, who just finished vomiting, will be just like he was before, suddenly rushing out to hit and scold them. A while later, you walk out of the bathroom looking pathetic. Your eyes are completely bloodshot. Looking at the frightened Shen Youchu and Wan Wan, you feel even worse inside. Your stomach won't stop churning, but you still endure the discomfort, weakly speaking to say, I'm sorry for scaring you. I just feel a bit unwell. Thinking about how you are currently occupying the body of this demon, you feel like 10,000 ants are crawling on your skin. Seeing their still guarded expressions, you let out a heavy sigh. Silently walking into the kitchen though, Wan Wan might not be done playing. Go play with her for a little longer. I'll make lunch. Shen Youchu gazes carefully at your profile. So familiar yet so strange. Finally, she nods her head and sits back on the sofa holding Wan Wan. Wan Wan peeks her little head out. Realizing you're still that gentle daddy, a smile finally spreads across her tiny face again. Until lunch is ready. The aroma of the food wafts through the living room. But Shen Youchu sees that after you bring the dishes to the table, you silently return to the side bedroom again. Her lips twitch, but she can't say a single word. While eating, Wan Wan holds her small spoon, suddenly frowns and asks her mom, why isn't Daddy eating with us anymore? Shen Youchu is nibbling on a piece of stir-fried meat. This is her favorite dish. Because you couldn't eat spicy food, she hasn't had it in a long time. Hearing her daughter's question, she subconsciously looks toward the side bedroom, then turns back. She suddenly smiles, a smile like a flower blooming in spring. That's because Daddy and Mommy aren't ready yet. The little one doesn't understand. Her little brow furrows even tighter. Meanwhile, in the bedroom, you're dazing off. You keep telling yourself it's not your fault, but it doesn't change the fact that he's you now. In desperation, you can only pull out your phone to scroll through videos as a distraction. Your video is still ranking high on the trending list. The comments are all begging for a new song. Just then, the sound of washing dishes comes from outside. You put down your phone and walk out. There's still food left for you on the table. Shen Youchu is in the kitchen washing dishes. Wan Wan is on the sofa playing with her new toy. Seeing you come out, Wan Wan isn't as scared as before, so you smile, walk over and pat her little head. Then look toward the kitchen. Shen Youchu just came out of the kitchen and sees you staring at her. She instantly gets nervous, clutching the hem of her shirt helplessly. Seeing her so submissive and timid, you can't help but frown, sighing silently in your heart. It's exactly because of her gentle and reserved nature that the original host bullied her so fearlessly. Thinking of this, your furrowed brow instantly relaxes. So you take the phone you just bought from the coffee table and place it on the table. Looking at Shen Youchu, you say softly, I bought a phone for you. See if you like it. Also, I have some things to discuss with you. Can you come sit here? Shen Youchu was originally lowering her head. Hearing your words, she suddenly looks up at you. The first thing she meets are your clean and clear eyes. Right after that, she sees the brand new phone box on the table. Shen Youchu hesitates for a moment. Only after a while does she give a soft, slowly walking to the sofa to sit down. Is there something to discuss? Her voice is very quiet. You have to perk up your ears to hear clearly, but you don't answer. Instead, you pick up the phone box on the table, unwrapping it on your own, taking out the new cyan-colored phone. After a quick setup, You hand it directly to Shen Yuchu. This phone is for you. You'll need to get the SIM card yourself. I've already saved my number. If I'm not home later, you can call me if anything happens. While you are speaking, you pull a stack of cash from your pocket and place it in front of her. This is the cash you just withdrew. If you're free this afternoon, take the kid out for a stroll. It's not good to stay cooped up at home all the time. Buy whatever you want, especially clothes. Look, both of your clothes are much too small. Also go open a bank account. Carrying cash isn't safe. You keep rambling on, speaking all your thoughts in one breath. However, Shen Yuchu just looks up, staring intently at you in front of her, listening to your constant rambling. Her eyes slowly begin to redden. Seeing that she hasn't taken the phone for a while, you helplessly rub your nose. Do you not like this phone? I thought the color looked pretty nice, and I bought it because it's the latest model. If you don't like it, we can go buy another one you prefer. Unexpectedly, Shen Yuchu gives you another deep look. I really like it. Thank you. Her voice is still very soft, carrying a choke and a slight tremble. Right then, the two of you suddenly lock eyes. You unnaturally look away, but feel relieved inside. As long as you like it, no need to thank me. All right, I'm going to go eat now. After saying that, you immediately stand up, walk quickly to the dining table, and start digging in. Actually, Shen Yuchu is still wondering where you got so much money, but she didn't ask. She just picks up the new phone on the table and examines it carefully. Wan also leans over from the side, looking curiously at the new gadget in her mom's hand. Shen Yuchu takes the chance to pat the little one's head. The two of them just sit there studying the phone together. After eating, you're covered in sweat. You wanted to take a shower, but the mother and daughter stayed in the living room all day, making you feel quite embarrassed. Ultimately, you can only head back to the side bedroom feeling a bit depressed. Until 5 p.m., the sky outside is finally not so scorching hot. Shen Yuchu hesitates for a moment on the sofa, before finally picking up the money on the table. Then she leads Wan out of the house. Wan hasn't been out for a very, very long time. She really loves going out to play, but before her mom never took her out, and her dad wouldn't allow them to leave. So this time she seems exceptionally happy. The little one holds her doll in one hand, while holding her mom's hand and skipping along. Her round big eyes are looking all over the place. Everything outside to her is filled with a sense of novelty. It's just that Shen Yuchu is a bit stiff. She unconsciously quickens her pace. Looking at the pedestrians passing by on the street, she feels inexplicably self-conscious, especially with her and Wan. Wearing these ill-fitting clothes, it makes her feel like other people's gazes always linger on her for an extra second. The mall isn't far. She vaguely remembers it's just 2 streets away. It has changed quite a bit since she was last here. In just 2 years, the place seems to have been renovated more exquisitely. As soon as she enters, she sees a phone store. Inside there's a counter for SIM card registration. Shen Yuchu hesitates for a moment before leading the child inside. There are quite a few people in the store. The staff all seem very busy. Shen Yuchu, who hasn't socialized in ages, stands there feeling a bit lost. Fortunately, a female clerk notices her and takes the initiative to walk over. She first pats Wan's head, then says with a smile, "What a good kid. Are you looking to buy a phone, miss?" Hearing someone praise Wan, Shen Yuchu also lets out a smile. "I want to get a SIM card. Can I do that now?" The clerk keeps a smile on her face. While talking, she guides Shen Yuchu to the counter. "Yes, right, this way please. We have several data plans for you to choose from. But if I may ask, what brand is your phone? If it's our store's brand, there's a discount for registering a SIM card." Hearing the word discount, Shen Yuchu's eyes light up. She quickly pulls the phone out of her pocket and hands it to the clerk, asking softly, "Is this one okay? I think it's your brand, and it was just bought this morning." The clerk's expression freezes. She takes another careful look at Shen Yuchu. There were only a couple of latest model phones sold today, and now someone's here for a SIM card. The clerk naturally thought of you from this morning. So this mother and daughter are the wife and child of that handsome guy from earlier. It's just that they both look so haggard, and their clothes are clearly ill-fitting. That handsome guy didn't look like someone who would mistreat his family. The clerk couldn't figure it out, but she didn't ask any questions. Keeping the smile on her face, she exclaimed, "So that handsome guy who bought the phone this morning is actually your husband? You really are so lucky. This is the latest model phone we have. With this phone, you can get this plan. Top up 100 and get 100 free, plus 600 minutes of free talk time." She continued her enthusiastic service. Only this time the client had changed from you to Shen Yuchu. Shen Yuchu was so dazed by the pitch that she paid up and successfully registered the card. Even after walking out of the phone store, inside her head, the clerk's enthusiastic voice was still echoing. But she actually called him a good man. Shen Yuchu really wanted to tell her, if he's such a good man, why don't you take him home? After getting the SIM card, Shen Yuchu opened a bank account and deposited all the cash she had. After the SIM card cost, there was 4,900 left. You had given her a full 5,000 this time. Holding the phone and bank card while leaving the bank, Shen Yuchu looked at the skyscrapers all around and suddenly felt like she was alive again. Now she could take the child and leave. She could use this money in her hand to find a job and support herself and the kid. She could even pursue her dreams once more. This sudden rush of freedom kept Shen Youchu standing there for a long time, until a tender child's voice sounded in her ear. "Mommy, can Wan have an ice cream?" She instantly snapped out of it. Wan was still there, pulling her hand. Those round eyes were staring straight at the ice cream shop nearby. Saliva was practically dripping from the corners of her mouth. Shen Youchu laughed. Her smile was so bright and radiant. "You can, but only one. Otherwise your tummy will hurt. Wan loves Mommy the most." The mother and daughter finally went out, while you took a nice refreshing shower, having absolutely no idea that Shen Youchu might not actually come back. After finishing your shower, you started preparing for tonight's dinner. The usual 2 meat and 2 veggie dishes. You planned to make some noodle soup tonight. But since you didn't know when they'd be back, you didn't start cooking them just yet. Placing the side dishes on the table, with the noodles cut and ready on the cutting board, you went back to the living room and flopped onto the sofa, picking up your phone to scroll through parenting tips. What to do if the child won't eat? Just give them a beating. That's definitely a no-go. Skip. Wan is so well behaved, how could she not eat? Besides, for such a cute little thing, you wouldn't dare lay a finger on her. You scrolled until you started feeling a bit drowsy. You let out a yawn and checked the time in the top corner. It was already 7 p.m. Why weren't the mother and daughter back yet? You suddenly sat bolt upright. Could something have happened to them? You felt a surge of anxiety, hurriedly standing up to put on your shoes, preparing to head out and find them. But just as you opened the door, you happened to run right into them returning from outside. A gentle, fragrant breeze wafted in from the doorway. You were completely stunned. At this moment, Shen Youchu was humming an unknown little tune. Her steps were light, and the upward curve of her lips showed that she was in a very good mood right now. She was holding several shopping bags in her hand. Wan was clutching the hem of her shirt with one hand, while in the other hand, she held her, still clutching that doll you gave her. The reason you're so stunned is the two of them have changed into new, well-fitting clothes. 2 pairs of lively almond eyes see you and clearly freeze for a moment too. The next second, Wan sweetly leans in, calling out "Daddy." Clearly, after going out for a trip today and changing into new clothes, Wan is in high spirits. That one "Daddy" almost made your soul fly away. You respond with a voice that's visibly trembling, then squat down to ruffle Wan's hair, picking up the adorable little thing in your arms, leading the way into the house. "Daddy's making noodles for you today, okay? The kind with 2 eggs added." Wan loves eating eggs. Wan loves Daddy the most. Shen Youchu is left stunned in the breeze outside. The little one just said she loved Mommy most, and she's already defected in the blink of an eye. Wan didn't have to wait long. The noodles with eggs were finished quickly. You bring the noodles over to her, gently pinching her little nose, then habitually turn to walk toward the bedroom. Just as you turn around, unexpectedly, the little one suddenly grabs the corner of your shirt. "Daddy, can you eat dinner with Wan?" That soft, sweet voice rings out again. You turn your head and meet Wan's expectant gaze with hesitation. Stealing a glance at Shen Youchu sitting nearby, Shen Youchu doesn't speak or look at you, as if she didn't even hear Wan's words, just focusing on her own noodles in front of her. You're a bit speechless. This situation is really hard to handle. Just give me a straight answer, win or lose. What does this silence even mean? You can only try to test the waters. Then I'll stay and eat with Wan. Daddy, sit next to Wan. It's Wan who answers you. She happily pats a chair on the other side. You rub your nose with an awkward expression, bringing another bowl of noodles from the kitchen. Sitting down right next to Wan. Mommy is sitting on the left, Daddy is sitting on the right. In the middle, Wan is flanked by her parents for the first time. The smile on her face hasn't faded once. She even starts eating extra hard, directly finishing a full bowl of noodles, leaving it completely clean. In the end, Shen Youchu was afraid the little one would overeat, and wouldn't let her eat anymore. Only then did the little one stop. But after dinner, Wan wanted her mom and dad to finish the dollhouse together. This wish of hers was not meant to be. In the end, only you were left to play with Wan. And after Shen Youchu finished her dinner, she went back to the master bedroom alone. You could understand this, letting you sit at the table to eat together. Shen Youchu must have gone through a massive internal struggle. You put yourself in Shen Youchu's shoes, thinking that if it were you, after suffering that kind of treatment in the past, trying to get along peacefully with an enemy, you definitely couldn't do it, no, if it were you. The original you wouldn't even have a body left by now, the kind that's chopped up to feed the dogs. You keep playing with Wan until 9 p.m. Wan is so sleepy her little head keeps nodding, but she still refuses to go to sleep. During this time, you also noticed a very serious problem. That is, Wan is already 3 years old, but the little one still can't take off her own shoes. You should know, normally a 3-year-old child is already at the age to start kindergarten. Regarding this, you also know, this was caused by the previously broken family environment, so you can't rush things, but you still feel incredibly pained. Shen Youchu walked out of the bedroom at this time. She didn't speak. Just silently watched the interaction on the sofa. The meaning in her eyes was crystal clear. You understood instantly and picked Wan Wan up from the sofa. After giving her a kiss on her little face, you said with a smile, Wan Wan, it's time for bed. Daddy will play with you again tomorrow, okay? Wan Wan's eyes, which were about to close, peeked open slightly. She looked at your face, then turned her head to look at Shen Yuchu. Then her little head suddenly buried itself in Daddy's neck. These sudden words leave you a bit flustered and make Shen Yuchu's face turn slightly dark. The most terrifying thing is the sudden silence. You look at Shen Yuchu with an innocent expression. This was the little one's own idea. It really wasn't you who coerced her. Shen Yuchu secretly clenched her fist. This little ungrateful wolf, all those years of care for nothing. Corrupted by the enemy's sugar-coated bullets in just 2 days. In the end, the little one got her way. Shen Yuchu gave her a quick wash, and the little one happily crawled into Daddy's covers. Wan Wan was like a little koala, hugging your neck and refusing to let go. You let her hold you just like that. This was your first time putting a kid to sleep. Recalling the parenting tips from the internet, you gently told Wan Wan a bedtime story. Soon Wan Wan felt completely satisfied and fell into a deep sleep. Early the next morning, while Wan Wan was still fast asleep, you got up early as usual, tiptoeing out of the bedroom into the living room, getting ready for your morning run. The next moment, as if you couldn't believe it, you rubbed your eyes. The ointment on the coffee table was actually gone. Your eyes gradually lit up, and a knowing smile spread across your face. You left the house today in a blissful mood. Morning run, shower, and cooking. You spent over 2 hours in total. After finishing breakfast, today there was one more task: waking up your daughter. Wan Wan was woken up by your gentle voice. She rubbed her sleepy eyes, and the moment she saw you, an adorable, charming smile gradually bloomed across her face. The little one reached out her soft, tender arms, striking a pose wanting Daddy's hugs. You immediately reached out and gently picked her up, putting on the new clothes you bought for him yesterday, only then carrying him out to wash up. You have learned how to take care of kids from videos. But theory is just theory. Now that it's time for practice, you realize just how hard it is. The little one's body is too delicate. You're afraid to use too much force, so the whole process makes you look quite clumsy. Especially when tying the little one's hair, you're clearly out of your league after struggling for a long time. In the end, it's just a crooked mess. Daddy is a big dummy. Wan Wan sees her lopsided hair in the mirror and mocks you with her little mouth pouting. You pinch her little nose, making Wan Wan giggle nonstop. As she reaches out her tiny hand to pinch your nose back, Shen Yuchu comes out of the bedroom and sees this heartwarming scene between father and daughter. She doesn't say anything, just silently goes into the kitchen to bring out breakfast. Perhaps even she hasn't noticed that the corners of her mouth have already curled up slightly. After the family of 3 finishes a simple breakfast, you don't give Wan Wan back to Shen Yuchu, but continue taking Wan Wan to the sofa to play with the princess house. Only this time, while playing with Wan Wan, you casually start feeding her little brain some very simple numbers. Numbers from 1 to 10. After discovering Wan Wan's issues, you've secretly come up with a plan. During your regular playtime, a plan to cultivate the little one's independent learning, from simple numbers to some common life knowledge. You will slowly teach Wan Wan. Obviously, this isn't something that succeeds overnight, but luckily Wan Wan is very smart. It's just that no one taught her these things before. Now, under your casual guidance, she quickly remembers some of the knowledge, and you've noticed since Shen Yuchu came back yesterday, she seems like a different person all of a sudden, clearly showing a spirit she never had in the past. This is a good sign. It makes you feel much better inside. Shen Yuchu downloads the platform apps. While observing the interaction between father and daughter, at this moment she also notices that you are subtly teaching Wan Wan. She watches quietly. As a trace of sweetness wells up in her heart, she had wanted to teach the child long ago. But with the previous family environment, their lives were already so difficult. How could she have the ability to teach like a normal mother? Wan Wan. Shen Yuchu looks back at the phone screen. As expected of the latest model, the app download speed is super fast. In just a few seconds, several apps have already finished downloading. The moment Shen Yuchu logs into her WeChat, unread messages immediately pop up. It's from her assistant of 2 years, Chu Chu. She only has a few people on her WeChat. Aside from Yi, there are people from her previous company. Chu Chu's messages, from after her marriage until 2 days ago, have been sent nonstop, mostly asking about her current situation. But she was never able to reply. Looking at this long string of messages, Shen Yuchu feels warmth in her heart. She immediately replies, "Sorry, Chu Chu. I couldn't reply to your messages before. I'm doing pretty well now. Don't worry." 2 seconds after the message was sent, a reply from the other side came back instantly. "Sister Shen, you're finally alive. I thought that after you got married, you didn't want to deal with me anymore. Sister Shen, you have no idea since you vanished. The company has been full of rumors and gossip, especially that annoying Lu Li has been so arrogant these past 2 years, bad-mouthing you to everyone she meets, saying you got what you deserved. It's honestly infuriating." Seeing Chu Chu's message, Shen Yuchu's lips pursed slightly. Lu Li wasn't wrong. She really did bring it on herself. Back when she was at the company, she had always stayed one step ahead of Liu Li, so it was only logical for Liu Li to act this way after she retired. How have you been lately, Chu Chu? Is life going okay? Shen Youchu didn't address Chu Chu's complaints, but instead asked about her current situation. It's great, Sister Shen. Don't you worry. I'm like an unkillable cockroach. It's just that I miss you, Sister Shen. Sister Shen, will you ever make a comeback? Shen Youchu paused for a moment. A flicker of longing appeared in her eyes. Would she ever make a comeback? She turned her head to look at you, then looked back at Wan Wan. After a moment, the longing in her eyes slowly faded. Probably not. But if you miss me, Chu Chu, we can find some time to meet up. At this moment, inside the Tianmei Entertainment Building in Jiangcheng City Center, a young girl about 1.6 meters tall put down the heavy load on her shoulders. Holding her phone with excited hands, she typed away incessantly. But soon, a sharp female voice snapped her out of her joy. Chao Chu Chu, are you slacking off? Get back to work. Do you still think you're the assistant to a popular starlet? If you don't want to work, then get lost. The owner of the voice was a woman with a seductive foxy face. Her face was tilted up with thin willow leaf brows. Her eyes were filled with nothing but disdain. What are you looking at? Hurry up and take the equipment to the recording studio. If you delay my recording session, can you even afford the damages? Chao Chu Chu rolled her eyes at this woman, but still hoisted the equipment off the floor and walked toward the recording studio. Okay, Sister Shen, I'm off this Saturday. Let's get in touch when I'm free. Shen Youchu looked at this message, and a smile finally graced her face. She scrolled through a bit more, seeing there were no other messages, then switched over to Weibo, her very last post. On Weibo was still from 2 years ago. It was the announcement of her retirement. The original hundreds of thousands of followers had now dwindled down to a few thousand. Aside from the bot accounts, there were actually some old fans who frequently left comments caring about her. She casually browsed the Weibo trending topics, mostly recent celebrity gossip. But among them, there were actually a few talking about a song that recently went viral, All My Life With You. A god-tier song, a mysterious singer, hitting 1 million followers overnight with just one video. Who exactly is he? An in-depth analysis, taking you through the latest hidden gem song. Shen Youchu was quite curious to see what this viral song was like, so she followed the headline and clicked in. The phone screen automatically jumped to a video interface. A familiar guitar melody began to play. The living room suddenly fell silent, with only the singing echoing in the three people's ears. You awkwardly turned your head away. Wan Wan's big eyes blinked and blinked as she pounced into Shen Youchu's arms. Looking at the phone screen, Shen Youchu was completely stunned. This familiar singing voice. Wasn't this the song that drifted from your room just 2 days ago? So he was actually recording a video that day. Wan Wan was the first to speak up. She pointed her little hand at the phone screen, looking up at Shen Youchu. It's Daddy. Daddy is inside the phone. Yes, it's Daddy. Shen Youchu patted the little one's head. As she replied, she finally understood why you had so much money. To replace the furniture in the house with millions of likes already. How could there be no money? She turned to look at that well-defined profile, her gaze complex and unreadable. Wan Wan, having received her mom's answer, happily pounces back into your arms, 2 short little hands cupping Daddy's face, big eyes filled with sparkles. Speaking in a milky voice, Daddy is so gentle. Wan Wan wants to sing too. With 2 soft little hands pressed against your face, your gaze gradually melts, cupping your daughter's tiny face with your large hands. Does Wan Wan like singing too? I love it. Wan Wan curves her big eyes, answering you without a second thought. Your smile brightens even more. Okay then, Daddy will teach Wan Wan how to sing. When Wan Wan learns, we'll sing inside the phone, okay? Wan Wan nods her little head non-stop, then happily faces your cheek and gives it a big forceful kiss. Having received your reward, you beam with joy. Under the little one's idolizing gaze, you dash back to the side bedroom to grab your guitar. Returning to the sofa, you hold the guitar and tune the strings, turning your head to see Shen Youchu and Wan Wan, both staring at you without blinking. Your face rarely turns a shade of red. Then stroking the strings. Today, Daddy will create a nursery rhyme just for Wan Wan. Daddy will sing it once for Wan Wan to hear first. Next time Daddy will sing a line, and Wan Wan will follow along, okay? Wan Wan nods cheerfully, her little face full of anticipation. This song is called Explosion of Courage. Wan Wan listened closely. After speaking, you gently strum the strings. A brisk melody follows, filling the living room. Wan Wan's sense of rhythm is surprisingly good. She sways her head back and forth to the melody, unconsciously swaying her body along with the little one. Looking at this father and daughter moving in sync, Shen Youchu's gaze gradually softens. A trace of a smile quietly appears on her face. She actually joins in on your rhythm too. For the first time as a family, everyone is immersed in an ocean of joy. In this moment, even the living room seems to brighten up. Following the song, Wan Wan clenches her little fist and makes a charged superhero gesture. You also put down your guitar at this time, making the same gesture along with the little one, then reaching out your finger to gently tap on Wan Wan's tiny arm. Wan Wan pounces into your arms. Two short little hands tightly hugging your neck, Daddy. Wan Wan likes Daddy being like this. Please don't change back to the way you were before, okay? Wan Wan's soft, sweet voice rings in your ear. Your mouth hangs open slightly, and your eyes suddenly well up with tears. Holding Wan Wan tightly in your arms, burying your face deep in Wan Wan's clothes. Daddy will never be like that again. The voice is hoarse, yet filled with determination. Shen Yuchu can't see your expression right now, but she is already covered in tears. Yet there is a smile on her face. She knows the days of the past will never return. Never again. You are the first to get your emotions under control. Placing the guitar by your side and pulling Wan Wan onto your lap. Wan Wan, now let's learn the song. I'll sing a line, and you sing after Daddy, okay? Okay. Wan Wan agrees very quickly. The time that follows becomes a teaching session for father and daughter. For the entire morning, their singing voices echo through the living room. Seeing them immersed in learning the song, Shen Youchu silently starts making lunch. But her cooking clearly isn't as good as yours, which causes Wan Wan to complain. While they are eating, insisting on eating Daddy's food from now on, this makes Shen Yuchu roll her eyes at the kid in jealousy, feeling quite indignant in her heart. You little ungrateful thing. Bought over in just 2 days. This kind of family vibe makes you feel very relaxed. This is what a real family should look like. Wan Wan learns very quickly. It only took 3 days to finish learning the song Explosion of Courage and sing it in its entirety. Under Wan Wan's strong insistence, you also filmed a video of her and posted it on the platform. In the video, Wan Wan is wearing a pink princess dress with a bow on her head. Her tiny body sways along with the music. She's absolutely adorable. You were beaming with joy while filming. Your face was practically screaming, "This is my daughter," with an incredibly proud and smug expression. Shen Youchu, watching the fun from the side, accidentally caught a glimpse of your face and almost choked from holding back her laughter. It's the first time she's seen that you could actually make such a face. Over these past 3 days, due to your good behavior, the relationship between you and Shen Youchu has softened. Quite a lot, at least. Shen Youchu will now take the initiative to say a few words to you no one expected. That the second video from the Part account would actually be a nursery rhyme. The song was still an original, and it was still just as catchy. At the platform's headquarters, Yu Yun discovered this video immediately. After watching the entire clip, he gave it the maximum push without even thinking. Such a cute little munchkin, and such a great song. Yu Yun had a massive auntie smile, grinning from ear to ear. Immediately after the platform's trending searches exploded again, before the waves from All My Life With You could settle, the storm of Explosion of Courage had already begun. This time, the video's hype came even faster. In just one afternoon, the likes hit 5 million. The number of comments was even more ridiculous. This led to you having to mute your phone again in the evening, holding Wan Wan while sitting on the sofa, tirelessly scrolling through the comment section. Everyone in the comments is a genius. You couldn't stop scrolling at all. If I had a daughter like this, I wouldn't allow a single punk within 100 miles. This was the top liked comment. One Saturday, you just finished your morning run and pushed open the door while wiping sweat, only to see Shen Yuchu wearing her newly bought slip night dress. Coming out of the bathroom, she had clearly just finished a shower and was currently drying her hair. Her pretty face was slightly flushed from the heat. The two of you stared at each other blankly. A poem suddenly popped into your mind, a natural beauty without adornment, like a lotus emerging from clear water. It fit Shen Yuchu perfectly at this moment. Seeing you staring at her like a total dork, Shen Yuchu instinctively covered her chest. Her face gradually turned beet red. Even her earlobes started to flush. Even though you've been married for over 2 years, the feeling right now was actually like a newly together young couple. Morning, Shen Yuchu tried her best to calm down and greeted you. Her steps toward the bedroom involuntarily quickened. You gave a simple reply. Shen Yuchu didn't say anything else and ran back to the bedroom as if escaping. You smiled helplessly, shaking off the wild thoughts in your head, humming a tune as you walked into the bathroom. Shower, cook, wake up, Wan Wan, the daily routine. When you pushed open the bedroom door, Wan Wan was still fast asleep. Her little mouth was slightly open, sprawled out in all directions on your big bed. After a few days of normal diet and sleep, Wan Wan's complexion looked much more vibrant. Although she was still quite thin, her spirit was visibly much better to the naked eye. You sat by the bed watching for a while, leaning down to gently pinch the little one's nose. Wan Wan, time to wake up for yummy food. The little one on the bed pouted her tiny lips, opening her eyes slightly. When she saw it was you, the corners of her mouth couldn't stop turning up. Then she slowly reached out her short arms and hugged your neck. "Daddy," she said in a milky, spoiled voice. You smiled, reaching out to pick her up and walk out the door, placing her on the stool in front of the sink. The little one has been washing up by herself these past 2 days. You stood by to support her, squeezing the toothpaste and getting the towel ready. Wan Wan is very smart. You only taught her for 2 days before she mastered this skill. Shen Youchu also walked out of the bedroom at this time. Her long hair behind her was pinned up high, tied into a small ball-shaped bun. Seeing Shen Yuchu like this made your eyes light up uncontrollably. You secretly nodded your head. This is the kind of energy a 20-something should have. But she's still too thin. She'd definitely look better if she filled out a bit. Shen Youchu still felt a bit nervous inside. Her cheeks were slightly flushed. This was the first time she dressed like this at home. She didn't know if it looked good. She looked up at you still taking care of Wan, and sat down at the dining table with a straight face. His eyes seemed to light up just now. That means it must look good, right? Wait, why should I care about his opinion? Shen Youchu puffed out her cheeks in annoyance, casually stirring the bowl with her chopsticks. She was mad at herself for being so weak. At this moment, you also sat down at the table carrying the freshly washed Wan. Wan gave a sweet shout of mommy, then picked up her special little spoon, scooping up the golden millet porridge in front of her. Can you go out with us today? You who were bowing your head to enjoy the food suddenly heard Shen Youchu's words. Looking up at Shen Youchu with a face full of confusion, Shen Youchu nodded. Without looking at you, but her earlobes were already bright red. Sure, you agreed very readily. On the way, you hailed a taxi. Today, you guys were going to Yida Plaza in the city center. Shen Youchu and her former assistant Zhao Chuchu agreed to meet at a milk tea shop there. The reason for bringing you and Wan along was entirely because Zhao Chuchu wanted to see the little one, and the little one had become your shadow these past few days, always inseparable from you, so you were purely riding on the little one's coattails. After 2 years, she could finally see Sister Shen again. Zhao Chuchu was extremely excited. She bought several cups of milk tea in advance. Sitting in her seat, staring at the milk tea shop entrance, Zhao Chuchu worked with Shen Youchu for a year and a half. They were as close as sisters. Shen Youchu was truly good to her. It's just a pity that Shen Youchu got together with you afterward. She couldn't understand why Sister Shen insisted on being with that good-for-nothing man. She couldn't figure it out, and had even tried to advise Shen Youchu back then. But she seemed to have her heart set, and wouldn't listen to any advice at all. Zhao Chuchu was lost in these thoughts when she suddenly saw that familiar figure holding the hand of a bouncing little munchkin walking in through the shop entrance. Her eyes lit up. She stood up abruptly and waved her hand. Sister Shen, over here. Shen Youchu heard the voice and looked up to see Zhao Chuchu's waving hand. A smile couldn't help but spread across her face. Chuchu really hasn't changed, still as lively and cheerful as ever. Approaching her friend, aside from joy, both their eyes were a bit misty. A meeting between sisters after a long separation. They both found it hard to suppress their emotions. Zhao Chuchu looked closely at Shen Youchu, and her eyes turned even redder. She grabbed Shen Youchu's hand, her mouth pouting as she said, Sister Shen, you've gotten so thin. Is that man mistreating you? Where is he? I'll teach him a lesson for you. Shen Youchu pursed her lips and sat down with Zhao Chuchu, then pulled Wan to sit beside her. Only then did she speak. Chuchu, don't worry. He treats me quite well now. What about you? Has work been smooth since I left? I'm doing okay too. Sister Shen, you have no idea how much I missed you. The two of them caught up on each other's lives. After chatting for a while, Zhao Chuchu finally shifted her gaze to the little one. The little one had been sitting quietly by the side. Zhao Chuchu was too focused on catching up with Shen Youchu and hadn't taken a close look at her yet. But now that she looked closely, her eyes immediately lit up. She looked so much like Sister Shen, practically carved from the same mold, especially those lively big eyes. One look is all it takes to fall in love with this little one. Sister Shen is this Wan. She looks just like you. She's so cute, Zhao Chuchu said while leaving her seat. Squatting down in front of the little one, reaching out to pat the little one's tiny face, then her brows furrowed slightly. The little one is just like Sister Shen. Both are so thin. Zhao Chuchu felt incredibly indignant now. She was certain that good-for-nothing man must be treating Sister Shen and the child poorly. The more she thought, the angrier she got. She wished she could interrogate that man face to face right now. So she looked up at Shen Youchu. Sister Shen, didn't you say he was coming too? Where is he? Shen Youchu could also feel Zhao Chuchu's hostility towards you, but she didn't know how to explain it, and could only give an awkward smile. Wan wanted some ice cream. He went to wait in line to buy the child some ice cream. Zhao Chuchu naturally saw the expression on Shen Youchu's face. She immediately grew even more frustrated for Sister Shen. Her sister originally had a gentle and bright personality, but now in that gentle brightness, there was an added hint of timidity. She could feel it, afraid of scaring the child. Zhao Chuchu could only huff coldly and return to her seat, secretly gritting her teeth, wishing she could kill you. Zhao Chuchu was about to speak, but suddenly froze. Her gaze gradually became sharp. Looking toward the entrance of the milk tea shop, Shen Youchu was startled. Her expression became even more awkward. She thought your arrival caused Chuchu's hostility. Just as she was about to turn and look, a slightly shrill voice rang out from behind her. Zhao Chuchu, you actually have time for milk tea. Is the work I gave you finished yet? Liuli, are you ever going to stop? Today is a day off? Zhao Chuchu's expression turned ugly, like a kitten with its fur standing on end. Staring death stares at the speaker, Shen Youchu turned around, finally seeing the source clearly. It was Liu Li. popular starlet from her former company, who also marketed herself as a talented singer. Well, if it isn't Sister Shen, shouldn't you be at home playing the dutiful wife and mother? What are you doing out here looking for Choo Choo? Liu Li's eyes were filled with fake smiles, but her words were dripping with sarcasm. Before Shen Yuchu could say anything, Zhao Chuchu beside her snapped first, Liu Li, mind your own business. Today isn't a work day, so stop being so passive-aggressive. Sister Shen, let's go. There's a mad dog barking here, ruining our mood. After Zhao Chuchu finished speaking, she grabbed Wan Wan and Shen Yuchu's hands to leave, but unexpectedly, Liu Li stepped in to block them. She looked at Shen Yuchu, eyebrows twitching as she laughed. Hey, Sister Shen, why are you so thin? Is life that hard for you? If it's tough, just let your little sister know. I might even spare some charity, since I'm just so kind-hearted. Look, Choo Choo is just a gopher under me now. Isn't life great for her? Don't you agree? Choo Choo. Zhao Choo Choo's face turned, passion as she stared at Liu Li without a word. Shen Yuchu whipped her head around to look at Zhao Choo Choo, her eyes filled with disbelief. She knew that being a gopher meant hard physical labor. How could the company let Choo Choo do that? But clearly now wasn't the time for questions. Shen Yuchu turned her head back, and her gaze toward Liu Li finally flared with anger. Just as she was about to speak, Zhao Choo Choo spoke up first. My contract with the company expires at the end of the month, and I'll naturally be resigning then. I just hope some people don't climb too high, only to have a more brutal fall. If Sister Shen ever made a comeback, some people would probably wake up screaming from nightmares. Liu Li froze upon hearing that. She truly did have a bit of a shadow cast by Shen Yuchu. After all, back then, Shen Yuchu had completely overshadowed her for a year and a half. Who even knew her while she was around? However, Liu Li quickly started laughing, looking at Shen Yuchu with a disdainful gaze. Come back. That's the funniest joke I've heard. What company would dare to sign a washed-up artist with a child? Speaking of children, Shen Yuchu, your kid looks pretty decent, doesn't she? You could consider training her to be the next generation starlet. Liu Li spoke with full contempt. She even got carried away, wanting to pinch Wan Wan's little face. Get your filthy hands away from her. I swear if you dare touch her once, I'll make sure you have nowhere to go to cry. Your eyes were filled with ruthlessness. As you quickly walked in front of Shen Yuchu, handing the ice cream in your hands to the three of them, then you faced Liu Li, shielding Shen Yuchu and Wan Wan behind you. Liu Li was startled. Her body involuntarily took 2 steps back. It seemed your angry appearance had a strong sense of pressure, but she composed herself and suddenly laughed when she looked at you closely. Oh, it's this pretty boy. A useless waste. I wondered who it was. Turns out it's just you. What do you want to hit someone in public? You frowned, looking back at Shen Yuchu with questioning eyes, clearly asking where this shrew came from. She's a singer from my old company. I didn't expect to run into her here either. Others might not fear your angry look, but Shen Yuchu was a bit afraid. Seeing you staring at her, she lowered her head slightly. Seeing Shen Yuchu like this, your frown deepened even more, and you sighed in your heart. Not questioning Shen Yuchu further, you turned your head, staring down at Liu Li, a singer. Sorry, I've never heard of you. And I don't know you. I only know that a good dog doesn't block the path. Please get out of the way. You say this very seriously. Hearing this, Liu Li's voice becomes even more shrill. You need to know your own weight in this world. You think I don't know? You spend every day sucking up to Ye Tiancheng from that flower boy group, buying them drinks every single day. Now you're here acting like some big shot with me. You think carefully about those 2 names, and finally remember who they are. They were members of the boy band the original owner was in. After leaving the industry, the original owner wanted a comeback, and indeed often treated them to drinks to suck up to them. Except they didn't give him the time of day. I'm not familiar with those 2 you mentioned either. If you keep harassing us like this, don't blame me for calling security. Liu Li gives you a fierce glare, but she still obediently steps aside. You pull Shen Yuchu up from behind you and signal Zhao Chuchu to follow as you head straight out. Just as you brush past Liu Li suddenly speaks to Shen Yuchu again. What a pity someone can never sing again. Shen Yuchu, my new song drops at the end of this month. After saying that, Liu Li actually burst into happy laughter. How can Shen Yuchu even compete with me? Liu Li's shrill voice echoes in everyone's ears. Zhao Chuchu wishes she could rush up and give her a slap right now, knowing full well that Sister Shen loves to sing. But now she can't. Saying this is basically twisting the knife in her heart. Your steps also pause for a moment. You give Liu Li a deep look, then continue walking out with an expressionless face. Shen Yuchu doesn't say a word. She just gently purses her lips. However, at this moment, a tender child's voice suddenly rings out. The voice is crisp and firm. Mommy sings better than you. You're a bad lady. Everyone is stunned. No one expected the little one would speak up for her mother at this time. You are only dazed for a second. Then, you rub the little one's head with a smile on your face, thinking to yourself how awesome she is. As expected of my daughter, you were originally a bit angry, but the moment Wan Wan spoke up, all that anger was instantly thrown out to the window. Ignoring Liu Li's reaction, you all left that place of drama right then and there. The group arrived at a restaurant. Shen Youchu and Zhao Chuchu started chatting. while they were on the road earlier. She was worried but didn't ask certain things. Now that they finally sat down, with no outsiders around, she held Zhao Chuchu's hand and finally asked the question on her mind, Chuchu, why are you working as a gopher for Liu Li? And what about Sister Yun? What is she doing now? Sister Yun was Shen Yuchu's former manager. She's nearly 40 but was always very kind. Hearing Shen Yuchu's question, Zhao, Chuchu couldn't hide her dejection. After you left, Sister Yun was fired not long after. She looked for a job for a long time but found nothing. Later, her mother fell ill and was hospitalized. She had to stay in the hospital to care for her mother constantly, so she could only find a job as a nanny. Shen Yuchu never expected that Sister Yun would fall to such a state. Her vision blurred slightly as she vaguely remembered Sister Yun's sharp and efficient manner back in the day. Both of them fell silent. Shen Yuchu pursed her lips. She knew she was to blame for all of this. If it wasn't for her being so headstrong, Sister Yun wouldn't be like this. She had defied the company's orders so many times for her sake. When she had a bright future, the company said nothing. But the moment she decided to just quit like that, one could imagine what kind of treatment Sister Yun faced. The atmosphere was a bit heavy. After the group finished their meal in a hurry, Zhao Chuchu spoke with Shen Youchu for a bit longer, then left in a rush. Shen Youchu's mood remained very low, even though the three of you had planned to take Wanwan to the amusement park this afternoon, but now she wasn't even in the mood to play. You could naturally feel her emotions. You wanted to say something, but in the end, the words didn't come out. In fact, you didn't understand either why Shen Youchu was so head over heels back then that she insisted on marrying you. The original owner didn't know. And you knew even less. Shen Youchu wanted to go home and be alone for a bit, but when she saw the expectant look in Wanwan's eyes, she couldn't bear to let her down. To avoid disappointing Wanwan, ultimately, the three of you still went to the amusement park. The little one was thrilled. It was her first time at an amusement park. Holding your hand, she wanted to rush right in. Shen Youchu also forced herself to cheer up. She didn't want it so that later, when Wanwan remembered her first trip to the park, her mother would be remembered as sad. The family first experienced the carousel, then played a few more attractions. The sky darkened before you knew it. The amusement park lit up with colorful lights. The final attraction was the Ferris wheel. As you held Wanwan and opened the door with Shen Youchu to sit inside, Wanwan had already fallen fast asleep in your arms. The Ferris wheel rose slowly. The buildings flashing, with colorful lights on the ground, gradually shrank. But what you didn't know was that it was also Shen Yuchu's first time at a park, and her first time on a Ferris wheel. Her almond eyes looked curiously out of the cabin, sparkling with wonder. She looked out the window, while you looked at her, perhaps sensing your gaze. Her earlobes slowly turned red, as she gave you a coy mock-annoyed look. It was the first time you'd seen such a look, and it was a bit much to handle with the Ferris wheel's built-in lights shining on her slender face. You suddenly felt a bit dazzled. The Ferris wheel continued its slow ascent. The next moment, from all around the castle, almost in a single instant, fireworks were launched into the air simultaneously. At the moment the fireworks bloomed, it could be clearly seen that an alluring smile appeared on Shen Yuchu's face. It was a smile from the bottom of her heart. You were a bit dazed watching her. The Ferris wheel slowly reached the highest point now. The fireworks became even clearer. Shen Yuchu's pretty face became even more charming. You don't have to be afraid like before. Your voice was a bit light amidst the sound of fireworks. Shen Yuchu didn't hear it clearly. She turned her face to look at you, with a questioning look you didn't see, continuing to look at the gorgeous fireworks in the sky, softly saying, "You're too gentle. That's not good. You'll get bullied. You don't have to be afraid like in the past anymore. I know that you want to sing, and I know you have many things you want to do. Go ahead with peace of mind. I'll take care of Wanwan." Shen Yuchu didn't respond to you, turning her face back, only to see 2 rows of crystal tears on her face. She pursed her lips, looking at you without blinking her eyes. The intense grievance and complexity in her gaze seemed like it was going to drown you. You immediately became nervous, not understanding why she suddenly started crying out of nowhere. "Who are you?" Shen Yuchu kept staring at you intently. Mist already clouded those almond eyes. The crisp voice wasn't loud, but it rang so clearly in your heart. You went silent, the air gradually growing still. It seemed even the sound of the fireworks had vanished. After a long while, you gave her a gentle smile, then spoke, your voice suddenly a bit raspy. "I'm Lu Fan." Shen Yuchu continued to look at you. Your smile made her feel like her heartbeat had suddenly gone wild, like a deer crashing around. Your answer was even more unexpected than she imagined. She looked into your clear, sparkling eyes, and her tears suddenly fell even faster. She hugged her own legs, bearing her head down, softly sobbing. Then she spoke, "Right, you are Lu Fan. Who else could you be if not him? Let me tell you a cliché story. Once there was a little girl in an orphanage. She was very timid, but in the orphanage, there was always an older brother protecting her. One day she was bullied by a group of boys. That brother shielded her behind him. He never let her get hurt even a little bit. but he himself ended up covered in bruises. At that time in her eyes, that older brother was her entire world. But after that, the brother disappeared. Until later when she grew up, she saw that brother again and married him just as she had wished. You were somewhat speechless after listening. Now you finally understood a few things. Shen Youchu raised her head, her eyes teary and blurred. She looked so lonely and pitiful, finally letting out the secret in her heart. No one understood her stubbornness. Everyone thought it wasn't worth it for her. Only she firmly believed it was worth it. But the result was so terrible. She had also regretted it countless times. Until the current you appeared. She asked who he was. He said he was Lufan. That was enough. You could suddenly understand Shen Youchu's feelings. Seeing the tenderness and affection in your eyes, Shen Youchu couldn't hold back any longer, and threw herself directly into your arms, competing with Wanwan for the spot in your embrace, while sobbing quietly. Wanwan was woken up, with eyes full of daze, looking confused at her mom, who had occupied her spot. The little one was only stunned for a moment, then joyfully hugged Daddy with one arm, and Mommy with the other. Smack smack, she kissed both their cheeks. Today is Wanwan's best day ever. Looking at the big and small beauties in your arms, you were momentarily speechless and chuckled. Life's trajectory was moving in a good direction, and that was enough. However, some plans needed to change. The fireworks gradually faded. The Ferris wheel slowly descended. Back on the ground, Shen Youchu walked ahead holding Wanwan. Following behind you watched Shen Youchu walking briskly, and rubbed your nose. After getting off the Ferris wheel, Shen Youchu had left your embrace. It was as if in a single instant, she regained her usual cold attitude toward you. Shen Youchu was actually very nervous. Even the way she held Wanwan was stiff. She felt her earlobes and cheeks burning up. She had actually stayed in your arms for so long just now, and even acted like a little girl, nuzzling around in your chest. How embarrassing. She was sure you were secretly laughing at her in your heart. When you two just came out of the Ferris wheel, she saw the hidden smile on your face. Thinking of this, Shen Youchu's steps couldn't help but get even faster, almost as if she were in a power walking race. You didn't know why this woman was suddenly so full of energy. You almost had to jog to keep up with her pace. Once you had reached the amusement park gates, seeing Shen Youchu had no intention of stopping. You had to call out to stop her. Hey, don't tell me you're planning to walk all the way home. Let's just call a cab here. Shen Youchu finally stopped her steps, standing by the roadside but refusing to look at you. She felt even more certain that you must be laughing at her from behind again. Damn it, it's even more humiliating now. It took a long time before you finally caught a taxi. This also gave you the thought of buying a car for the first time. Back at home, you carried Wanwan back to her room and tucked her in. Then you also walked quickly to the bedroom, falling into a deep sleep shortly after hitting the bed. In contrast to your sound sleep, Shen Youchu was tossing and turning a bit. The moment she lies in bed and closes her eyes, scenes from today at the amusement park unconsciously surface in her mind. Shen Youchu pulled the quilt up in annoyance, covering her own face, trying to force herself to fall asleep. But her constantly fluttering eyelashes never stop revealing just how restless her heart is at this moment. At 6 a.m., you wake up on time as usual, morning run, wash up, cook. The whole routine ending with waking Wanwan, but Shen Youchu hasn't come out of the room. Looking at the tightly closed master bedroom door, you scratch your head. It seems it was indeed quite late when you returned last night. She's actually still sleeping and hasn't gotten up yet. You have no intention of calling her. Just leaving a portion of breakfast for her is fine. Then you wash and put away the used dishes. When you come out of the kitchen, Shen Youchu has also gotten out of bed, her pretty face slightly flushed as she crosses the living room to the bathroom. Do you still want to keep singing? You ask out loud, hearing your voice. Shen Youchu dazes for a moment, with no reaction for a long while. Holding your phone, you lean against the bathroom door frame, quietly waiting for her answer. After a moment, her soft voice finally rings in your ear. Yes, just a single word. Without any extra explanation, in Shen Youchu's heart, the life she has now is already a life she didn't dare imagine these past 2 years. And singing is a very distant dream that can only be buried in her heart. You don't ask further, just nodding and taking your phone back to the side bedroom, opening the background DMs to search through them. Your background DMs exploded long ago. Since the first video was posted, you only took a rough look and haven't checked since then. It's very difficult to find anything now, but you still silently scroll through the screen, patiently filtering through them one by one. Finally, your eyes suddenly lit up. You randomly clicked on one of the private messages. Looking at the content of the message, your fingers unconsciously tapped on the screen due to certain considerations. Your original intention for posting videos was just to make money. Once you earned enough cash to settle Wanwan and Shen Youchu down, you would retire after your success. But after experiencing yesterday's events, you changed your mind. The content of this DM was very simple. Starry Entertainment sincerely invites you to join our team. With your musical talent, we will, in the shortest time possible, turn you into a top-tier superstar. At the end of the DM was the contact number for Starry Entertainment. Starry Entertainment is one of the big 3 entertainment giants in China. You didn't hesitate, entered Starry Entertainment's contact number, and dialed it. The phone only rang a few times before being picked up. A mature female voice came through the receiver. Hello? Who is this, please? Hello, my account name is Buffon. I received an invitation DM from your company. Is it convenient to chat for a bit now? At this moment, in the headquarters far away in Shanghai, Licia took the call. Her expression was slightly dazed. She didn't expect that this creator named Buffon would actually give her a call. After all, since she sent the DM invitation to the other party, several days had already passed. She thought the other party wouldn't set foot in the entertainment industry. Hello, still there? Seeing that there was no sound on the other end, you asked once more. Licia suddenly snapped back to reality. Then, a look of joy uncontrollably appeared on her face. You should know that for the past few days regarding what's hottest online, it's undoubtedly this mysterious guy, Mr. Buffon. I am the Vice Director of HR and Administration at Starry Entertainment. Licia, are you planning to join our Starry Entertainment? Director Lee, I'm sorry. I don't have any plans to enter the entertainment industry for now, but I'd like to recommend a singer to you. I wonder if your company would be interested. Licia couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. She shook her head with a bitter smile. The one she wanted was Buffon. Mr. Buffon, it's like this. I'm only the vice director. If it were you joining us, I could fully make the decision myself based on your fame. But if it's someone else, you don't need to worry about that. The person I'm recommending has top-tier singing skills. Plus, I'll be composing and writing songs for them. Mr. Buffon, I understand what you mean now. I'll have to ask for instructions from above. Fine. Then I'll wait for your news. 5 hours later, the other party called back. Mr. Buffon, we've reached a decision. We can let the person you recommended join the company. But the management's point is, you only have 2 songs out right now, and one of them is a children's song. Please don't misunderstand. Both of these songs are great. However, the higher-ups still want to see more of your composing ability. I wonder if that would be convenient, as expected with just 2 songs. They don't fully trust your talent, composing, right? Sure, your answer was simple and clear. Licia's heart was originally quite uneasy, but hearing Buffon agree so readily, she couldn't help but feel some relief. She had been busy running around for this matter all day. She believed in Buffon's talent, but the management was still somewhat skeptical. But in the end, the company still agreed to give Buffon a chance. It just so happens that recently, Hawaiian gave several entertainment companies a difficult challenge. Because of this challenge lately, they've invited many lyricists and composers. Unfortunately, none of them were good enough, and they were all passed over in the end. If Buffon can solve this problem, the company will never doubt him again. Mr. Buffon, can we meet in person to discuss the specifics? We still need you to come over here to do the songwriting and composing on site, Licia said very sincerely. She also wanted to see what this mysterious guy actually looked like. You thought about it for a moment. Aside from watching the kid, you had nothing else to do at home. So you readily agreed. All right, what time and where? Where is he? Shanghai. If possible, coming over tomorrow would be best. After all, the earlier you come, the better it is for you. And it better proves your value. Then let's make it tomorrow afternoon. After hanging up the phone, you booked a flight for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Before long, you actually fell into a deep sleep. When Shen Yuchu returned with Wanwan, she saw you fast asleep. Wanwan walked to the sofa, gently nestling into your arms. In your dream, you only felt a kitten constantly nuzzling your face. Feeling a bit breathless, you suddenly woke up. Wanwan's cheerful laughter echoed in your ears. You looked down, only to find it was your precious daughter, pinching your nose with her warm little hand. Daddy, time to eat. You gave a knowing smile, suddenly feeling that this kind of life was pretty good. The aroma of food wafted over from the dining room, making you feel quite hungry. Shen Yochu's figure then emerged from the kitchen. Carrying 2 bowls of rice in her hands, she glanced at you, saying softly, I saw you hadn't woken up, so I made dinner. The color, aroma, and taste were all perfect. Looking at it made you even hungrier. Hearing your praise, Shen Yuchu felt a bit shy. She nodded, and returned to the kitchen to bring another bowl of rice to the table. As the family ate, you placed a piece of crispy fried pork in Wanwan's bowl, turned to look at Shen Yuchu, and said, I need to go out tomorrow. I'm not sure how many days I'll be gone. Shen Yuchu was drinking soup when she suddenly heard your words and choked, starting to cough uncontrollably. You quickly handed over a tissue with a worried look. Shen Yuchu took the tissue and turned away to wipe her mouth. Hearing that you were suddenly going out, she was indeed a bit flustered. She didn't know if she should ask where you were going. Despite wanting to escape just a week ago, now that she heard you were leaving, she subconsciously felt a bit unwilling. It was Wanwan who finally asked, Daddy, where are you going? Rubbing her little head. Daddy is going to find a job for Mommy. Then looking towards Shen Yuchu, sorry. I made the decision for you without asking for your opinion first. I didn't tell you before because things weren't set yet. Now another company has invited me to go chat. If this talk goes well, you can officially make your comeback. Starry Entertainment should be quite good. He's letting her sing. Shen Yuchu subconsciously looked at you. You were very serious. As your eyes met, Mist suddenly filled Shen Yuchu's almond eyes. Her eyes grew slightly red. Her beautiful gaze suddenly became as gentle as water. This was actually a bit much for you to handle, so you quickly lowered your head to eat. Shen Yuchu never expected that there would truly be a day she could sing again, and that this man would actively choose this for her. Thank you. I love singing. I love it very, very much. Shen Yuchu said softly, her voice becoming firmer. She loved singing, and she also wanted Chuchu and Sister Yoon to be better, so they wouldn't be bullied anymore. Ever since meeting Zhao Chuchu, she had been constantly worrying about them. No need to thank me, liking it is enough. You looked up with a gentle smile. One early morning, you two should head back now. I'll probably be back in a day or two at most. Don't worry. You hailed a taxi going to the airport, turned around and said to Shen Yuchu. Shen Yuchu nodded. Her eyes actually showed signs of reluctance. Even though she was desperate to escape you before, who would have thought that in just a few days, she would feel reluctant about your departure? It's just going out for 2 days. Why make it feel like a life and death separation? You hardened your heart and stopped looking at her. Turning around to get into the taxi, the car drove away. The two figures in the rearview mirror gradually shrank. Closing your eyes, you couldn't quite describe the feeling in your heart. 3 hours later, as soon as you stepped off the plane, you felt Shanghai's passion. Compared to Jiangcheng, there are way too many people here. Following the surging crowd, you struggled to move your body, not breathing a sigh of relief until reaching exit 5. Standing in front of the exit, you looked at the crowd outside holding signs, searching for your own name. Before coming, you had already set a time with Li Xia. She would be picking you up here at the exit. There were too many people holding signs on site. Many were fans picking up their idols. This made you search for a long time before you finally saw a tall woman wearing a professional suit. The sign she held surprisingly said Bufan. You quickly stepped forward and waved your hand at her. Hello, are you Director Li? I'm Bufan. My real name is Lufan. Sorry to keep you waiting. Li Xia looked at the person in front of her. A flash of surprise crossed her eyes, but she hid it well. She knew you were young, but didn't expect you to be this young, like you just graduated from college. And you had a face that perfectly fit being a star. Li Xia couldn't help but feel a bit regretful. If only they could sign you, that would be great. Hello, I'm Li Xia. There are too many people here. My car is parked in the underground garage. It's lunchtime now. Let's find a place to eat before we dive into the details. Sure, you nodded, and walked out side by side with Li Xia. Li Xia was indeed a seasoned professional. She chatted with you, finding topics as you walked. She originally thought a youngster like you wouldn't be much of a conversationalist, but after interacting, she found out that you could actually keep up with her topics. Talking eloquently, not shy at all like other young people. This made Li Xia think even more highly of you. As expected, talented people can fit in anywhere. Of course, you didn't know that Li Xia's opinion of you had risen again. If you knew, you'd definitely be speechless. After all, you have memories of 2 lifetimes, adding up to over 50 years of experience. If you didn't even have this much EQ, you might as well just go find a rope. The two of you got into the car. You looked at the bustling city of Shanghai outside. Li Xia occasionally introduced local specialties to you. Soon, the two of you arrived at a local restaurant. While waiting for the food to be served, Li Xia finally brought up business. I'll just call you Mr. Lu. I wonder who you're recommending this time. Is it an amateur or a professional singer? I wonder if Director Li has heard of Shen Yuchu. She was a singer before, but later left the industry. Now she's planning a comeback. Speaking of business, your expression turned serious as well. Li Xia frowned. She had heard Shen Yuchu's songs, a popular starlet from 2 years ago. Her singing was indeed great, but the reason for the frown was that back then Shen Yuchu was forced to retire because her relationship was exposed, and the guy she was dating seemed to be a useless pretty boy. This makes things very difficult to handle. Li Xia thought for a moment, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, before looking at you intently. I know her. I wonder what your relationship with her is, Mr. Lu. Do you know why she retired back then? Looking into Li Xia's eyes, you said calmly, spouses. She is my wife. Even the battle-hardened Li Xia couldn't help but be stunned. When she heard your answer, spouses, he's that legendary pretty boy. Are you kidding me? Could it be that Shen Yuchu got divorced and found another one? Seeing Li Xia's expression, you guessed what she was thinking, and couldn't help but smile bitterly. You're right. I'm the one whose relationship with her was exposed, and who retired alongside her. Li Xia suddenly didn't know what to say. She had heard of Shen Yuchu, but didn't know who she ended up with. As for an idol boy band member like you who lived off his face, she naturally wouldn't have paid attention. She was even starting to doubt whether those 2 songs were actually written by you. You didn't give her much time to overthink. Seeing her conflicted expression, you continued, is it hard to have her join your company? If it's truly difficult, I'll find another way. Furthermore, my request isn't just for her to join your company. I also want her to have top-tier resources and freedom in your company. The contract shouldn't be restrictive either. In the end, it's all about interests. I believe with my help, Starry Entertainment will reach the next level. I hope you can consider this carefully. You said it all in one breath. then picked up your water glass and took a calm sip. Lixia's expression was grave. Clearly finding it quite difficult, she spoke up. In the end, we haven't collaborated yet. Just based on those 2 songs you posted, there isn't that much value. I acknowledge Shen Yuchu's singing skills, but the entertainment industry isn't just about singing. I believe you're aware of that too. It's not hard to let her return. But the top tier resources and contract freedom, we've basically never signed anything like that. Let us discuss this matter thoroughly again. This isn't a small thing. Although Lixia didn't explicitly refuse, everything she said suggested that this was basically impossible. You guys can discuss it. I'll express my stance on this page too. Not just regarding the problem you're facing now, but in the future if you need songs or even scripts. No matter the genre, I can give them to you as long as you ask. I really hope we can successfully collaborate. You asked me to come this time. Wasn't it just to see my capabilities? I'm here, so why not decide after seeing what I can do? You said calmly, looking completely full of confidence. Lixia gave you a long, deep look. It was the first time she'd seen someone so confident. So this is the legendary pretty boy. People really are ignorant. In the end, Lixia left in a hurry after finishing the meal. She had to go discuss things with the company. Before leaving, she gave you a hotel room card. Wait for my news, was the last thing she said before she left. You arrived at the hotel room, washed up briefly and lay on the bed thinking. If Starry Entertainment doesn't work out, you'll just go to other companies. If none of them work, at worst you'll just make more money. Work a bit harder and open your own company, and lead Shen Youchu to level up slowly. You didn't notice at all that your mindset had changed unconsciously from just wanting to be a lazy bum at the start to now running around for Shen Yuchu's sake. After such a short time together, you're caring about them more and more. Unconsciously integrating into this little family, Lixia's call came in at 3 p.m. She had already arrived downstairs, indicating that you needed to go to the Starry building with her. You didn't say anything more and went straight downstairs to meet Lixia. The Starry Entertainment Company is located in the most prosperous area of Shanghai. The entire building is the property of Starry Entertainment. Right now, on the 18th floor of the Starry building, Chairman Li Tian, HR Director Zhang Hao, and several other managers of Starry Entertainment were present. Zhang Hao's expression was very unsightly. Chairman, I have no complaints about Vice Director Li's professional ability, but this time, I feel she is taking this Lu Fan way too seriously. He used to be a nobody artist with nothing to his name, and now he's actually making such outrageous demands. I think we are just wasting our time. Regarding Zhang Hao's complaints, Li Tian waved his hand, with a kind smile on his face. We should give young people some opportunities, right? Let's check out his talent first. If it doesn't work out, I believe my daughter won't have much to say. Seeing the chairman's amiable appearance, Zhang Hao could only swallow his anger, while grumbling in his heart. It's only because she's your daughter. Just keep playing favorites then. Li Tian saw Zhang Hao's frustrated look, and smiled again. As the chairman of the company, he naturally wouldn't just do whatever his daughter said. In fact, he had also heard those 2 songs, and they could only be described as perfect. However, he didn't feel the need to explain anything to Zhang Hao. As for whether those 2 songs were actually written by the man himself, we'll know once we see what he's got under pressure. Lixia brought you to the meeting room at this time. From the moment you entered, you saw many big-name stars famous in this world. Each of them was a leader in their respective fields, truly one of the big 3 giants. This level of luxury gives off a high-end vibe just by looking at it. As soon as you entered the room, you felt that the gaze of everyone seated there was fixed on you. Their eyes revealed various emotions. You naturally took a seat in the guest chair, facing the group alone with a calm expression. Li Tian couldn't help but feel a hint of admiration. Such a young lad. Yet he can act so poised facing this kind of pressure. The first impression is good. Alright, since our main guest has arrived, let's get started. Mr. Lu, right? We held a meeting to discuss your requests. Signing Shen Youchu is fine, and we can provide top-tier resources as well. But the contract cannot be fully free. We really can't give you that. No one signs a deal like that. You should be able to understand what I mean. Nodding, you naturally understood. So how long is the contract for? Li Tian chuckled while looking straight at you. 5 years. We'll cultivate her with top-tier resources, and we won't restrict what songs she wants to release or what events she wants to participate in. Your brows furrowed slightly. Not fearing his gaze in the slightest, you looked back at him. 5 years is too long. I believe in my own abilities. With your resources and my talent, she will definitely be a top star within a year. Maybe it won't even take a year. So the most I can agree to is 2 years. The remaining year will bring enough profit to your company, and that will be it. You won't need to worry about Shen Youchu's songs during these 2 years. Plus, I can write songs for Starry for free, but the quantity will be limited. Anyone can talk big. Becoming a top star within a year. Are you dreaming? Just as you finished speaking, a balding man sitting next to Lixia scoffed in ridicule. Looking at you with contempt as he spoke, you only gave him a sideways glance, ignoring him completely, to keep staring at Li Tian. Li Tian narrowed his eyes, gently tapping his fingers on the table. The smile on his face became even more obvious. It's a good thing for young people to be confident. 2 years isn't impossible, but it all depends on your actual strength. Inviting you over this time was to discuss collaboration on one hand. On the other hand, Huayin recently launched a nationwide event requiring every company to participate, but only one song can be selected. If you want to take it down, I wonder if you have the strength for it. You nodded slightly, thinking, didn't I come here exactly for this event? Regarding the specific event details, let Vice Director Lee handle the handoff with you. Then I will wait for your good news. As long as your song is approved, I can sign the contract immediately. Li Tian chuckled softly and made the final decision. Everything was settled. You also relaxed? Standing up to shake hands with Li Tian, then left the meeting room with Li Xia. Li Xia felt a bit emotional. She didn't expect that her father would agree to such outrageous conditions, but this event was indeed very important. An event officially hosted by the authorities. By then, the company with the selected song will naturally gain official favor. The benefits involved go without saying. Li Xia's gaze was a bit complex when looking at you. She really hoped you could become an overnight sensation. That would prove her judgment was correct. And then all the gossip in the company would naturally vanish. Take a look. These are the details of the event. You have 3 days to create. I hope you get what you want. I also hope our collaboration will be successful. Li Xia took a document bag from the drawer, handed it to you, and said, you opened the document bag. What caught your eye was a large title, Ordinary Heroes. Seeing these large characters, your expression immediately turned solemn. Continuing to read further down, the office was very quiet. With only the sound of you flipping through the documents, your expression was the most serious it's been since you crossed over. Flipping through the documents, there were several photos underneath. The first one was a group of doctors and nurses wearing protective suits. The second was 3 firefighters. Behind them was the extinguished fire. The third was several soldiers seen only from behind. Their faces couldn't be seen. The fourth was a classroom about to collapse. A teacher was holding a child, handing them to the people outside, and there was no one left behind him. He was the last one. After finishing all the documents, you organized the files one by one, put them away, and took a deep breath. Li Xia also at this moment broke the silence of the office. How is it? Can you do it? You only have 3 days. In 3 days, Huayin will end this selection. You nodded. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Within 3 days, I'll definitely give them a satisfactory answer. After speaking, you packed up the documents and stood up. That's that then. Prepare some music manuscript paper for me. I'll go back to the hotel and study it slowly. Fine, I'll see you out. She didn't dawdle, because she knew it's hard to create a good song in just 3 days. At 9 p.m., after a shower, you came to the desk, spread the manuscript paper flat on the table, holding a pen silently thinking. You thought for a long time before deciding this is the one. Only Ordinary. The next day after a simple breakfast, without notifying Li Xia, you took a cab alone to Starry Entertainment. Li Xia was still busy working in her office. She was very surprised to see your sudden visit. You still have time to visit. You only have 3 days, big brother. Why aren't you hurrying to think of a song? What song? It's finished. You smiled as Li Xia looked on in shock, handing the manuscript paper to her. Take a look first. I think this one should do. Li Xia looked at you like you were a monster. This capable, mature woman rarely lost control of her emotions. Are you kidding? What kind of good song can be written in one night? He wouldn't just throw something together, would he? Li Xia frowned as she took the manuscript. Yesterday, she thought this youth was steady and talented, but today he came to slap her in the face. She really wanted to see what exactly he wrote in just one night. Li Xia focused her gaze on the manuscript. She remained calm when she saw the song title, but as she slowly finished reading the lyrics, the whole person was stunned. What kind of god-tier lyrics are these? Every line writes of the ordinary, yet every line reveals the extraordinary. Not once mentioning hero, yet every sentence is about a hero. These lyrics hit the mark. On the theme, then Li Xia impatiently looked at the musical score. A moment later, she suddenly looked up at you, eyes shining. Did you really write this in one night? You rubbed your nose. Otherwise, I stayed up all night to finish it. So, is this song okay? Li Xia's eyes grew even brighter. She stared at you intently. You're truly incredible. My choice was indeed correct. Can you sing it for me? I want to hear the actual effect. You nodded and closed your eyes to stir up the emotions. Then sang softly, one day maybe we'll wander far, maybe we'll meet again. After finishing, Li Xia was still immersed in the song, unable to pull herself out. Not until you coughed softly twice did she suddenly snap back to her senses, hurriedly wiping the tear stains off her face. Her eyes were sparkling more than ever, so much so that you were embarrassed to look straight at her. So you asked with a bit of uncertainty, "It's okay, right?" "It's more than okay, young friend Lu. I really didn't expect you could give us such a massive surprise." The office door was suddenly pushed open. Li Tian walked in while clapping, with a look of obvious surprise on his face. Behind him followed HR Director Zhang Hao. At this moment, Zhang Hao was clearly full of shock. He couldn't believe it had been such a short time. And you actually produced a song? And such a perfect song at that. Dad, why did you come in without knocking? Seeing who it was. Lixia's expression turned a bit panicked. She secretly wiped the tear stains from her face again, shouting at Li Tian with a face full of dissatisfaction, but Li Tian showed no intention of repenting. Still smiling happily, only the way he looked at his precious daughter was a bit strange. How long had it been since he last saw his daughter act with such a feminine demeanor? If I hadn't come, how would I have known that young friend Lu made such a great song? You were a bit speechless. Going from Mr. Lu to young friend Lu just like that, you couldn't help but complain in your heart, as expected of a businessman. Anyone who brings him profit is family. You flatter me, Chairman Li. I'm glad you're satisfied. Speaking of satisfaction, does young friend Lu have the song ready? Then, as long as this song is selected by Hua Yin, we will immediately sign the contract with Shen Yuchu. For now, I'll sign a cooperation agreement with young friend Lu first, to keep you from worrying about any issues. Li Tian nodded with a smile and you finally breathed a sigh of relief, knowing in your heart that this matter was basically a done deal. Your group signed the cooperation agreement on the spot. As long as the song gets picked, then the collaboration you discussed with Starry Entertainment will commence immediately. After the signing was complete, you bid farewell to Li Tian. Chairman Li, since things are settled, this kid will be heading out now. Good. I hope we have a pleasant cooperation in the future. You nodded slightly, holding the cooperation agreement, and turned to walk out of the office door. I'll see you out. Seeing that you were about to leave, Lixia suddenly spoke up. You noticed that she had been somewhat avoiding your gaze just now, seeming a bit ashamed of her earlier behavior when she acted like a total fangirl. For a mature, cool woman, that was a lot. But now that you were leaving, from her expression, you seemed to see a trace of inexplicable reluctance. I recall you still have unfinished work, don't you? Little Lu isn't a child anymore. He doesn't need you escorting him back and forth. You had just turned your head and hadn't spoken yet. When Li Tian across from you suddenly cut you off, seeing this, you could only give Li Xia a grateful smile. Thank you for the kindness, Director Li's. I'll just take a taxi back myself. After saying that, you turned and walked out of the office, gently closing the door as you strode away. Inside the office, Li Xia was currently like an angry kitten. Dad, what do you mean? He just delivered the song. And you turn around and make him leave. How could you do this? Zhang Hao, who was still in the room, saw this scene and suddenly felt his hair stand on end. Swallowing hard, he quickly said, I still have some work to handle. I'll take my leave first. Without waiting for Li Tian to speak, Zhang Hao scurried out like a flash, closing the door tight behind him. Only after getting out did he wipe the sweat from his forehead. Li Tian didn't get angry at his daughter's behavior. He just said earnestly, Xiaoya, you're not a child anymore. It's time to find a partner. Kid Lu is indeed quite good. But don't forget he has a wife. And as far as I know, he has a daughter too, right? Li Xia suddenly went silent for a moment, before saying coldly, I know that of course. I only wanted to see him out because you invited him. It's that simple. The mature beauty returned to her cold demeanor. This temperament even made her father Li Tian feel a bit worried. Fine, as long as you know. I suddenly remembered I have work to do too. After speaking, Li Tian bolted out. Just as he stepped out the door, he suddenly poked his head back in. I'm serious, dear daughter. You're already 26. You really should find someone. Get out. Right away. I am working. Right away. No more nagging. I'm getting out now. Just as you returned to the hotel, and hadn't even chosen a flight yet, Li Xia's call came in. Mr. Lu, I'm so sorry. My dad's tone wasn't very good. I apologize on his behalf. On the phone, Li Xia expressed her regrets. Her tone was a bit cold, as if she were still angry at someone. You were a bit surprised, but you didn't really take it to heart. Besides, Li Tian had put it quite tactfully. As a big-shot capitalist, he had already been very respectful. As for any intention of killing the donkey after the work is done, having seen all kinds of people in the capital market, you were already well aware of such things. It's fine. I didn't think there was anything wrong. You don't need to worry about it. Hearing you say this, Li Xia's tone softened a bit. As long as you don't mind. By the way, are you on your way back to the hotel? I've already arrived at the hotel. I'm planning to pack up, book a ticket, and head back to Jiangcheng. There was a moment of silence on the other end. Then Li Xia's voice came through again. It's like this. Mr. Lu, you'd better wait another 2 days. If your lyrics are selected, Hua Yin will likely need your assistance. After all, you wrote both the music and lyrics. You have the deepest understanding of this song. Hearing Li Xia's words, your plan to head home fell through. Your heart suddenly felt a bit empty. All right, I understand. Then I'll stay for a few more days. Just let me know then. The call with Li Xia ended. You put down your phone with a hint of regret. Turning to look at the scenery flying by the window, you were starting to miss the little one at home. Thinking of Wan Wan, you didn't even notice. A smile had inexplicably appeared on your face. As if there were some telepathy, Shen Yuchu's call came in at that moment. You picked up the phone. Wan Wan's voice immediately came from the other end. Is that Daddy? It's the little one. Even though you couldn't see Wan Wan's face, a doting smile still broke out on your face, replying, It's Daddy. Wanwan, do you miss daddy? I miss you. Mommy asked when you're coming back. Back at home. Wanwan held the phone with both hands in Shen Yuchu's arms and spoke sweetly. Shen Yuchu's face immediately turned red. She gave the little one a helpless look. Clearly, she was the one clamoring to call daddy. Why was she dragging her into this now? She definitely hadn't asked that question. Then tell mommy that daddy will have to wait a few more days before coming back. You chuckled to yourself, guessing in your heart that it was definitely the little one who wanted you back and was using Shen Yuchu as a shield. Wanwan was clearly unhappy hearing this. Whining over the phone, with the corners of your mouth slightly upturned, you changed to a comfortable position on the bed, asking Wanwan, did you eat your meals properly today? Hearing this, Wanwan immediately looked up at her mother. Then like a little thief, she lowered her head and whispered, I did. But Wanwan wants to eat daddy's cooking more. The little one's tone was extremely serious. So serious that the eavesdropping Shen Yuchu was annoyed into laughing. Already knows how to tattle at such a young age, huh? Basically saying her own cooking isn't good. Then Shen Yuchu heard from the other end the sound of your loud laughter. In an instant, Shen Yuchu's face turned even redder. She snatched the phone away. Alright, that's enough chatting with daddy for today. Hey, I didn't ask that. I know. Is everything okay at home? Hearing her defense, you replied with a smile, making Shen Yuchu feel even more annoyed. Is he holding back a laugh? Fine, you've only been out for a day. What could possibly happen? Anyway, that's it. Gotta go, I'm making lunch. Hey, you can't do this. I haven't talked enough with the little one yet. Goodbye, Shen Yuchu didn't give you the chance. And hung up the phone directly. Her face was now burning hot. She was afraid of what might happen if they kept talking. Seeing Wanwan still staring at the phone with regret, Shen Yuchu decided that for lunch today, she would make the green vegetables Wanwan hates most. Right, kids shouldn't be picky eaters. Hearing the busy tone from the receiver, you still had a smile on your face despite the regret. This was actually the first time seeing Shen Yuchu show such little temper. Before, she always gave you a suppressed feeling. How should I put it? You describe it as someone lacking their own soul, but now the situation was slowly improving. She was becoming herself again, and that was great. The waiting period was long. In a few more days, August would arrive. You had already spent 2 days in Shanghai. During this time, you spoke with Li Xia several times. The relationship between you two was no longer so distant. At least now, Li Xia wouldn't call you Mr. every single time, which made you feel very awkward. You still got up early these 2 days, morning runs, and everything seemed calm. News from Huayin hadn't arrived yet, so you could only wait patiently. On the evening of the 3rd day, you received a phone call both strange and familiar. Hello, is this old Lu? It's me, Chen Sheng. Hearing this, you quickly sorted through the original owner's memories. He was the original owner's best friend from college. Madman, long time no see. Thinking of Chen Sheng's character in the memories, you spoke with a smile. Having a true friend? Seemed like a pretty good thing. Old Lu, what happened to you after getting married? You don't pick up calls or reply to messages. Do you look down on your brother now? Chen Sheng's voice came through with blame, but the underlying tone of concern made your heart feel warm. It was only because the original owner, after marrying, always wanted to suck up to Chen Shuai and Ye Tian. He didn't even have time to deal with his best brother. It was my fault before. Don't hold it against me. Forgive me this time. I'll buy you dinner to make up for it next time, okay? Saying this, you cursed the original owner in your heart. A guy who couldn't even tell a real friend from a fake one? You're totally ruining my reputation. Haha, you said it. Let's chat when we meet up next time. Bye. After saying that, Chen Sheng hung up. Right after you hung up, Li Xia called you. Your song was selected by Huayin. According to Li Xia, the people over there took just one look and chose this song out of thousands of submissions. Li Xia's tone was very excited. She was already downstairs at the hotel when she called. She said Huayin is preparing to shoot an MV, and they need you, the songwriter, to give guidance on site. You went downstairs. When Li Xia saw you, she brushed a stray hair from her forehead. Her eyes were sparkling a bit. You rubbed your nose, automatically ignoring the look in Li Xia's eyes. Let's go. It's getting late. If we finish early, we can still catch lunch. Without a second word, you climbed into the back seat. Is the front passenger seat not big enough for you? Huayin, the director in charge of shooting the MV, called and kept praising you nonstop. How about it? Do you have any ideas for the MV and the lead singer? Don't go there and drop the ball. Li Xia was clearly quite worried that you're young and haven't experienced this kind of scene. Don't worry, I've got this. Not a single trace of nervousness could be seen on your face. Li Xia glanced at you through the rearview mirror, and seeing that you really weren't nervous at all, she stopped bringing it up. 2 hours later, the car stopped at a parking lot in front of a building. The two of you walked into the building side by side. Li Xia must have made an appointment beforehand. As soon as you entered the building, a group of people immediately came up to greet you. Grandpa Lin, why did you come down yourself? If my dad finds out, he'll scold me to death. Li Xia stepped forward quickly, grabbing the leading old man's hand and acting cute. This move gave you quite a shock. A mature beauty acting cute? Even a god couldn't resist that. A smile bloomed on the leading old man's face, looking completely doting. Girl, drop the act. Your dad dares to scold you. He should be grateful if you don't beat him up. The mature beauty actually blushed for once, whining softly. All right, all right. Let's talk business. This must be young friend Lu, right? Indeed, heroes come from the youth. Quite a handsome young man. Hello, elder. Thank you for the compliment. I am Lu Fan. You nodded politely to the old man. Good. Talented and polite. No wonder you're the one who wrote this song. I'm Lin Seeley, the director in charge of this MV. If you don't mind, you can just call me Grandpa Lin, like Shia does. Grandpa Lin, then I shall accept the honor. A faint smile remained on your face throughout. Good lad. Then let's head upstairs. Lin Seeley was very happy. Even his way of addressing you changed. He pulled your hand and walked toward the elevator, showing no intention of introducing the others. Behind him, you were forced to keep up, but you still nodded to those middle-aged men. To acknowledge them, the elevator went straight up to the 20th floor. Just as you stepped out, Lin Seeley pulled you into the recording studio. Lu, I heard from Shia that you sing very well. Can you sing a bit first? We haven't heard this song since we received it. The lead singer hasn't been decided yet either. All right. You nodded. A cappella or piano, this song is best with just a piano accompaniment. Good. When it came to professional matters, Lin Seeley clearly became much more serious. He left you alone in the recording studio, while leading everyone else outside as the staff turned on the microphone. The group of middle-aged men waited with bated breath. You walked into the studio and sat down to summon the right emotions. Once you entered work mode, your entire being became intensely focused. To those outside looking into the recording studio, your expression changed visibly to the naked eye. Lin Seeley nodded upon seeing this. This is what a pure musician looks like. Inside, you began to play the piano. The intro to Only Ordinary began to resonate. The crowd outside instantly held their breath, listening to the piano notes. They stared inside without even blinking. Whether here or on the other shore, long journeys of parting and meeting. Joys and sorrows, people gather and scatter. The song came to an end. You took a deep breath, calmed your emotions, and stood up to walk out of the recording studio. The group outside was still staring at you blankly. The next moment, everyone couldn't help but burst into applause for you. Lin Seeley excitedly stepped forward and grabbed your hand. His eyes were burning. Lu, my boy, this is the exact feeling. I don't think we need to change the lead singer. You should be the one. I have a premonition that this song will stir up a massive wave of attention online, a storm for these ordinary heroes. This is exactly the effect we want to see. Those heroes who sacrifice in silence deserve it. Hearing the old man's high praise, even a battle-hardened veteran like you couldn't help but blush slightly, but you still shook your head and said to Lin Seeley with a sincere face, Grandpa Lin, I won't be the lead singer. I have a better idea. Why don't you hear me out? Lin Seeley frowned. Is there really a better lead than the songwriter himself? Seeing that Lin Seeley was clearly reluctant, you stopped beating around the bush and quickly voiced your thoughts. It's like this. Grandpa Lin, I think this song is better suited for children to sing. For one, children's voices are more crisp and ethereal. On the other hand, having the flowers of our motherland sing it will make it resonate deeper with the nameless heroes. Hearing your explanation, Lin Seeley couldn't help but widen his eyes. Holy crap, this guy is a total genius. How did he not think of that? Children naturally come with a relatable charm. Having them sing it, combined with the footage I've filmed, will absolutely touch people's hearts. Insane as expected of the youth I took a fancy to. Now Lin Seeley's gaze became even more enthusiastic. Even the middle-aged men behind him felt like they just had a sudden epiphany. All looking at you in disbelief, they had picked this footage from thousands of clips to match the duration of this song, but they just couldn't decide on a lead singer. Who knew you'd solve it with just one sentence? Lu, you're truly a wizard. Are you interested in working for our Hua Yin? Don't worry. Your talent definitely won't be wasted at Hua Yin. It was clear Lin Seeley's desire to recruit talent was piqued. He wanted to bring you to his side. Thinking a talent like you is a total waste being out there on your own. Wait, no, Grandpa Lin, I'm just a lazy bum. I'm already satisfied, being able to help you out this time. You waved your hands repeatedly in refusal. Lin Seeley was speechless. Are lazy bums like this nowadays? But he didn't force the issue. Anyway, you're right here and can't run away. He'd just look for you again if another opportunity arose. By the time you walked out of the Hua Yin building, it was already 1 p.m. Right now your head feels like it's about to burst. When those guys start talking about work, every single one of them gets incredibly hyped. They're basically workaholics. In the end, it took Li Xia acting cute about needing lunch for the two of you to finally escape. Lufan, shouldn't you treat me to a meal? You're about to make a fortune co-creating with Hua Yin. Li Xia was rare and playful for a moment, sticking out her tongue, teasing you. This big sister type is looking less and less like a cool beauty now. You raised an eyebrow. A big shot with a massive business like you still wants to fleece an ordinary citizen like me. Have you no shame? Cheapskate. Li Xia rolled her eyes at you and got into the car all puffed up. You chuckled and quickly followed. The more familiar you got with this mature beauty, The more you felt she actually had a great personality, none of that pressure from when you first met remained. She was a classic cold outside, warm inside type. In the end, you couldn't escape paying for the meal, letting Li Xia happily treat herself to a feast. After eating, Li Xia drove you to Starry Entertainment. This visit was to pick up the contract, which was also your original goal, Shen Yuchu's signing contract. The two of you got into the elevator. For some reason, you suddenly felt like Li Xia's mood wasn't very high. She seemed quite listless. Even though this girl just scored a huge free meal, you really couldn't understand a woman's mind. Too hard to figure out. Leaving the elevator, you went straight to Li Tian's office. He had already been waiting there for a long time. The contract was prepared and placed on the desk. With that eternal smile on his face, he looked at you entering and said, "Young friend Lu, pleasure doing business with you. The contract is right here. Take a look and see if anything needs to be added." Nodding, you sat down at the desk and began reviewing the contract in person. The contract was very standard. 3 copies. It'll be effective once Shen Yuchu signs. The content was exactly as discussed before. Starry Entertainment would give Shen Yuchu top-tier resources and the maximum amount of freedom. In short, Shen Yuchu can do whatever she wants, and no one can force her, which was exactly what you wanted to see. The contract term is for 2 years. Whether to renew after that is entirely up to Shen Yuchu. Having finished reading the entire contract, you packed it up, stood up, reached out, and shook hands with Li Tian. "Thank you, Chairman Li. Pleasure doing business with you." Being able to offer such a contract, your impression of Li Tian improved quite a bit. At least he wasn't like other black-hearted capitalists, offering contracts filled with traps everywhere. "Don't mention it, I value your talent, and you value our company's resources. It's just mutual benefit. As for your promise to write songs for our company, I won't give you a separate contract for that. I trust young friend Lu's character." Li Tian also stood up, shaking your hand as he spoke. "I naturally won't back out, but you also stated your own point of view. Don't worry, but I'm setting a condition first. I only write title tracks, and who I write for is entirely up to my own will. Don't have every random nobody coming to me for songs. He has a temper and the talent to back it up." Li Tian's impression of you kept getting better. But when he saw his daughter's expression on the side, he sighed secretly in his heart. What a pity. Why did he have to get married so early at such a young age? With young friend Lu's talent, unless it's a top-tier singer in the company, lacking a song, I wouldn't even ask you. After all, you also know, anything written under your name in the future will be a masterpiece. Ordinary people won't have the qualifications. A happy cooperation was reached by both parties. Li Tian suddenly changed the subject. "Now that you have the contract, when does young friend Lu plan to head back?" You didn't know what he meant by asking that, but you answered immediately anyway. "I plan to head back to the hotel now. Pack up and book a flight. I'll be leaving in a bit. After all, I'm no longer needed for the matters here. Does Chairman Li have anything else to instruct?" No. "Then I wish you a smooth journey back," Li Tian hurriedly said with a smile. "Except this smile in your eyes? Why did he seem so happy to hear you were leaving?" Without thinking much, you stood up to say goodbye, and Li Xia walked you all the way to the hotel entrance. She didn't follow you in. Ever since entering Starry Entertainment, her mood seemed to remain quite low. "Lufan, I won't be seeing you off to the airport. Go by yourself. I still have some things to do. Leaving now." You turned and waved. "Okay, be careful on the road." Then you turned and walked into the hotel. Li Xia looked at your receding back and felt inexplicably angry for some reason. She slammed the gas and left the place. "Finally, I can go home. I miss my little baby so much." You quickly packed up your luggage, booking the flight, checking out, and calling a cab all in one go. At 6 p.m., carrying hands full of gifts, you stepped into the familiar old neighborhood. Your footsteps became even lighter until you pushed open the long-awaited door. The living room was silent. Shen Youchu and Wan didn't seem to be home. Not seeing the people you wanted to see immediately, you felt a faint sense of disappointment in your heart. However, the next moment, the master bedroom door was suddenly pushed open. Shen Youchu was rubbing her dazed eyes. As she walked out gracefully, the first second she saw you, she suddenly snapped awake. Involuntarily widening her eyes to look at you, she was currently wearing a strapped nightgown. One of the straps had fallen down to her arm. Her hair was messy from sleep, with her small mouth slightly opened. The image of a sleeping beauty was caught in your sight. The two of you froze at the same time, under the lingering glow of the sunset, just quietly looking at each other. Then a bright smile gradually bloomed on your face. As you said, "I'm back," a blush slowly rose on Shen Yuchu's face. Standing there, not knowing what to do, feeling a bit panicked in her heart, yet a tiny hint of sweetness surged through. She lowered her head and replied softly, while not forgetting to subconsciously take the strap that had fallen to her arm and quietly pull it back to her shoulder. "Oh right, this is for you." You suddenly pulled out a bunch of lavender from behind your back. "I just happened to see someone selling them on the roadside. They smelled really nice, so I just grabbed a bouquet." Shen Youchu pursed her lips. She stepped forward and gently took the lavender from your hand. Her face was already covered in a red glow. This was the first bouquet of flowers she had ever received from you. The language of lavender is hope. She liked it very much. "Thank you," Shen Yuchu mustered up her courage and looked up directly into your eyes. Her eyelashes fluttered. Have you eaten yet? You suddenly smiled. Not yet. I bet you guys haven't either. I'll make dinner. Go wake up Wan Wan. Shen Yuchu originally intended to cook herself, thinking you must be tired after just returning from outside. But seeing the persistence in your eyes and thinking about your cooking, which was indeed much better than hers, she eventually nodded. I'll go get Wan Wan. She'll be so happy to know you're back. She's been asking about you these past 2 days, Shen Yuchu said as she turned back to the master bedroom. This time, she didn't close the door, but left it wide open like that. You glanced inside. Wan Wan was sprawled out on the bed, sleeping soundly. Shen Yuchu picked her up very gently. She didn't even react until Shen Yuchu brought the little one before you, kissed her little face, and whispered in her ear, Wan Wan, wake up. Daddy is back. Wan Wan suddenly moved. She slowly opened those cute sleepy eyes, looking around in a daze. Then the little one's eyes suddenly lit up. Her short little arms reached out and waved towards you. It's Daddy. Daddy Huggy. Wan Wan missed you so much. The little one was like a koala. Once you held her, she hugged your neck and wouldn't let go, hanging on to you the whole time. Even when you went to the kitchen to cook, she refused to let go and come down. In the end, Shen Yuchu had to put on a stern face and use the new toys you bought as bait to finally unstick the little one and place her on the sofa while Wan Wan played with her toys. Her big eyes still peeked at the kitchen from time to time, as if afraid your figure would disappear again. A moment later, dinner was served. The family sat at the table in perfect harmony. Shen Yuchu looked down to see Wan Wan already wielding her little chopsticks, slurping away with big mouthfuls. A strand of noodle was sucked down instantly. At the same time, her eyes had turned into crescent moons. Eating like this made it look like Shen Yuchu had starved her for days, leaving Shen Yuchu both annoyed and helpless. Her skills were inferior. She could only admit defeat. What else was there to say? This also made Shen Yuchu speed up her own eating. Why is it that when it's just the two of them at home, they don't seem to have this kind of appetite as soon as he returns? They both inexplicably relax. Shen Yuchu let her mind wander while eating. It was scary to think about. Before, they couldn't wait to stay away from this man. But in such a short time, they had been subtly corrupted by your influence. Only the sound of slurping remained at the table. It wasn't until Shen Yuchu finished that she noticed you and Wan Wan had finished ages ago, and both were staring at her in perfect sync. Shen Yuchu's pretty face couldn't help but flush red again. She hurriedly wiped her mouth and stood up to hide her embarrassment, gathering the bowls and chopsticks from the table. I'll do the dishes. You spend more time with Wan Wan. She stacked your bowl as well, picked them up, and headed for the kitchen, watching Shen Yuchu drift into the kitchen like a gust of wind. You shook your head. You really didn't plan on fighting her for the chores this time. What was she panicking for? Daddy, come play blocks with Wan Wan. Wan Wan jumped down from her stool and pulled your hand toward the sofa. With your help, Wan Wan built her block, assembling them into the shape of a small house. While laughing in her sweet, milky voice, you took this chance to ask about things at home. The little one told you everything she knew, especially when it came to Shen Yuchu. The little one completely sold out her mom. Mommy misses Daddy too. I saw Mommy, always watching videos of Daddy singing and smiling secretly. You stifled a laugh. It really wasn't your intention to pry, but the key was that Wan Wan spoke very loudly, not noticing at all that Shen Yuchu had already stormed out of the kitchen. At this moment, Shen Yuchu's face was as red as a ripe apple, but her eyes were full of meaning. Looking down at the little trader who sold her out for a snack, Wan Wan noticed Daddy suddenly stopped talking. She looked up in confusion and saw Mommy's bright red face. She yelped and dove into your arms, muttering, "Can't see Mommy? Can't see." Shen Yuchu couldn't help but laugh. She reached out and patted the little one's butt poking out from your arm, while staring at your smirking face to explain, "Don't listen to Wan Wan's nonsense." I definitely didn't. You did. Mommy is a liar. Liars aren't good kids. Wan Wan's little face was buried deep in your chest. As she shouted in a muffled voice, seeing that Shen Yuchu was about to snap, you immediately raised both hands in surrender, leaving the little one completely exposed. No, no, I believe you. The wise man knows when to submit. Poor Wan Wan, though. She was immediately scooped up by Shen Yuchu and teased. The little one's big eyes sparkled with tears, reaching out toward you as you sat there properly. She never expected that you'd sell her out to Mommy in a heartbeat. For the peace and prosperity of this home, my little baby will just have to suffer a bit. The family played and joked around for a while. Wan Wan ultimately ended up as the one bearing the brunt of it all, building her blocks there all by herself. You rubbed her little head, and then stood up, pulling a paper file folder out of your suitcase and placing it in front of Shen Yuchu. Mission accomplished. Take a look. This is the contract from Starry Entertainment. Shen Yuchu looked at your serious expression. Her eyelashes fluttered slightly, indicating the turmoil in your heart. In just a few days outside, you really brought back a contract for her. Shen Yuchu lowered her head, picked up the file folder and opened it to look through, reading the contract inside all the way to the end. Her hands began to tremble slightly. This was a contract she wouldn't even dare to dream of. Top-tier treatment. A perfect level of freedom. Even if she hadn't left the industry and kept singing, she wouldn't have such a contract even now. Shen Yuchu didn't know how you did it. In just a few days, what you went through, or how much you sacrificed, to be able to trade for such a signing contract that people wouldn't even dare imagine. Shen Yuchu looked up, staring straight at you, with tears glistening in her eyes, pursing her small mouth, just locking eyes with you like this. Your face still wore that gentle smile, as if all of this was just no big deal. After a long while, Shen Yuchu spoke softly, Lu Fan. Actually, it's okay if I don't sing. Though her voice was small, there was no hesitation. She was very firm. You frowned slightly in confusion. Clearly she likes singing and wants to sing. What does she mean by this now? You couldn't understand. What exactly was going on in this woman's head? Why haven't you always wanted to sing? Now that the opportunity is here, why are you backing down? Your tone became a bit heavier. This was the first time you had spoken to her like this since coming here. Having been a single dog your entire life, you naturally wouldn't understand what was in Shen Yuchu's heart. Her mind was a complete mess. She suddenly felt that living like this was actually fine. If she really went to sing, she was afraid that things would change later. Afraid that life would never be like this again. Shen Yuchu's little mouth twitched slightly, staring straight at you as tears fell one by one. After a moment, she finally said softly, I'm afraid. I'm afraid bad changes will happen in the future. This was the first time Shen Yuchu had directly told you about the fears in her heart. You were stunned for a second. Then your furrowed brow relaxed as you smiled, smiling very warmly. You picked up a tissue and reached out to gently wipe away the tear stains sliding down Shen Yuchu's face. Shen Yuchu, who do you think I am? I'm telling you very seriously, go ahead with a peace of mind. No matter what happens, none of this will ever change. After all, I'm already prepared to be a full-time stay-at-home dad. Shen Yuchu never expected you to say that, or to directly wipe away her tears for her. It had been far too long since Shen Yuchu experienced this level of intimacy. She immediately lowered her head in bashfulness. Her slightly red face instantly turned a deep crimson. She didn't even have the mental capacity to think of her mess of worries. You still thought she was afraid of all those random things. But now you knew that Shen Yuchu was likely just afraid of making a change. After all, someone who has stayed at home for too long will always have this kind of psychological hurdle. So you spoke up again, I'm serious. Just leave Wan Wan to me. I will take good care of her. And you've seen your contract? The level of freedom is very high. You can come back whenever you want. Don't worry about home. Just take good care of yourself out there. As you spoke, Shen Yuchu didn't hear a single word. In her mind was still the scene of you gently stroking her face. Wan Wan on the sofa had long since started, secretly watching the interaction between mommy and daddy. She clearly saw that on mommy's lowered face. The corners of her mouth were already slightly upturned, while daddy was still there nagging nonstop. In her little mind, she didn't know what was happening. She only knew that mommy should be happy right now, and daddy was still worried about mommy. So she threw herself onto your lap, looking up and blinking her big eyes, and said on a sudden whim, Daddy. As soon as these words came out, you were instantly petrified. Shen Yuchu looked up even more, looking at the little one with a look of shock. Her heart was thumping so hard it almost jumped out of her chest. Is that okay? Daddy, seeing you didn't agree, Wan Wan activated her acting cute technique and started rolling around on your lap. You swallowed hard and turned your head to look at Shen Yuchu, whose neck was already completely red. Your eyes were dodging. You have to ask your mommy if she agrees. How were you supposed to answer that? Shen Yuchu was so shy she was having a breakdown. She hurriedly stood up and walked toward the bathroom. I'm tired, I'm going to wash up and get ready for bed. Shen Yuchu fled in a panic, leaving only you and Wan Wan in the living room. Staring at each other, you had absolutely no idea what to do. But Wan Wan hopped up from your lap and hugged your neck. Mommy said if daddy is ready, it's fine. Did Shen Yuchu really say that? You turned to look at the tightly closed bathroom door, faintly hearing the sound of washing inside. Then, I guess it's okay. You took a deep breath of the milky scent on the little one to bolster your own courage, telling yourself in your heart that this was entirely for Wan Wan. And for no other reason, after a long while, Shen Yuchu finally came out of the bathroom and quietly returned to the bedroom. When she passed the living room, she didn't even glance toward the sofa. Only then did you stand up holding Wan Wan and went into the bathroom. After helping the little one wash up, you did a quick wash yourself. Before carrying the little one out until this very moment, your heart finally began to race. From the living room to the master bedroom, it felt like you walked a long distance over that short gap. By the time you stepped into the bedroom, your mind had gone completely blank. You haven't experienced this in 2 lifetimes. Right now, you really want to ask for help. What should you do? Shen Yuchu had already crawled under the covers, looking like she was already asleep, lying on her side, facing inward. Her exact expression couldn't be seen right now. Only her crystalline rosy earlobes gave away her current state. You gently closed the door, The sound of the door closing caused Shen Youchu to tremble slightly, even her abdomen flinched. But she still didn't get up. You've completely embraced the let it be attitude now. It's already come to this, being nervous is useless. Just lie flat and relax. Thinking this way, your mindset actually lightened up a lot. Placing Wanwan in the middle, you sat down on the other side of the bed, pulled Wanwan close, and started telling a bedtime story. Today, Daddy will tell Wanwan the story of Snow White. Your gentle voice echoed throughout the room. Shen Youchu's eyelashes flickered slightly. That racing heart of hers as the story unfolded slowly began to calm down. Later on, she actually fell asleep without knowing it. Just like her, Wanwan also slowly fell asleep during your story. The night grew deep. Seeing their breathing slowly become steady, you finally turned off the light and slid into the covers. The pillow was filled with that familiar faint fragrance. It was your first time knowing that a girl's pillow could be so fragrant. You hugged Wanwan beside you, and accompanied by the scent, you also quickly fell into a deep sleep. Silence throughout the night. The next day, your biological clock was still on time. You woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, subconsciously hugging the soft body in your arms. Then you suddenly froze. When did Wanwan get this big? You swallowed hard and looked inside the covers. There was no sign of Wanwan in your arms at all. It wasn't the little one, but Shen Youchu. You were totally dumbfounded. How did she end up in your arms? A faint fragrance lingered at the tip of your nose. The body in your arms was soft and warm. Your inner zen instantly shattered. Involuntarily, you leaned down until you were close to Shen Yuchu's pretty face. You stopped right there, having a fierce mental struggle. Then you saw her long eyelashes blink gently, scaring you into sitting back up immediately. Your body quietly withdrew your arm from under her neck. Hunched over, you carefully got out of bed and dashed out of the bedroom. Arriving at the bathroom to wash up, your face was full of frustration. This early morning was way too torturous. What you didn't know was, right after you walked out of the bedroom, Shen Youchu on the bed actually opened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes let out a slight sigh of relief. She covered her burning face and shrunk into the covers, looking like she couldn't face anyone. Just as you sat up, Shen Youchu had woken up. She didn't know. When she had crawled into your arms, she even used your arm as a pillow. It was so embarrassing. Until she sensed your breath hitting her face, her heart felt a bit of panic. What does he want to do? Does he want to sneak a kiss? What should I do? Shen Youchu was scared to death then, and didn't dare to wake up. She could only continue to play dead. Luckily, you stopped yourself in time. Otherwise, she really wouldn't know how to face you. But when you actually pulled away and left, she felt a faint sense of disappointment. Shen Youchu didn't know if she was ready. She only knew her heart was a total mess. After a long while, Shen Youchu still curled under the covers. Finally let out a deep breath. She just let nature take its course, hiding away until 8 a.m. Shen Youchu heard the door open again outside. Before finally crawling out of bed, she fixed herself up and walked out of the room. You were already in the kitchen getting ready to cook. Seeing Shen Youchu come out, you greeted her with a slightly awkward expression. Morning. Shen Youchu's expression was also a bit unnatural. She didn't even lift her eyes to look, simply responding with a soft hum. After speaking, she went into the bathroom to wash up. You didn't think much of it, and turned back to continue making breakfast. To your surprise, Shen Youchu finished washing up quickly, and came straight to the kitchen. Let me help you. Shen Yuchu's expression was natural now. As she skillfully took the bowl to wash the rice, you were stunned for just a second, but quickly snapped out of it, readily accepting her kind offer, moving aside to start washing the vegetables. The two of you were in perfect sync, like a couple who had lived together for years. 20 minutes later, the golden millet porridge and 2 side dishes were successfully served. You took off your apron, washed your hands, and naturally walked into the master bedroom to wake up Wanwan, who had slept all the way to the corner of the bed, then gathered the family. After a pleasant breakfast, you looked at Shen Youchu and said, "By the way, are you reporting to Starry Entertainment in early August?" Hearing this, Shen Youchu sat on the sofa. Her beautiful eyes blinked. Before that, I need to go pick up Choo Choo first, then go find Yunji. If they knew I could make a comeback, they would definitely be so happy. As Shen Youchu spoke, a heartfelt smile appeared on her face. Leaving the industry so abruptly before, the people she felt most sorry for were those two. Now, even if it's not for her own dreams, for the sake of those two, she had to work hard. You nodded, messing with Wanwan's hair, while your mind was busy pondering what song you should write for Shen Youchu. This is her first battle after returning. It has to be a total banger. Shen Youchu has a great vocal range. Whether it's sweet songs or sad ballads, she can pull them off, so there are too many options. You were a bit indecisive for a moment. After thinking for a while with no result, you thought of something else. By the way, let's go buy a car in a few days. Actually, let's get 2. Wanwan starts kindergarten in a month. It'll be easier to drop her off and pick her up. Plus, even though Starry Entertainment will provide a van during your free time, you still need a car to get around. Shen Youchu fell into thought and agreed that buying a car was a good idea before she stayed home and never went out. So it didn't matter if they had a car or not, now that she'll be out often. Not having a car would be inconvenient. But she was worried you didn't have enough money after all the earnings from your first 2 videos. Were used to buy a lot of furniture. She didn't know how much was left after your trip, and Wan is starting kindergarten soon, which will be another big expense. After deep thought, Shen Yuchu looked up, a trace of worry showing in her expression. Let's just buy one first. It'll be easier for you to pick up the kid at home. I'll have a company car while I'm out, so I shouldn't really need one. Wait until you've made some money before considering a car. Shen Yuchu was thinking that once she releases a song or album and gets some revenue, then she'd consider these issues. Thinking of this, Shen Yuchu felt a bit anxious again. She wasn't even sure herself when she would actually have a song to sing. Although the Starry Entertainment contract offers top-tier resources, it also came with a clause regarding song freedom. She didn't know how you negotiated with the company. They gave her top-tier resources, but why didn't they help her commission songs? She was a bit confused. After all, she didn't know many songwriters. Thinking of songwriters, Shen Yuchu suddenly froze and looked at your calm face. It seemed like he knew how to write songs. Although she didn't know when he learned it. Of those 2 songs on TikTok, one was even taught to Wan by you on the spot. You naturally knew Shen Yuchu's worries about the money, calmly waving your hand. Don't worry, you don't need to fear the family running out of cash. Let the bullet fly for a while. The money will come in a few days. On Sunday, the Ordinary MV went online at 8 a.m. sharp, co-created by Huayin and the Bufan account. Jointly shared by colleagues from various other departments, the lineup could be described as unprecedentedly luxurious. Of course, no matter how luxurious the lineup is, the audience still wants to see quality, only if the quality is up to par. Will everyone buy into it and pay attention to the story behind the MV? However, there's a saying circulating online now, produced by Bufan, must be a masterpiece. Now, seeing that the lyrics and music were both by Bufan, everyone instantly became interested. This mysterious guy doesn't act often, but when he does, it's bound to be amazing. So the audience clicked on the MV one after another, wanting to witness the spectacle, until the music and the last piece of footage faded out. Bufan's silhouette never appeared. You are still as mysterious as ever, but everyone was satisfied with the footage. Every single person in this video is deeply engraved in everyone's heart. Even long after the main video was released, not a single person liked it. Not a single person commented. It's as if everyone collectively disappeared. In Huayin's conference room right now, Lin Silly kept watching the real-time data online. He didn't understand why there were over 100 million people watching, yet not a single like. Does everyone not approve of this video? Lin Silly felt a bit disheartened. He wiped his reddened eyes, finding this situation hard to accept. However, in the next moment, the video's data suddenly took off. Likes and comments exploded like a flood, completely unstoppable. This was the first time in history that in such a short amount of time, data surged in a massive blowout. In just a few breaths, the likes jumped from 100,000 to 5 million, then 10 million, 20 million. The platform experienced its first ever comment lag. Even so, it didn't seem to stop. The vast number of netizens from liking and commenting. They started out curious about the MV released by Huayin, expecting greatness when they saw it was written by Bufan. But now that they've watched the whole thing, they are completely moved. Empathy is the most intuitive feeling in everyone's heart right now. This video went from the bottom directly to the trending searches, firmly taking the #1 spot. In Huayin's conference room, a sudden burst of cheering erupted. Lin Silly also clenched his fist in excitement, speechlessly watching the rapidly rising data. So it wasn't that people weren't touched, they just hadn't had time to digest those feelings yet. Another half hour passed. This heat wasn't just on one platform, but even spread to Weibo. The Weibo trending list was entirely filled with topics about this MV. Countless netizens are constantly discussing it. I don't know which netizen it was, who first saw Huayin upload the official version of the Ordinary track and it was set to free. At this time, everyone who had watched the MV rushed to the Huayin platform to leave ratings, downloading, favoriting, and liking all in one day. The entire Chinese entertainment industry was shaken by it. No matter which entertainment company or individual, they all silently shared the video after watching. They were incredibly envious of this kind of hype. But it's not something they could just replicate. They could only follow along and silently clout chase, forcing their way into the life trend. And right now, Shen Yuchu is sobbing quietly in your arms, holding the corner of your shirt, wiping her tears and snot all over it, looking like a pitiful, aggrieved little thing, making your heart ache for her. It's just a video, right? You cried, but why do you look so mistreated? Shen Yuchu finally knows what you were busy with outside these past few days, creating a song like this, collaborating with Huayin, helping her secure that unrealistic contract. She has no idea what you actually went through. She feels aggrieved because you did so much outside, but didn't tell her anything when you came back. Did you suffer any losses out there because of this? Did people give you a hard time? And just how much energy did you expend to create a masterpiece like this? At the same time, in the city center branch of Tianmei Entertainment, Liu Li's Face was so gloomy it looked like it could drip water. Her manager, Sister Chin, also looked terrible. The atmosphere in the room was heavy. Only Zhao Chuchu was secretly laughing nearby, looking very much like she was enjoying their misfortune. Liu Li glanced at her manager, feeling more and more that this aging woman was truly useless. Sister Chin, wasn't your song scheduled for late July on Huayin? What's going on now? The song was bumped, telling me to release in early August. The company's promos are already out there. I just bought a trending spot. Yet they postponed my song without a word, and even dominated every single trending list. Sister Chin, you've always been in charge. Y'all, charge of this? You owe me an explanation. Sister Chin's expression turned even more gloomy. She was already in a bad mood because of this, and now Liu Li was yelling at her. For a moment, she felt even more furious. You want an explanation from me? If you're so capable, go talk to Huayin. Why take your temper out on me? Who knows where this Bufan guy came from? But one song forced Huayin to release their MV early. If she didn't rely on Liu Li for her paycheck, Sister Chin wouldn't want to deal with her at all. So what do we do now? Liu Li's tone remained aggressive. Sister Chin frowned. They were like ants on the same rope now. She couldn't afford to burn bridges yet. She gave a cold laugh. We'll do this. Hearing the plan, Liu Li knew she had no choice. She cursed Bufan secretly in her heart. It was all his fault for stealing the hype that belonged to her. When Liu Li turned her head and saw Zhao Chuchu nearby stifling a laugh, her anger flared up even more. Zhao Chuchu, can't you see what a mess it is over here? Get over here and clean up. Her voice was sharp and piercing, making Zhao Chuchu pick at her ears. Oh, I'm so sorry. My contract expires today and I've already submitted my resignation. This lady isn't serving you anymore. Zhao Chuchu burst out laughing as she spoke, sitting in her chair with legs crossed leisurely sipping tea. Liu Li stood up with a snap, pointing at Zhao Chuchu while her face turned pale then flushed. She couldn't say a single word for a long time. At this time, after having lunch, the three of you happily took a cab out. In the afternoon, you arrived at the 4S dealership on time. Welcome. Sir, madam, is there a specific model you're interested in? The salesperson in charge of reception's eyes lit up. He had several years of sales experience. 80% of families like this looking at cars would close a deal. You nodded. At home. You and Shen Yuchu had researched it together and only came over after choosing a model. Do you have the H9 top trim level? Yes, we do. Hearing that you already had a specific model in mind, the salesperson's eyes sparkled even more. The cheapest top trim H9 would still cost over 300,000 out the door. Sir, we happen to have the top trim H9 in stock, and there are two of them. One in quicksand gold, one in gentian purple. Which one would you like to see first? As the salesperson spoke, he led the three of you further into the shop. The gentian purple one. It looks a bit more sophisticated. This was also what you had decided at home. Gentian purple looks more elegant. You won't lose face when you're out and about. Sir, you really have great taste. Gentian purple definitely suits your wife's aura better. As the salesperson spoke, he led you to the car and introduced it. This is the gentian purple H9 top trim. Sir, why don't you hop in and try it? You let out a laugh. I won't. You two let me hold one. You try it. You saw Shen Yuchu's eyes visibly light up when she saw the car. Clearly, she was very satisfied with this vehicle. Shen Yuchu was a bit shy, her cheeks turning slightly red. But she mustered the courage to hand Wan to you, and then she sat inside. She used to fantasize that she would have a car of her own one day. Thinking that it actually came true today, the car was great, with beautiful lines that didn't lack a boss-like presence. Seeing Shen Yuchu unable to take her hands off it, you were even happier. Heroically pulling out your bank card and driver's license, you handed them to the salesperson. This is the one. Full payment, swipe the card. The salesperson's grin almost reached his ears. Right away, sir. I'll definitely give you the biggest discount. Wait for me to prepare the paperwork. You didn't wait long. The salesperson came back with the car contract and all kinds of documents. The group went to the lounge table and sat down. Sir, for a full cash payment, we can offer you a price of $385,000. Insurance and registration are all included, plus a full set of seat covers and a car wrap. You can pick up the car tomorrow. You nodded, entering your PIN and swiping the card without a word. With all the procedures finished, you made an appointment to pick up the car tomorrow morning, then left the 4S dealership in high spirits. It was already 5 p.m. by the time you got home. Just as you arrived, you received a call from Li Xia. Hello, big genius, congratulations. Right now, the internet is flooded with news about that MV and you. You've officially gone viral. Congrats to us both. I wasn't looking to be that famous, but your company must have gained a lot of benefits this time, right? You laughed. That's all thanks to you, the big genius. Anyway, when is Shen Yuchu coming to report in? Li Xia teased you over the phone, and then asked with a smile. You looked at Shen Yuchu on the sofa whose ears were perked up while secretly eavesdropping on your call. You smiled. In a couple of days. The third at the latest. Still some things at home to handle before she heads over. Good? Then I'll be here waiting for the star. Li Xia was very curious in her heart about what kind of personality the woman who could make you work so hard for her would have. The 4S dealership was very efficient. At 10 a.m. the next morning, the salesperson called to notify you that the car was registered, the insurance was processed, and it was ready for pickup at any time. The task of picking up the car was given to Shen Yuchu. You didn't go with her. Instead, you stayed home to look after Wan Wan. Arriving all the way at the 4S dealership, Shen Yuchu successfully picked up the car. After taking it for a spin, she drove toward the city center. She was going to find Chuchu and Sister Yun to bring them along to Starry Entertainment. Shen Yuchu had already made up her mind to report to Starry Entertainment tomorrow. Even though you said she could go later, she didn't want to. She had her own little plan. Besides singing being her dream, she didn't want to be like a mere vase who could only rely on you. At this moment, Shen Yuchu didn't know Zhao Chuchu had already resigned. She drove to a spot not far from the Tianmei Entertainment building. Before giving Zhao Chuchu a call, she wanted to give her a surprise. The call was quickly picked up. Shen Yuchu had a smile on her face. Even her voice was bright. Chuchu, guess where I am? Zhao Chuchu was in her rental apartment, packing her things. After resigning, she planned to head back to her hometown. She had already made up her mind. It was exactly at this time that she received Shen Yuchu's call. Sister Shen, if you're not at home, where else could you be? Silly, I'm downstairs at your company. Come down quick, I have something to tell you. Then Sister Shen, wait a moment. I'll be right there. Zhao Chuchu panicked a little. Why did Sister Shen come to her company's building? For a moment, she didn't know how to tell Shen Yuchu about her resignation and plan to return home. Fortunately, the apartment Zhao Chuchu rented wasn't far from the Tianmei Entertainment building. Before long, she ran downstairs out of breath, looking around left and right, until she heard a cry of Chuchu! I'm here. She turned her head to look, and saw Shen Yuchu getting out of a brand new car, waving at her. Sister Shen, you bought a car. Zhao Chuchu's eyes narrowed into a beautiful curve, walking quickly to Shen Yuchu's side, looking at the brand new car next to Shen Yuchu, with a look of utter disbelief. That man actually bought a car for Sister Shen? Didn't he treat Sister Shen poorly? Shen Yuchu smiled and nodded, taking Zhao Chuchu's hand. Yeah, just bought it today. Actually, I have something to discuss with you. Are you free? Only then did Zhao Chuchu realize this version of Shen Yuchu seemed a bit different from the one she saw last time. Her skin was much more radiant. Her face was a bit fuller, and her complexion had clearly improved a lot. Most importantly, that sense of confidence in her seemed to have returned. Seeing her former assistant, Shen Yuchu's eyes carried a light of hope. She directly grabbed her hand. Chuchu, come back and be my assistant again. Let's get Sister Yun too. I'm making a comeback. As soon as she spoke, Zhao Chuchu was instantly stunned, simply unable to believe her ears. But in the next second, she jumped up in excitement. I knew it. There's always a way out. Sister Shen, what a coincidence. I just resigned. We can fight side by side again. However, Shen Yuchu froze. She only just learned that Chuchu had actually resigned. Instantly, massive guilt and sadness surged in her heart. I'm sorry I was too headstrong before. It was all because of her that Chuchu and Yunji were dragged down. You guys have to look toward the future. I'm making my comeback now. Immediately after she asked, do you know where Sister Yun is? We'll go find her right now. Zhao Chuchu immediately gave the address, knowing Sister Yun must be at the hospital taking care of her mom. Shen Youchu didn't waste a single second, directly told Chuchu to get in the car. The two of them rushed to the hospital, but while in the car, Zhao Chuchu looked at the brand new interior, suddenly asking curiously, Sister Shen, does he know about your comeback? Shen Youchu nodded, the corners of her mouth curling up involuntarily. He knows. He's actually the one who negotiated the comeback contract for me, and he bought this car for me too. This one sentence made Zhao Chuchu's mouth hang open in shock. He negotiated the contract for you? How is that possible? Sister Shen, you're not pulling my leg right? Shen Yuchu shook her head and dropped an even bigger bombshell. It's true. He negotiated a contract with Starry Entertainment for me, and it's a top-tier one. Zhao Chuchu was completely dumbfounded. She couldn't wrap her head around it. How could that man possibly land a top-tier contract? Seeing her speechless, Shen Yuchu continued. He's actually being really good to me now. Don't treat him with that attitude anymore. Zhao Chuchu finally snapped out of it, pouting as she teased, Sister Shen so protective already. I'm jealous. The kind that can't be easily coaxed. Shen Yuchu's face turned red, but she didn't deny it. Soon they arrived at the hospital. Standing at the door of Ward 302, Shen Yuchu felt incredibly nervous. But the moment she knocked and saw Sister Yun, tears nearly burst from her eyes. Sister Yun, who used to have beautiful black hair, actually had strands of white showing now. Her resilient face was covered in exhaustion. She looked exactly like Shen Yuchu used to look. Sister Yun was also completely stunned to see Shen Yuchu. She stared blankly at her. The two shared a silent, emotional look. It was Zhao Chuchu who ran in first to break the ice. Sister Yun, Sister Shen and I came to find you. Sister Yun finally reacted, rubbing her hands together nervously. You're here. Why didn't you give me a heads up? Look at the state I'm in. She forced a smile, saying her mother was doing okay and would recover after one more surgery. But a hint of bitterness was hidden in that smile. She was at the end of her rope, owing over 100,000 in debts, with no way to pay for the next surgery. Shen Youchu walked into the ward, lowering her head and biting her lip, like a child who had done something wrong. Sister Yoon walked up to her, took her hand, and a relieved smile appeared on her face. I'm very happy you came to see me. I'm even happier seeing you like this. It shows you're doing quite well. Sister Yoon stopping you before was for your own good. Don't take it to heart. At this moment, Shen Youchu could no longer hold it back. Sister Yoon, I'm sorry. She suddenly threw herself into Sister Yoon's arms, tears falling like raindrops. Sister Yoon gently patted her back, comforting her softly. No need to apologize. What mother would blame her own child? I truly treat you as my own daughter. Hearing these words, Shen Youchu cried even harder. Sister Yoon just kept holding her like that, patting her until she was tired of crying. She raised her swollen eyes to see Sister Yoon's gentle smile. Shen Youchu pursed her lips and said firmly, Sister Yoon, I'm making a comeback. Will you come back and be my manager? Hearing this, Sister Yoon was suddenly stunned. Instantly frowning, what about your child? Are you okay with that kid taking care of her? In Sister Yoon's eyes, Lufan wasn't exactly the reliable type to babysit. But Shen Youchu nodded firmly. Lufan is Wanwan's father. He will take good care of Wanwan. I believe in him. Sister Yoon rubbed her temples, suppressing the doubts in her heart. Even if he can take care of the child. A comeback is no easy feat. Do you have a company to sign with? What kind of resources will the company give you? Before she could finish, Shen Youchu immediately pulled the contract from her bag and handed it over. Sister Yoon, look. This is the contract from Starry Entertainment. Seeing those two words, Starry Entertainment, Sister Yoon was instantly dumbfounded. That was one of the big three in China. She took the contract half doubting and began to look through it carefully. But the more she saw, the more shocked she became. By the time she reached the end, her hands had already begun to tremble slightly. What kind of god-tier contract is this? Did Shen Youchu kidnap the boss of Starry Entertainment? Top-tier resources. No restrictions on freedom and a short 2-year term. These are practically overlord terms in her favor. Sister Yoon suddenly looked up. Her voice was actually shaking. Is this for real? Of course it's real. It even has the Starry Entertainment seal on it. Shen Youchu quickly explained, fearing she wouldn't believe it, but Sister Yoon was completely stunned, staring at her blankly. The clauses in this contract she had never seen in her entire career as a manager. It's too ridiculous. Is Starry Entertainment insane? Sister Yoon, I have to report in tomorrow. Seeing she still didn't believe it, Shen Youchu had to emphasize it again. This time Sister Yoon finally believed it, but the shock on her face didn't fade at all. Youchu, tell me honestly, how did you sign this contract? Shen Youchu finally breathed a sigh of relief, her cheeks turning slightly red. Lu Fan went to Shanghai to get it for me. He wrote a song for Starry Entertainment. This sentence made Sister Yoon question reality. Lufan wrote a song and got this broken contract in return. This is like a total fairy tale. The biggest absurdity in the world. Youchu, don't blame me for not believing him. He knows how to write songs. Even if he does, what kind of song could be worth a contract like this? Don't let him trick you. He really did write a song. Seeing Sister Yoon's disbelief, Shen Youchu immediately took out her phone and opened the account named Bufan on the platform. Sister Yoon took the phone with suspicion. Zhao Chuchu also leaned in from the side. In the next second, OMG, over 100 million likes on the first day. Zhao Chuchu shouted out exaggeratedly, then quickly covered her mouth. This was a hospital ward after all. Sister Yoon was also dumbfounded. What video could possibly have over 100 million likes? Then she saw the account name Bufan, followed by co-created with Huayin. Bufan, Huayin? Sister Yoon was momentarily dazed. She looked up, as a ridiculous thought popped into her head. Bufan? Is Lu Fan? Zhao Chuchu also suppressed a scream. Bufan, the hottest, most mysterious guy on the entire internet right now. Seeing the two of them so shocked, Shen Youchu's face turned even redder. Yeah, this time Sister Yoon finally snapped out of it. She handed the phone back to Shen Youchu with a complicated look. Shen Youchu, having a bright future, was something she was obviously happy about, but in the next second, she let out a sigh. Youchu, with your potential, you can definitely find a better manager. Forget about me. Why, Sister Yoon, do you not want me anymore? Shen Youchu cried out. Sister Yoon looked toward the hospital ward, her face full of helplessness. You see for yourself, your mother needs care. I really can't get away. We can hire a nanny, but Sister Yoon looked troubled. Where would she get the money for a nanny? Following Shen Youchu would only hold her back. Youchu, don't try to persuade me anymore. You must cherish such a good opportunity. Don't be so headstrong in the future. After speaking, Sister Yoon steeled her heart and turned away. Shen Youchu bit her lip. She didn't understand why Sister Yoon simply refused to go with her, coming with hope, returning in disappointment. Shen Youchu remained silent the whole way back. After dropping Zhao Chuchu off, she drove home alone. But when the door opened and you saw her, you were stunned. She had been crying. Did things go smoothly? You asked directly. Who knew that as soon as you spoke, Shen Yuchu's mouth instantly crumpled. She plopped down on the sofa, seeing you as if she had found her only support. Tears began to well up again. Sister Yoon, she doesn't want to go with me. You furrowed your brows. Why in your memory? Wasn't that strict woman the one who spoiled Shen Yuchu the most? Immediately after, Shen Yuchu told you everything that happened at the hospital. In a pitiful and aggrieved manner, you listened in silence. Until she finished speaking, then you nodded thoughtfully. I get it now. You suddenly stood up. You are such a dummy. Stay home with Wan Wan, I'm heading out. Where are you going? Shen Yuchu looked displeased. Unsure if it was because you called her a dummy, or because she didn't want you to leave. You turned back the corner of your mouth, curving up. I'm going to bring back someone very important to you. After saying that, you headed straight out. First you found a housekeeping agency. Then you drove straight to the hospital. But you didn't go find Sister Yoon directly. Instead, you sought out the attending physician. After learning about Sister Yoon's mother's full medical condition from the doctor, you went up to the inpatient department ward 302. Composing your emotions, you put on a cold expression and gently knocked on the door. The next second, the door opened. Sister Yoon, with slightly red eyes, appeared before you. She was stunned the moment she saw you, but your voice remained calm. As you spoke with the dominant aura, Sister Yoon, aren't you going to let me in first? Sister Yoon frowned, but still stepped aside to let you enter the room. Just as you stepped into the ward, a white-haired, skin and bones elderly woman looked over. Xiao Yun, is this your friend? Before Sister Yoon could answer, you quickly walked to the bedside and grasped the elderly woman's hand. Auntie, my wife is Sister Yoon's friend. She was here earlier, but didn't want to wake you since you were sleeping. Upon hearing this, the elderly woman immediately showed a kind smile. So you're Xiao Yun's friend. That's very kind of you. You immediately replied, Auntie, we're the lucky ones to have Sister Yoon as a friend. My wife talks about how great she is every day at home. I'm getting calluses on my ears from hearing it. You shifted the conversation and started rambling a bit. It's just a pity that for this job, my wife wanted to work with Sister Yoon. But Sister Yoon won't go because she's worried about your health. You have no idea. My wife was crying so hard when she got home. Behind you, Sister Yoon's face suddenly paled. In her eyes, you were just a lobbyist sent by Shen Yuchu. What job? Xiao Yun, what's going on? Sister Yoon's mother did not know the specifics of her daughter's work. Hearing this, her gray eyebrows immediately furrowed. Mom, don't listen to his nonsense. There's no job. Sister Yoon glared at you and hurriedly explained. But the elderly lady wasn't stupid. She immediately gripped your hand. Young man, tell me what kind of job is it exactly? You pretended to be put on the spot, glanced at Sister Yoon, and then spoke slowly. Auntie, this job requires traveling. We wanted to hire a nanny for you. But Sister Yoon was worried and insisted on taking care of you herself. Xiao Yun, you silly child. Upon hearing this, the old lady immediately turned to her daughter. If the job requires traveling, then go. Mom's Sister Yoon grew anxious, hating you to the core in her heart. You knew the reason she wanted to stay was simply because she couldn't leave. She didn't have the money to hire a nanny, and the funds for the next surgery were still missing. Just then, you spoke calmly. Sister Yoon, let's go outside and talk. After saying that, you smiled at the elderly lady, then turned and walked out of the ward. Sister Yoon bit her lip and followed you out. In the hallway, Sister Yoon looked up and glared at you. What exactly do you want? You looked down at her coldly, as if stating a simple fact. You can see me as the bad guy? I just don't want Shen Yuchu to be sad. If you don't go with her, she will always be worried about you. When that happens out of all her passion, she'll be lucky to give even half of it to her work. You paused and dropped a bombshell. By the way, I've already paid for Auntie's next surgery. I've also contacted a nanny agency. Here's the number. Pick the person yourself. Are you giving me charity? Sister Yoon let out an angry laugh. But you acted like a total rogue. Director, you're overthinking it. You have to pay me back. It'll be deducted from the salary Shen Yuchu pays you. You looked her straight in the eye and said word for word, you and Chuchu are being hired by her personally. It has nothing to do with the company. I don't care how much she pays you, but this is my money, and you must pay me back. You spread your hands, putting on a face like a dead pig that doesn't fear boiling water. Anyway, I've paid for the surgery and the nanny. They don't do refunds. What you do next is none of my business. After speaking, you didn't give her any time to react, and turned to leave. Lufan, don't tell Shen Yuchu about this. Just as you reached the exit, Sister Yoon's voice came from behind. You didn't even look back, just waved your hand and walked away quickly. In the hallway, Sister Yoon watched the direction you disappeared, with a complicated look in her eyes, returning to the ward only after a long time. Xiao Yun, did that young man go back? Seeing her come in, alone, the mother patted the bedside for her to sit down. Don't blame him, he's a good person. I've seen many people in my time. From his eyes, you can tell exactly what kind of person he is. The old lady held her daughter's hand, speaking earnestly. Mom knows you're filial, but there are many paths in life. If you choose wrong, you'll regret it later. Isn't my health doing just fine? I'll be fully recovered after one more surgery. The doctor said the risk isn't big. Go. If I really make you regret your future because of me, that would truly break my heart. Sister Yoon lowered her head and stayed silent for a long time. Finally, she gave a soft nod. Back on your end just as you got home. Shen Yuchu rushed over to you, her small face written all over with curiosity, but you intentionally ignored her, happily picking up Wanwan. Wanwan, what do you want for dinner tonight? Shen Yuchu's expression instantly froze. She watched in disbelief as you walked straight past her. I love everything Daddy makes. The little one was certainly supportive, completely missing that her mom's face had already slumped. All right then, Daddy's going to cook right now. You gave the little one a kiss and turned to walk toward the kitchen. Lufan, I'm angry. Shen Yuchu pouted, looking completely aggrieved. Her expression seemed to be accusing you of actually treating her like she was invisible. Didn't you know how anxiously she was waiting at home? You turned around, looking totally innocent. What's up? When you asked this, Shen Yuchu got even angrier. You called her a dummy so tenderly when you left, but now you're playing dumb when you're back. She sat on the sofa with a huff, crossing her arms and turning her head away from you. You laughed, deciding not to tease her anymore. When you go out tomorrow, remember to bring your 2 loyal bodyguards. With that temper of yours, you'd be bullied to death if you went out without them. Shen Yuchu's eyes instantly sparkled. The speed of her mood swing even amazed you. Sister Yoon agreed. What do you think, all right? I'm gonna cook. Now, don't bother me. Shen Yuchu eventually didn't ask how you did it, because you played dumb every time she asked. But that didn't stop her from looking at you with eyes that grew brighter and brighter. In her heart, she probably felt that since you changed, there seemed to be nothing you couldn't achieve. Early the next morning, Shen Yuchu climbed out of bed. You also rarely skipped your morning run. The two of you tacitly made breakfast together in the kitchen. Wanwan was still sleeping. Shen Yuchu was afraid that if she saw her wake up, she wouldn't be able to bear leaving. Breakfast was ready. She ate quietly. You sat beside her, giving her nagging instructions. Remember to call often when you get there. Otherwise, Wanwan will miss you. Tell me if anything happens while you're away. Don't keep it hidden in your heart like a dummy. Shen Yuchu sipped her porridge mouthful by mouthful, listening to your words. Suddenly feeling a sense of loss in her heart, she almost didn't want to go anymore. She ate this meal extremely slowly, until the bowl was completely empty. Just then, her phone rang. She only realized and picked up after you reminded her. Hello? Sister Shen, I'm ready. Sister Yoon is with me. When are you coming over? I'll be there in a bit. Just wait a little longer. Okay. See you downstairs at my place then. The call ended. Shen Yuchu looked up at you. The complex look in her eyes made your heart tremble. You had to admit, Shen Yuchu was truly beautiful. You quickly turned to look at the luggage in the living room. It's time to go. Don't keep them waiting. Yeah, I'll go check on Wanwan and then leave. Shen Yuchu withdrew her gaze. Her voice was very soft. You nodded and walked into the bedroom with her. The little one was sleeping spread-eagled, completely unaware that her mom was about to travel far. Shen Yuchu leaned down and kissed her little face repeatedly. She buried her face in his neck and nudged him again. Before finally forcing herself to get up, walking out of the bedroom while looking back every step, you followed him silently, helping him carry the luggage to the car. Watching as he sat in the driver's seat, you closed the door and walked to the side. I'm leaving. Shen Yuchu turned to look at you. Remember to come home often, or the little one will turn the house upside down. Got it. The car started. Suddenly, Shen Yuchu turned her head back again with an incredibly serious expression. Lufan, I like you. As soon as she finished speaking, without waiting for any response, the car roared away, driving all the way to the city center. Zhao Chuchu was already waiting anxiously. Beside her, Sister Yoon shook her head. This girl was still as impatient as ever. Sister Shen is here, seeing Shen Yuchu's car. Zhao Chuchu hurriedly waved. Chuchu. Sister Yoon, have you been waiting long? Shen Yuchu took Zhao Chuchu's hand and looked at Sister Yoon apologetically. Not long at all. It's just this girl was too eager. Sister Yoon had a smile on her face. She never imagined that the three of them would have a reunion like this, and all of this was actually because of that man who looked like a pretty boy. Sister Yoon, thank you for coming. Without you and Chuchu, I wouldn't know what to do. All right. You're a mother now, yet you're still acting like a child. Sister Yoon patted her hand. With a professional look, you should be thanking your man. Enough talk, let's go get the luggage. These words made Shen Yuchu's face turn bright red. To this day, she still didn't know how you managed to convince Sister Yoon. The three of them didn't have much luggage. The car fit everything easily. After getting in, Zhao Chuchu waved her hand, shouting excitedly, let's go! The bright path ahead, here we come. The car sped toward Shanghai. Meanwhile, at the Starry Entertainment building in Shanghai, Licia arrived at her office early, but all day. She felt restless. Finally making it to noon, she calculated the time and immediately went downstairs. She arrived at the building entrance, just wanting to see what kind of person the wife that guy spoiled so much actually was. She didn't wait long. Before a car with Zhangcheng plates entered the parking lot, Li Xia's eyes narrowed slightly. 3 people got out of the car. One was chirpy and full of youthful energy. Another was older and looked on with doting eyes. Seeing these 2 friends, she knew Shen Youchu's personality definitely wasn't bad. Then she shifted her gaze to the woman in the middle, oval face and almond eyes, with a gentle smile on her face. She looked like someone who invoked protective instincts. No wonder a guy like Lu Fan would act that way. Li Xia composed herself and stepped forward. Hello, you must be Shen Youchu. I'm Li Xia, Deputy Head of HR at Starry Entertainment. Welcome to the team. Hello, I'm Shen Youchu. Shen Youchu's voice was soft and sweet. She was also sizing up this big sister type. Her aura was truly great. Her voice was pleasant, and she seemed unexpectedly clean and pure. But Li Xia was thinking in her heart, how did such a wonderful woman get whisked away by that jerk Lu Fan back then? She rarely looked away first. Looking toward Zhao Chuchu and Sister Yun, these 2 are Zhao Chuchu, my assistant, and Sister Yun, my manager. Shen Youchu answered earnestly. But she kept feeling that this woman in front of her was very polite, yet her reaction was a bit strange. Shen Youchu tilted her head in confusion. Suddenly, as if she thought of something, her eyes dimmed a little. Bringing your own team, huh? That makes things easier. Li Xia nodded to the 2 of them, then turned back. Then I'll take you on a tour first. After all, you'll be working here for the next 2 years. After the tour, I'll take you to the apartment. The group followed Li Xia into the building. Along the way, Zhao Chuchu was completely shell-shocked. This place was way more luxurious than Tianmei Entertainment in Jiangcheng. You could see trending celebrities at any moment. Tianmei just couldn't compete with this. You have to understand, in Jiangcheng, a second-tier singer like Liu Li could act like a total tyrant. Li Xia took them up the elevator to the 11th floor, introducing it enthusiastically. This whole floor consists of recording studios. They're all equipped with top-tier professional gear. Next, let's go to the 12th floor. That's the exclusive lounge area for singers. Songwriting and booking notices are all handled there. People kept greeting Li Xia along the way, all of them with strange flattering looks on their faces. Shen Youchu was even more puzzled. Why did these people have jealousy in their eyes when they saw her? Shen Youchu didn't get it. Wasn't Li Xia just a deputy head of HR? Why was everyone looking at her so strangely? What was even more ridiculous was seeing a balding man wearing a badge that said head of HR, who actually stopped to greet Li Xia and even greeted her as well. Shen Youchu responded, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the favor, thinking that this head of HR named Zhang Hao had such a great temperament. You should know that back at Tianmei, those leaders all walked around with their noses in the air. Just then, Li Xia stopped at the end of the hallway. She pointed at the room in front of them. This will be your exclusive lounge from now on. Shen Youchu looked up. The door was tightly shut. Equipped with a digital code lock, her name was clearly written on the door plate. Li Xia introduced it while entering the code. The initial code is 6 6s. You should change it yourself later. Come take a look. The door opened. The group walked into the room. Zhao Chuchu instantly let out a wow! This lounge was massive. The decor is so luxurious, even Shen Youchu was shocked, having never seen such a fancy lounge before. Zhao Chuchu was so happy she almost fainted. Thinking back to that doghouse at Tianmei, it's true that comparison is the thief of joy. If there weren't outsiders around, she'd really want to jump on the sofa and roll around. Li Xia smiled, seeing their pleasantly surprised looks. Not everyone gets this kind of treatment. Top-tier resources, right? Naturally, the lounge has to be top-tier too. Hearing this, Zhao Chuchu suddenly felt like that guy Lu Fan wasn't so detestable after all. Even after they came out, Zhao Chuchu was still immersed in joy. Just then, the neighboring door suddenly opened. An elegant and wealthy-looking woman walked out, clicking her high heels, followed by a small assistant. The woman saw the group. A flash of surprise crossed her face. Then she greeted Li Xia. Sister Li, you are personally showing someone the rooms. Yeah, Lena going out. I have a fan meeting this afternoon. Sister Li, you stay busy. I'll be going now. After Lena spoke, she just glanced at Shen Youchu and left elegantly in her high heels. Let's go too. Li Xia turned back. With a smile on her face again, the upper floors are all conference rooms. I won't take you there. Let's go straight to the apartment, drop the bags, and eat. It's on me. Shen Youchu felt she was being a bit too enthusiastic. Her impression of this company was great today, but everything just felt a little weird. Getting into the elevator, Shen Youchu suddenly asked softly, Director Li, are you and Lu Fan very close? The smile on Li Xia's face froze. Is it really like this? Shen Yuchu's eyes flickered, as a hint of an indescribable feeling rose in her heart. Well, I was the one who received him when he came, and I've been following up on the collaboration, so we're somewhat familiar. Li Xia quickly returned to normal. Shen Youchu just gave a soft response and stopped talking. The group went downstairs. Li Xia drove her gray Mercedes to lead the way. Shen Youchu drove her car slowly behind. As soon as Zhao Chuchu got in the car, she heartlessly praised how great this place was, until Sister Yun gave her a look. Then she finally quieted down. Sister Shen, what's wrong? Zhao Chuchu asked curiously, leaning over the front seat. I'm fine, Choo Choo. Keep talking. That's called being fine. Zhao Choo Choo was totally confused. Turning to Sister Yoon for help, Sister Yoon just smiled at Shen Yuchu without saying a word. She could tell at a glance that someone was drowning in jealousy. At this moment back home, you're having a major headache. His wife had only been gone half a day, and daughter Wan was already crying for her mom. You tried everything to coax her, but she just cried even harder, shouting that Daddy is a big meanie for hiding her mommy away. You grimaced while singing The Little Tiger, but for Wan. Little pearl-like tears kept falling one by one. She kicked her feet hard, looking like she wouldn't stop until she saw her mom. You scratched your head. What am I supposed to do now? You couldn't exactly call Shen Yuchu back now, right? She would laugh herself to death. Just then, the phone on the table suddenly rang. You glanced at it, and your eyes lit up in the next second a lifesaver. It was a WeChat message from Shen Yuchu. Just 2 words, you there? You quickly replied, def there. Unexpectedly, she replied with, I had lunch with Director Lee today. What the heck? Without overthinking, you quickly started a video call. Shen Yuchu's cool pretty face appeared on the screen. You immediately aimed the phone at Wan with a fawning smile. Mommy, Wan missed you. Unexpectedly, Shen Yuchu's face instantly turned cold. Lufan, this is what you meant by taking good care of Wan. You pretended not to hear her. Wan saw her mom and wiped her tears aggrievedly. Mommy, did Daddy hide you away? Do you not want Wan anymore? Shen Yuchu immediately coaxed her softly. Wan, be good. Mommy just went out for work and will be home very soon. The little one actually stopped crying slowly. Your heart instantly suffered 10,000 tons of emotional damage. You made funny faces and sang songs, and it wasn't even as effective as one sentence from her. Once the daughter was coaxed, you turned the phone back to yourself, your gaze flickering uncertainly. But Shen Yuchu hit you with a direct interrogation. Can you really take good care of the child? You got defensive instantly. Who are you looking down on? Today was just an accident. If I left, you wouldn't be able to coax Wan either. However, Shen Yuchu just gave you a deep look. Her eyes flickered as she suddenly asked, acting like she didn't care. You and Director Lee are pretty close. She's all right, you answered casually, completely unaware that you were already flirting with death. All right, Shen Yuchu repeated faintly. You felt a sudden chill for no reason and wrapped your clothes tighter. But in the next second, she rolled her eyes at you and hung up the video call. Only then did it dawn on you that she was angry. Totally baffling. You were catching strays while doing nothing. For the next 2 days, Shen Yuchu called home once a day, but she only spoke to her daughter every time, giving you no good looks at all, as if you owed her $8 million. However, you had no idea that right now Shen Yuchu's career was hitting a dead end. The company hadn't given her any gigs, and her manager, Sister Yoon, had contacted all the songwriters, but the moment they heard she was making a comeback, Idol Se Mi, they all politely declined. A washed-up singer who left the scene 2 years ago, who would write a song for her? They had already been abandoned by the entire industry. On the other side, Shen Yuchu was still worrying about the composition. She had been trying for the past 2 days, but still couldn't find any inspiration. She couldn't help but think of you. If you were here, you would definitely write an even better song. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but feel a bit discouraged, feeling like she wasn't as good as you in any way. Just then, Assistant Zhao Chuchu suddenly sat up. Sister Shen, how about you go ask Lufan? Shen Yuchu was a bit hesitant. She came out precisely because she didn't want to rely on you anymore. She thought for a long time before finally speaking. Let's wait 2 more days. If it still doesn't work, I'll give him a call. But what she didn't know was, at this very moment in the Starry Entertainment conference room, a meeting deciding her fate was currently underway. An invitation document lay before Chairman Li Tian. New Song Festival, the most famous star-making program in China. We have 2 slots. Everyone, let's discuss. Who should go? A man wearing gold-rimmed glasses. The refined operations director, Yin Ping, was the first to speak. I think Chen Qian is a good choice. She has a sweet look and decent popularity. Most people nodded in agreement. Li Tian made the call on the spot. Then Chen Qian is one. What about the other? As soon as the words fell, HR Director Zheng Hao suddenly stood up. Chairman, I think Shen Yuchu is also an option. Shen Youchu? Li Tian only then remembered. Was this the person you recommended? But before he could speak, that Yin Ping jumped out again to object. Director Zhang? Shen Yuchu absolutely won't do. Even a rando is better than her. She has no popularity and no works. She left the circle back then to get married. The audience's impression of her is terrible. However, Zhang Hao argued his point. It's precisely because of that we should choose her even more. I've heard her old songs. Her vocals are solid, and she's beautiful. Why can't we choose her? Yin Ping furrowed his brows, looking dismissive. Director Zhang, you're in charge of HR, and I'm in charge of operations. I know better than you that a singer's top priority is popularity. We aren't a charity. Why should we give her a stage? Unexpectedly, Zhang Hao gave a smug smile and dropped a bombshell. Director Yin, you want to talk to me about popularity. Then do you know who recommended Shen Yuchu? Let me ask you, Director Yin. How is Bufan's popularity? What if he's the one writing songs for Shen Yuchu? Bufan. At the mention of that name, Yinping was instantly silenced. He dared to say Bufan lacked hype. That's a top-tier star whose MVs get 100 million likes and has 50 million followers. Yinping looked at Zhang Hao with a gloomy gaze and asked unwillingly, "Are you sure Bufan will write songs for Shen Yuchu?" Just then, Chairman Li Tian finally spoke, making the final decision. "Enough. Stop arguing. Go with Chen Qian and Shen Yuchu. Send out the notice." As the meeting adjourned, Zhang Hao left happily. Having crushed his rival for the first time, he couldn't be more thrilled. Meanwhile, the entire entertainment industry was in an uproar because of the launch of New Song Festival. At the same time, Liu Li from Tianmei Entertainment also received the news. Her manager, Sister Chin, rushed in and shouted excitedly, "Liu Li, great news. The company is letting you join the New Song Festival, and even hired a famous songwriter to write for you." Liu Li was stunned for a moment, accidentally smearing her nail polish. She turned around sharply, eyes full of disbelief. "Is it that New Song Festival that can push me into the A-list?" After getting a definite answer, she literally jumped out of her chair. "I'm going to be famous." When she heard the name of the person writing her song, she was completely beside herself with joy. The musician is Wu Mian. Isn't that a win? It's a powerhouse collab between me and Wu Mian. Ha ha! Sister Chin looked at her arrogant display and could only sigh helplessly. While Liu Li was losing herself in her own hype, your wife Shen Youchu also received a call from the company. The content was identical, joined the New Song Festival in 3 days. Hanging up the phone, she was completely stunned. Assistant Chao Chu was even more hyped, going crazy as she shook her shoulders. "You Sister Shen, is it for real? The New Song Festival." But after the initial excitement, a massive problem stood in their way. They didn't have a song. Manager Sister Yoon's face was filled with gravity. "Making a comeback on the New Song Festival stage is great, but we absolutely must have a banger." They immediately split the task. Sister Yoon frantically contacted every songwriter she knew, while Shen Youchu could only bury her head in writing, hoping to pull off a miracle. At this moment, you were totally clueless about all this. You were still at home teaching your daughter Wanwan nursery rhymes. You were wearing a big bad wolf mask, making her giggle nonstop. At 7 p.m. after coaxing Wanwan to sleep, you finally got some peace and quiet. You had been thinking all along about what kind of song to prepare for Shen Yuchu, but with too many god-tier tracks in your head, you actually lost your train of thought, feeling frustrated. You opened your phone and found that your songs were all over the feed. Fans had even turned Wanwan's expressions into viral memes. Looking at the phone, you couldn't help but wryly smile. "Wife, oh wife, how are things actually going on your end? When will you finally reach out to me first?" Scrolling through videos, you found that besides your songs, the hottest thing online was the New Song Festival, supposedly held once a year. Whoever joins gets famous. The rules were simple and brutal 1v1 duels. If you lose, you're out. You had zero interest in this, even feeling a bit annoyed by the algorithm. After scrolling a few times, you shut it off and went to sleep. However, early the next morning, a phone call woke you right up. It was actually Shen Yuchu's assistant Zhao Chu. Her voice was extremely low on the other end, like a thief. "You need to handle Sister Shen. She's gone totally obsessed." You furrowed your brows, instantly wide awake. "What happened?" "Sister Shen is joining the New Song Festival, but we don't have a song. She hasn't slept all night trying to write one." Your head started aching, finally remembering that the contract clearly stated you would write her songs, while you were over here overthinking for ages. Things over there were already a house on fire. "Got it. I'll give her a call." Hanging up the phone, you immediately dialed Shen Yuchu. She picked up with a weary voice. "Does Wanwan miss me?" Your heart ached slightly. "So you intentionally said Wanwan doesn't miss you. Can't you just call me for once? I'm your husband after all." This was the first time you called yourself her husband to her face. There was a deathly silence on the other end of the line. You let out a sigh to break the silence. "Why didn't you tell me you were joining the New Song Festival? Why make yourself so exhausted over something that's an easy fix?" In your eyes, this was just a one-sentence solution. But as soon as the words left your mouth, the sound of suppressed sobbing suddenly came from the other side. She was crying. You were completely stunned. "What did I say?" Emotions really are too hard to deal with. Just as you were at a loss, from the other end of the phone, an angry roar filled with tears suddenly erupted. Lufan. Her voice was pure grievance, making your heart tighten. You froze. It was the first time you heard her call your full name like that. "Do you think I'm completely useless? Do you think that I'm completely useless and can only depend on you?" You immediately realized that this was exactly what she was thinking. It was your oversight. You hurriedly cut her off with a fawning smile. "I'm sorry. I wasn't blaming you. I'm just worried about your health." Unexpectedly, as soon as you spoke, Shen Youchu actually laughed on the other end. That laugh was aggrieved, yet held a hint of stubbornness. Immediately after, your voice became incredibly firm. "Shen Youchu, you and Wanwan are the best gifts heaven ever gave me. You are my wife." one of a kind, and no one can ever replace you. These words were like a bomb, exploding in her heart. Shen Yuchu's entire face turned red instantly. She gave a soft hum in response, her mood clearly improving. Zhao Chuchu, who was peeking from the side, almost had her eyes pop out. You struck while the iron was hot. No more overthinking from now on. I'll send the song to you tonight. Hearing your boastful words, Shen Yuchu let out a pft and started laughing. Then I'll see exactly what kind of song you Mr. Lu can write. She completely let go, no longer obsessing or feeling high-strung. Once she relaxed, sleepiness hit her immediately. Only after hanging up did you breathe a sigh of relief. Coaxing a wife is harder than coaxing a kid. Then you took out a pen and paper, but ran into another problem. There were too many god-tier tracks in your head. Which one should you choose? Just as you opened the window in frustration, a young couple was saying goodbye downstairs. The boy was dragging a suitcase, and the girl's eyes were misty with tears. Love rises with the wind. But when the wind stops, the heart remains restless. A flash of inspiration hit you, and you instantly had the answer. You walked quickly to the desk and wrote down 3 words, "The wind rises." The notes began to flow from your pen. You were completely immersed in it, until a shout from your daughter, Wan Wan, "Daddy, I'm hungry," pulled you back to reality, instantly flashing a smile. "Is my little baby hungry? Daddy will cook right away." Your daughter's word was law. You didn't dare delay for a second, and turned straight into the kitchen. 2 hours later, the father and daughter full and satisfied lay down directly on the sofa. Just then, Shen Yuchu's video call came in. She had dark circles under her eyes and a face full of exhaustion. Seeing you two looking so lazy, she immediately made a pitiful expression. Her almond eyes were watery, as if accusing you, seemingly saying, "I'm out working, while you two enjoy life at home. How could you withstand this test?" You immediately raised your hands in surrender. "I haven't been slacking off. The song is already finished." "Wan Wan too." She raised her small hand and said in a milky voice, "Wan Wan hasn't been slacking either. I watched 2 fewer episodes of cartoons and learned 5 more numbers." Shen Yuchu's composure instantly broke. She admitted she couldn't beat this little goblin. "All right." Our Wan Wan worked the hardest. "Quick, let mommy give you a kiss." The little one immediately sent a moi. You saw the opportunity had come and cheekily leaned in. "Don't I get a reward too?" The little one was even cheering from the side. Shen Yuchu's face turned completely red. Finally unable to resist your combined enthusiasm, she gave a symbolic kiss. You were instantly over the moon, rushing into the bedroom to grab the manuscript. "See, I didn't lie to you. The song is really finished." Shen Yuchu gave you an incredibly charming roll of her eyes, but in her heart, stormy waves were rising. It had only been a few hours, and a whole song was already out. This man is a total monster. The family of 3 chatted for a while longer. Only then did you send him the full score, setting down your phone to take the kid out. Shen Yuchu's video call came in again. As soon as it connected, she stared straight at you with a fiery gaze. "What's up?" Even your voice stammered. She mimicked your tone and asked back, "Can't I video call you if nothing's wrong?" Man, not only is she pretty, she holds a grudge. You laughed it off. When she suddenly spoke up, "Exactly what are you hiding from me?" Scratching your head with an innocent face. Shen Yuchu's pretty face flushed, her voice rising a bit. "I mean, these songs of yours. These... You could only rub your nose and try to play it off. Would you believe me if I said I suddenly had an epiphany?" Shen Yuchu gave you a deep look, but didn't press further. Looking down at the lyrics, she finally spoke softly. "Thank you." Then she looked up and smiled, her gaze incredibly firm. "I won't let this song go to waste." The video call ended. Shen Yuchu knocked on Zhao Chuchu's room door. Zhao Chuchu looked pleasantly surprised. "Sister Shen, we have a song. Did Lu Fan give it to us?" Good grief, this girl totally let it slip. So she was the one who leaked her situation. Soon after, Sister Yoon was also called back. Hearing there was a song, she was beyond excited. She'd been hitting walls everywhere lately. Now she finally didn't have to deal with people's attitudes. The 3 of them rushed to Starry Entertainment, heading straight for the 11th floor recording studio. Shen Yuchu decided to lock herself in here. Time flew by. Zhao Chuchu handled the backing track and copyright. Only then did Shen Yuchu leave the recording studio. But just as they were heading out for a meal, the door opposite them opened as well. A girl walked out, stunned for a moment when she saw Shen Yuchu. She still gave a friendly nod. Shen Yuchu smiled back. However, the man behind her had his nose in the air. Wearing gold-rimmed glasses, with an arrogant face, Shen Yuchu didn't recognize him. He turned and left. But that man gave a cold snort. No situational awareness at all. Don't even know to greet a superior. That girl named Chen Qian quickly explained, "Uncle. She just got here." "How could she know you?" Turns out this man was actually a company executive in Ping, and Chen Qian was a singer who would join the New Song Festival alongside Shen Yuchu. What's even more unexpected was that Chen Qian was actually thinking that she had secured a song from Bufan. So it should be pretty good, right? She was actually one of your fans too. Over the next few days, Shen Yuchu left early and returned late every day, practicing like her life depended on it. Sister Yoon posted her comeback announcement online. However, The few thousand followers she had were mostly bot accounts. The announcement vanished like a stone in the ocean, causing zero waves. Only some old fans and sharp-nosed marketing accounts took notice. As soon as they saw the words New Song Festival, didn't that mean instant traffic? Thus, news of Shen Yuchu's comeback began appearing across the web. But most people didn't care about this washed-up starlet until August 7th. The New Song Festival officially kicked off at the Shanghai Stadium. Except, Ren Chao, the director of this New Song Festival, was very worried, because one of Bufan's songs had been camping on the hot search. The traffic for their New Song Festival couldn't even be compared to previous years. But the annual New Song Festival couldn't be postponed just because of one person. He could only bite the bullet and start this year's New Song Festival. It's a shame he couldn't get in touch with Bufan. If he could get him to be a mentor for the show, the traffic would absolutely explode. But he never would have guessed that the big shot he couldn't even dream of inviting was currently acting like a thief, quietly sitting in the audience while holding a kid. Yes, you kept it from your wife Shen Yuchu and secretly brought your daughter Wan Wan to Shanghai just to cheer her on in person. The little goblin in your arms was beyond excited because she was about to see her mommy. You looked at the glowing light sticks waving across the arena, but not a single one was raised for your wife. You quietly opened the live stream room. The bullet chat was overwhelming, but not a single person supported Shen Yuchu for the win. There were 4 favorites, and one of them was that Liu Li who dared to reach her evil claws toward your daughter. Meanwhile, undercurrents were surging backstage. Liu Li's face turned livid as she stared intently at Shen Yuchu. Why are you here? Bestie Zhao Chuchu directly rolled her eyes, dissing her on the spot and making her lose face. Liu Li looked at today's radiant Shen Yuchu and recalled the fear of being suppressed by her for years. It felt like the return of a queen, losing her nerve before the battle even started. Just then, her manager's words snapped her out of it. She's just Shen Yuchu. She has nothing now. Liu Li instantly regained her composure. Right, what did the current Shen Yuchu have to compete with her? Besides, she had a song from a music godfather. Thinking of this, she gave a disdainful glance at Shen Yuchu. Then the stage lights outside lit up. The host made his entrance. 4 veteran mentors of the music world took their seats. The competition officially began. The rules were simple and brutal. 16 contestants paired up by the audience shouting, "Stop!" Now, no one could rig the results behind the scenes. As the big screen scrolled rapidly, the list of 8 duels was generated instantly. You looked at the matchup list and smiled. In the next second, the host's voice echoed through the arena. Please welcome the contestants for the first match. Shen Yuchu versus Liu Li. As the words fell, the spotlights hit. Your wife Shen Yuchu and her arch-rival Liu Li slowly walked onto the stage. A fated duel was about to explode. But you saw Shen Yuchu's hand trembling slightly. Sure enough, Shen Yuchu started feeling nervous in her heart. Meanwhile, Liu Li looked completely grim. She didn't expect the first round to go like this, to actually have a PK against Shen Yuchu. The audience below instantly exploded, chatting about who this stunning stranger was. You saw Shen Yuchu's nervousness at a glance. So you suddenly held your daughter Wan Wan up high. In this moment, Wan Wan became a living lucky charm. Her little face smiled into crescent shapes, shouting with all her might, "Mommy fighting." Up on stage, Shen Yuchu suddenly saw those familiar figures and instantly covered her mouth. It was you and their daughter. The nervousness in her heart was instantly dispelled. Her eyes erupted with an unprecedented radiance. She also curved her eyes, matching her daughter's crescent-shaped smile. That tenderness instantly melted the hearts of the audience. Then the host announced Shen Yuchu would sing first. The stage lights dimmed, leaving only a single beam of light on her. The intro began to play. The venue fell silent instantly. Just then, the song title appeared on the big screen, The Wind Rises. And in the songwriter's credit column, the name Bufan was clearly written. The entire crowd gasped in unison. This unknown singer actually managed to get the mysterious Bufan to write her a song. Liu Li backstage was dumbfounded. Her hands trembled uncontrollably. The next second, Shen Yuchu's ethereal vocals rang out. I was once unable to pull myself from the vastness of the world, indulging in love and drowning in sleep talk, unable to tell truth from lies, making no struggle, fearing no ridicule. The venue was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was completely immersed, as if seeing their own lost youth. Shen Yuchu was also fully invested, her gaze piercing through the crowd toward the audience, where the 2 most important people to her sat. I eventually returned my youth to him, along with the midsummer flicked from my fingertips. The heart's movements have gone with the wind. In the name of love, are you still willing? A god-tier song. Everyone, whether on site or in the live stream, was completely moved. Countless familiar yet distant faces flashed through their minds, finally settling on the most unforgettable person from their youth. So this is The Wind Rises. What blew in was what they had buried deep in their hearts. The wind known as youth. Just then, a loud thud came from backstage as Liu Li collapsed onto the floor. Her face was ashen, and her lips were trembling. She didn't even have the courage to go on stage and sing anymore. Shen Yuchu used the most perfect vocals, combined with this invincible song, to completely tear down her pride. Her manager, Sister Chin, could only give a bitter smile. Inferior skill is, after all, inferior skill. Even the mentors on the judging panel showed expressions of envy. The music faded, and the entire venue fell silent. Shen Yuchu looked at the crowd feeling a bit lost. You slowly opened your eyes, and seeing her nervous look, you smiled. Right then, Wan reached out her small hands and clapped hard for her mommy. The next second, the applause was like a mountain tsunami, a thunderous ovation echoing through the entire arena. The audience had tears in their eyes, giving Shen Yuchu on stage their most passionate support. Meanwhile, the New Song Festival live stream's bullet chat completely exploded. As expected of a Bufan production, it's guaranteed to be a masterpiece. I'm crying. This isn't just a breeze. This is clearly a tornado. At this moment, no one remembered their previous contempt for Shen Yuchu. They thought she was just there to fill a spot. But she started the game with a literal king bomb. Then Shen Yuchu gave a deep bow, gave one last lingering look at you and your daughter, and retreated backstage. However, the competition was still continuing. Next up was Liu Li. She had managed to get back up at some point, and as she brushed past Shen Yuchu, only a deep sense of helplessness remained in her heart. She didn't even know how she walked onto the stage. It wasn't until the music started that she suddenly snapped out of it. Unfortunately, she was still half a beat slow. Boos immediately erupted from the crowd. This made her panic even more, and her pitch went completely off track. Once the song finished, the scattered thin applause from the audience made her want to cover her face and flee. Backstage director Ren Chao didn't care at all. The fact that ratings exploded was enough. The final voting results were no surprise. A 5-0 crushing victory. Just then, a message from Shen Yuchu arrived, asking to meet you at the backstage exit. Seeing this, you immediately carried Wan and left early. As soon as Shen Yuchu appeared backstage, she was given a huge hug by Zhao Chuchu. Alright, stop crying. Things will only get better from now on. Shen Yuchu held her hand, her eyes full of determination. Let's go. Lufan is waiting for you at the door. Right now, she only wanted to see you immediately and pull Wan into her arms. Outside the exit, it was already late. The moment Shen Yuchu stepped out, she saw you from a distance holding Wan, standing straight under the streetlight. In that moment, a feeling called happiness instantly surged into her heart, simple yet incredibly warm. Mommy, Wan wriggled out of your arms and ran pitter-patter towards Shen Yuchu. Shen Yuchu immediately crouched down and pulled her daughter into a tight embrace. You stepped forward, looking at her with a smile. So was this surprise okay? Shen Yuchu's cheeks flushed red, yet she looked straight at you, her almond eyes curving. Yeah, a huge surprise. However, neither of you knew that this tender scene had completely fallen into Liu Li's sight. She was holding her phone, watching your retreating backs, a venomous light flashing in her eyes. A perfect idea to ruin Shen Yuchu's reputation instantly took root in her mind. What she couldn't have, Shen Yuchu shouldn't think about getting either. Meanwhile, the internet had already exploded. Everyone was curious. Where exactly Bufan found a hidden gem singer like Shen Yuchu? But when they clicked on Shen Yuchu's Weibo, they only saw a comeback statement. Turns out she was a popular starlet 2 years ago, who left the circle because her relationship was exposed. Once this hot topic dropped, scrupulous media immediately smelled blood in the water and started a hype frenzy. For a moment, the internet was polarized. Some felt that since she left the circle, she shouldn't return, while others felt that as long as the song is good, her private life is none of their business. Both sides argued heatedly until a final blow appeared. Just ask yourself if the song is bop or not. Instantly, all the doubters were silenced. They could only choke out if someone else sang it, it would sound just as good. Just then, Starry Entertainment finally entered the fray. One notice directly set the internet ablaze. Not only did they congratulate Shen Yuchu on advancing, but they also dropped a bombshell for the next round. Shen Yuchu would still perform a song by Bufan. After the New Song Festival, a full album composed by Bufan would be released. What? More than just one song. The whole internet was in an uproar. The topic of Shen Yuchu and Bufan instantly climbed to #1 on the hot search. However, a more malicious post was quietly rising. Early the next morning, it shockingly appeared as the 10th hot search. The title was Harrowing Shen Yuchu Cheating on Husband with Mysterious Singer Bufan. The post claimed with absolute certainty that for her comeback, she used her beauty to seduce Bufan. Countless marketing accounts shared it frantically, and the comment section was completely one-sided. So she relies on selling her body. Bufan isn't anything good either. 2 peas in a pod. Although some fans firmly believed in Bufan's character, but their voices were quickly drowned out. In just 1 hour, this post and Shen Yuchu's Weibo were pushed to the top 2 spots on the hot search. Meanwhile, you just finished your morning run, completely unaware of the situation. On the other side, Shen Yuchu walked out of her room, looking listless with dark circles under her eyes. She had insomnia last night. Her mind was full of the scene where you held her hand at the hotel. Sister Yoon and Zhao Chuchu saw her state and assumed she stayed up all night because of the hot search. Zhao Chu roosts to her with eyes full of anxiety. Sister Shen! What did Lu Fan say? Is he not going to come out and clarify things? It's best if Lu Fan clarifies this personally. If Shen Yuchu issues a statement, it'll only backfire. Shen Yuchu's mind was a mess. As she looked blankly at Zhao Chu, clarify what? What happened to Lu Fan now? Zhao Chu was instantly speechless, realizing that Shen Yuchu had no clue. She stomped her feet in frustration. Sister Shen, you're still thinking about him. He's fine, but you're in deep trouble. Quickly check your Weibo. Shen Youchu finally realized something was wrong. She took out her phone and opened Weibo. Instantly, a flood of private messages and comments poured in. When she opened those malicious DMs, her hand trembled involuntarily. She took a deep breath and continued to scroll down. Out of 10 messages, 9 were literally cursing her. Exiting the DMs, she finally saw that specific post and the follow-up post from countless marketing accounts. A moment later, Shen Yuchu put down her phone and continued her breakfast, her expression terrifyingly calm, as if nothing had happened. But seeing her like this, Zhao Chuchu was even more worried. Sister Shen, are you really not going to do anything? Shen Yuchu instead patted her hand. To comfort her, Chuchu, the innocent will be vindicated. But public opinion never cares if you live or die. Shen Yuchu's eyelashes trembled slightly. Her heart was actually in a state of turmoil. But she knew, since you released the song, anonymously, you didn't want to expose your identity. So she couldn't expose you. Right now, the entire internet was waiting for an explanation. They waited for ages. Until Shen Yuchu's Weibo finally updated, everyone couldn't wait to click on it. Then they were all stunned. No long-winded PR essay. Just 5 simple words. The innocent will be vindicated. This caused the online comments to become even more aggressive. Meanwhile, inside the Tianmei Entertainment Building, Liu Li was laughing. Happily, although she got scolded by the company, seeing that she successfully dragged Shen Yuchu down with her made her incredibly joyful. The uniform comments across the web were all paid trolls and marketing accounts she hired. But as long as she could mess with Shen Yuchu, she felt it was worth it. Sister Qin standing nearby looked gloomy, feeling that Liu Li had gone insane. Liu Li, you're committing slander. If Bufan decides to pursue this, you're completely finished. Liu Li dismissed it with disdain. How is it slander? If nothing's going on, why would Bufan write songs for Shen Yuchu? Look, there isn't even an explanation. Just the innocent will be vindicated. So fake. Sister Qin looked at the crazed Liu Li and was already planning to abandon her. While you were leisurely taking a shower in the hotel, the phone outside was ringing incessantly like a death toll. You could only wrap things up quickly and walked out wearing a towel. Seeing the caller ID, you were a bit surprised. Hello? Director Li. How do you have time to call an idle person like me today? Li Xia's annoyed voice came from the other end. Idle. You have the nerve to call yourself idle. You've practically monopolized the hot searches. You scratched your head. It seemed that was indeed the case. Let's get to business. What's actually going on? Li Xia gritted her teeth, her tone getting even worse. It's about your lady. Shen Yuchu is getting flamed into oblivion. And you're just sitting there. Shen Yuchu getting flamed. You immediately became serious, with a tone of unprecedented gravity. What happened to Shen Yuchu? In this moment, Li Xia on the other end felt a bit of a sting. The second it involves Shen Yuchu, this man becomes incredibly intense. She snorted coldly. Check the hot search yourself. Then the call cut off directly. You frowned, not understanding why this woman was acting up again. But there was no time to think about that now. You quickly opened Weibo, and at first glance saw the top post on the hot search. The moment you saw the titles, your face darkened. After reading through all the posts and the comments under Shen Yuchu's Weibo, your expression turned pitch black. You literally laughed from anger. Do they really think my woman is an easy target? And that silly woman? How could she not tell me about something this big, trying to shoulder it all alone? You just wanted to demand an answer from that dummy on whether she even sees you as her husband. But before that, you had things to do. Since someone wants to play, let's play for real. Liu Li never could have imagined that the face slapping would come so fast and so violently. She hadn't even been happy for long before falling into instant panic. She never could have guessed that the mysterious Bufan was actually the pretty boy in her eyes. At 10 a.m., while the whole internet was still gossip mongering about Shen Yuchu's scandal, Bufan's short video account suddenly exploded. As the other protagonist of the incident, a mysterious big shot with tens of millions of fans, his video didn't even need platform promotion. Fans spontaneously pushed the video to the top. Bufan was actually doing a face reveal to prove himself. No one expected that he would choose this critical moment to stand up without any hesitation. But when everyone clicked on the video, they were instantly dumbfounded. This wasn't some self-defense video. This was clearly a mix of dog food and a declaration of war. In the video, you look serious. Hello everyone, I am Bufan. I just woke up and saw some very nasty comments online. Many people are questioning why I wrote songs for Shen Yuchu, even spreading rumors about her having an affair. Facing the camera, your voice suddenly rose. I only have one thing to ask loudly. I'm writing songs for my own damn wife. What's the problem? What's the problem? My wife might not want to bother with you guys. But I'm not going to spoil you. The innocent will be vindicated. Forget that. You gave a cold sneer. Your gaze sharp. I originally wanted to get along with you as an ordinary person. But all I got in return was alienation. I'm sorry. I'm done pretending. I'm laying my cards on the table. My name is Lu Fan. Back then, Shen Yuchu and I both left the circle because of our relationship. We got married later and have been together since. As for why my name is Bufan, now you know. Are you happy? Also to the person who posted that thread? And those marketing accounts, I'm sorry. I have already gathered the evidence, and not one of you will escape. Oh, and those paid trolls. I'm counting every single one of you. Wait for your lawyer letters. Once the video was out, the whole internet was shocked beyond words. Everyone argued for ages, only to find out they are actually a freaking married couple. No one expected that the mysterious Bufan was actually Lufan. This is insane. The video went viral instantly at this moment. Your fans went absolutely crazy, reposting the video to Weibo. I'm standing right here to see who else dares to spread rumors. Zhangxi sauce. They were always a match made in heaven. Where are the haters from this morning? Open your damn eyes and look. While everyone was still discussing the video, Starry Entertainment's Weibo immediately followed up. A notice from the legal department was thrown out and trusted by Mr. Lu regarding the false statements and rumors online. We will continue to follow up. We have now served lawyer letters to the original poster and the marketing account companies. All related accounts will be completely banned. Once this notice was released, Weibo instantly boiled over. Sharp-eyed netizens suddenly discovered that the previous post on the hot search had been wiped clean. The original poster even deleted their account directly. Not long after, Weibo's official account stepped in after verification. Currently, 1,500 accounts spreading false rumors have been banned. The internet is not a lawless place. With the official Weibo notice out, the video you posted was pushed straight to #1 on the hot search. And Shen Youchu's Weibo instantly occupied the second spot. In a short period of time, wife protecting demon and the innocent will be vindicated became the two trending catchphrases. Countless netizens were frantically spamming your golden quote. My wife might not want to bother with you guys, but I'm not going to spoil you. However, at this moment in the Shanghai apartment, Shen Youchu was completely unaware of all this. She was holding her daughter Wan leisurely, watching cartoons. Just then, Zhao Chu rushed in like a gust of wind. Her face was beaming with an excited smile as she shoved her phone right in Shen Youchu's face. Sister Shen, quick look, he posted a video. Shen Youchu looked up in confusion. Zhao Chu stomped her feet in frustration. Sister Shen, you're so gentle. What are you going to do in the future? You really should learn from Lu Fan. Look at him going full beast mode. It's so satisfying. Shen Youchu took the phone and tapped the video. That familiar yet overbearing voice instantly came through the speaker. When she finished watching the entire video, her small mouth parted slightly, her face written all over with surprise. Zhao Chu was still chirping on the side. Sister Shen, do you know what netizens are calling him now? The wife protecting demon. Haha, it's too funny. Hearing those words, Shen Youchu's cheeks quietly turned rosy, and a hint of sweetness rose in her heart. Who wouldn't want to be pampered? Thinking of this, she directly left her daughter and walked quickly back to her room. In the living room, only Zhao Chu and Wan remained, staring at each other in confusion. However, back in her room, Shen Youchu hesitated at the dialing interface. What should she say if she called? That his words were too embarrassing. Wouldn't that be admitting she was shy? Or say he did well? Then would he think she's a petty person? She flopped onto the bed in frustration, burying her face in the quilt and kicking her legs like a little girl. Ultimately, she mustered the courage to place a voice call. The next second, it was picked up instantly, and your pleasant voice came through. Hello? Shen Youchu's face was buried in the quilt, turning flushed red from holding her breath. She asked in a muffled voice, Hello? What are you doing right now? Unexpectedly, what came wasn't an answer, but the sound of your teasing laughter. What are you doing? Performing a stunt where you smother yourself with a quilt. Shen Youchu let out a cry of surprise, suddenly lifting her flushed little face. Panicked, how did he know what she was doing? Until she looked at the phone screen, and suddenly snapped out of it. She had accidentally clicked on the video call. The words social death were written all over her face. Shen Youchu stood there frozen with her mouth slightly open, staring blankly at you on the other side of the video. As for you, you rubbed your nose, thinking she was unexpectedly cute like this. The next second, Shen Youchu's reputation was ruined. Like an ostrich, she buried her face back into the quilt, refusing to come out again. This is so embarrassing. Her muffled voice drifted out from under the covers. No laughing. You finally managed to stop laughing. Alright? I won't laugh. I'm just about to head to the apartment. Are you coming to pick me up? Then wait for me there. Only then did Shen Youchu look up, her watery almond eyes staring at the screen, her face still flushed. She didn't ask why you posted that video. Some things seemed to need no further questions. But even though she didn't ask, you took the initiative to speak, your tone suddenly becoming serious. But there are still some things I need to say. Shen Youchu, you were being flamed so hard. Why didn't you tell me? What exactly do you take me for? Shen Youchu fell silent. You asked what she took you for, and she actually felt a bit lost. But in the next second, she got the answer. It was love. She liked the version of you after you changed. She liked how you carefully took care of them, mother and daughter. It was just that her past experiences made her afraid to easily open her heart. However, what you received was a long silence. Then your disappointed voice rang out again. It's okay if you don't say anything. I'm downstairs. Come pick me up. The video call abruptly ended. Shen Youchu finally snapped out of it. Thinking of your tone just now, her heart suddenly felt a needle-like sting. Had she disappointed you? She scrambled up from the bed, only wanting to see you as quickly as possible, her footsteps rushing fast toward the door. You got into the car, but your emotions didn't show much fluctuation, as you just quietly looked out the window. However, Shen Youchu didn't start the car. Instead, she turned around and stared intently at your profile. She took a few deep breaths and finally spoke. Lufan, I'm sorry. Only then did you turn your head to see her slightly red eyes, feeling a wave of bitter laughter in your heart. When had you ever truly owned her? So how could you speak of loss? So you spoke softly, no need to apologize. In fact, I'm not the Lufan you think I am. You don't need to feel guilty. To your surprise, Shen Youchu stared right at you. Is that person you Lufan? You were instantly stunned. You remembered, back at the amusement park? She had asked you the same question. You scratched your head, only able to answer, I am Lufan. Then you are the Lufan I'm thinking of. Her firm answer left you completely dazed. You tried to clench your trembling fists, finally voicing the fear in your heart. But I'm afraid one day you guys won't need me anymore. Lufan, Shen Youchu suddenly interrupted you, her eyes full of heartache. She firmly held your trembling hand and leaned gently against you, declaring word by word, you are Wan's father, and you're also my husband. No matter what happens, we will never leave you. The most important thing is that you're by our side. Her delicate body in your arms, with soft and tender words. You instantly got the answer you wanted. Embracing her, you suddenly smiled. From now on, nothing can shake your resolve. A moment later, Shen Youchu shyly pulled away from your embrace. While you just wore a silly grin, she gave you a charming glance and burst into a giggle. This fool is so easy to satisfy. The car slowly drove away. The mindsets of both had been completely transformed. Meanwhile, inside the Tianmei entertainment apartment, impossible, how could Bufan be Lufan? That pretty boy, Liu Li, was like a madman, sweeping all the cosmetics off the table. Amidst the piercing sound of shattering, she still felt it wasn't enough. Stepping forward to stomp on them ruthlessly, and destroyed along with the cosmetics, was a lawyer's letter sent by Starry Entertainment. She had been exposed, seeing things go south, the original poster, immediately snitched on her as the mastermind. Now the company has ordered her to take a break. She knew she was finished. Not far away, Sister Chin watched with schadenfreude. So Lufan really is Bufan. This secret was hidden way too deep. She couldn't help but sigh. Who could have imagined that the pretty boy everyone looked down on 2 years ago would finally show his fangs today? Shen Yuchu's taste in men is truly top tier. I won't accept this. Sister Chin, give me my phone. Liu Li panted heavily, her eyes bloodshot. Sister Chin just gave her a cold sideways glance and spoke in an annoyed tone. What is there to not accept? Can you beat her in singing? You're not as good looking as her, and you're not even as good at picking men. What are you so salty about? Sister Chin's words stabbed into Liu Li's heart like daggers. Liu Li suddenly whipped her head around and glared at her intensely. Sister Chin wasn't afraid at all. Did I say something wrong? Once you're locked up, the contract will naturally end. The company abandoned you long ago. Why? Liu Li gritted her teeth. The company needs a cash cow, and you have no value left. Sister Chin looked at her and even gave some heartfelt advice. When you get out, find an honest man to marry. Stop making trouble. Then, should I thank you for your kindness? Liu Li laughed. They had finally dropped all pretenses. Then she suddenly wore a creepy smile. Sister Chin, let me use your phone for a second. I need a proper ending, don't I? Sister Chin frowned. What else are you trying to do? Mutually assured destruction. Liu Li's smile became terrifying. Why should Shen Yuchu be one step ahead of me everywhere? She's just an orphan. Why does she deserve this? Now that I know Bufan is Lufan, I have one last trump card. If I can't touch Shen Yuchu, then I'll make Lufan lose everything. No one gets a happy ending. Sister Chin looked at the manic Liu Li and knew she had completely lost it. She wanted to say that Shen Yuchu never competed with her, and that her character was 10,000 times better. But she couldn't say it. At this moment, any provocation would make Liu Li lose total control. So Sister Chin handed over the phone. Fine, here's the phone. But none of this has anything to do with me. I know you're scared. Haha, Liu Li took the phone and dialed a number under Sister Chin's watchful gaze. Chen Shuai, it's Liu Li. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the apartment dining room felt a bit strange. Wan was eating happily. Sister Yoon had a motherly smile throughout, but Zhao Chuchu kept her head down eating, occasionally stealing glances at you and Shen Yuchu. Shen Yuchu's pretty face. Even her neck was completely flushed red. She wanted nothing more than to bury her head in her bowl. And you were grinning like an idiot while peeling a crawfish, feeding it to her mouth with your chopsticks. Shen Youchu felt like she was being boiled alive. This guy had been acting weird since getting out of the car. But you felt it was only natural. She already admitted you were her husband. So what's wrong with feeding her? Can you please not do this? I'll do it myself. Shen Youchu finally couldn't help but look up, giving you a shy, indignant glare. That flirtatious look in her eyes left you dazed. Turns out, being looked at by a girl like that is such a satisfying thing. Romance is truly the best. You finally stopped feeding your wife and turned to feed Wanwan instead. After dinner, you finally returned to normal. Sitting on the sofa, you began brainstorming the song for the next match. The round of 16 was an easy win, but the quarterfinals might not be. The remaining contestants' vocals weren't inferior to Shen Youchu at all. It all came down to original songs and live performance. Producing a hit song in 3 days isn't easy for anyone. Even you started to worry about which song to choose to guarantee a win. Shen Youchu wasn't idling either. She sat right beside you, perfecting that song she had been thinking about. But the song was always missing a key melody. Shen Youchu furrowed her brows. That melody was like a slippery cat she couldn't catch, making her scratch her hair into a bird's nest in frustration. Until the dead of night, she still couldn't catch that spark of inspiration. However, early the next morning, just as Shen Youchu woke up, another major incident involving you exploded on the hot search. At first, she didn't take it seriously. After all, the hot searches about you hadn't stopped lately. But when she saw the title of the post, her pupils instantly contracted. Her heart fell into complete panic. Meanwhile, the massive army of netizens also saw this hot search. They were already used to seeing Bufan's name every day, so they clicked on it without a second thought. But this time, when they saw the content of the post, everyone froze in unison. Some even rubbed their eyes, unable to believe what they were seeing. Bufan is a wife beater. This title was absolutely mind-blowing. Netizens were stunned at first, then burst out laughing. What a joke. Yesterday he was a wife-protecting demon, and today he's a wife beater. They couldn't wait to click the video in the post, wanting to see who was talking such nonsense. But once the video appeared, two men with serious expressions showed up. It was actually your former boy band members Chen Shuai and Yetian. Then Chen Shuai spoke. Hello everyone. I'm Chen Shuai, a former friend of Lufan. Why do I say former? Because I'm ashamed to be associated with such a person. I know you don't believe it, but he really is a wife beater. I have a recorded phone call as proof. Back when he begged me to help him make a comeback, I happened to record it. I didn't expect it to become evidence of his hypocrisy. I, Chen Shuai, dared to show my face, so I'm not afraid to confront him. As soon as these words were out, the netizens fell silent. A verified report with a real name made them waver for a moment. Then Yetian also held up his phone and shook it. I can testify that everything Chen Shuai said is true. Now let everyone listen to the original recording. After speaking, he immediately clicked play. The netizens instantly pricked up their ears, only to hear your voice coming from the phone. Brother Chen, do you think I can still return to the company? Chen Shuai's indifferent voice rang out. You already married a popular starlet? Why are you still thinking about that? The next second your voice came through again, carrying a trace of flippancy. Women, they're just like clothes. Career is still more important. Then, if you want to make a comeback, can Shen Youchu provide the means? In the recording, you gave a laugh and said a sentence that made the entire internet explode. To be honest, I'm the boss of this house. If she dares not to give it a good beating, we'll fix it. Women, you just can't spoil them. The recording ended there. But the internet's fury completely erupted. Disgusting. Is this even a man? He only knows how to bully his own woman. Not only did female netizens turn into warriors and flame you, even the men were filled with righteous indignation. Then, in the video, Chen Shuai, with a face full of anger, continued the finishing blow. Did everyone hear that? This is the wife-protecting demon you guys were talking about. I, Chen Shuai, will never stand on the same side as a wife beater. The video stopped abruptly, but the comment section had already fallen. I must have been blind to like this kind of person. Hearing the recording made me gag. Just how filthy is Lufan behind the scenes? My heart was instantly torn to pieces. Countless people told you to get out and speak up, while at this moment you were quietly looking at your phone, listening to that recording. A familiar sense of disgust surged up again. You rushed into the bathroom and started vomiting. It was as if, in an instant, you had returned to being that original repressed Lufan. Those things were all facts. They had truly happened. You had no way to refute it. The pain Shen Youchu suffered in the past was likely even worse. The phone rang frantically, but you didn't even look at it. For the first time, you chose to escape, burying yourself deep under the covers, as if this would make things feel a bit better. What pained you wasn't being flamed, but those memories surging back into your mind. The suffering of Shen Youchu and Wanwan vividly flashed before your eyes. You finally realized you had never actually forgiven yourself. Even though you were making amends every single second, it couldn't change the facts of the past. Meanwhile, inside the apartment, Shen Youchu was anxiously dialing your number over and over. After seeing the post, she was incredibly worried. Silently, she understood the current you better than anyone. She watched your changes, watched you atone little by little. She understood it all. She had long since stopped caring about the past, but she knew that the current you definitely couldn't forgive yourself. Beside her, Sister Yoon and Zhao Chu were full of heartache, both angry and at a total loss. The phone still wouldn't go through. It was as if you had vanished from the face of the earth. Shen Youchu's heart instantly twisted with worry. Wanwan in her arms looked up. "Mommy, are you calling Daddy? Mommy, why don't we go find Daddy?" Wanwan's single sentence woke Shen Youchu up. She couldn't sit still any longer, rising in a panic, and stumbling as she rushed out the door. "She was coming to find you." Soon, Shen Youchu arrived out of breath at your room door. Biting her lip, she knocked gently on the door. No reply. She didn't hesitate, knocking again and again. Today she was determined to get you to come out, under the covers. You were finally disturbed by this persistent knocking. Dragging your heavy body, you opened the door, and what met your eyes were Shen Yuchu's reddened ones. In just one day, seeing her again, you didn't even dare to look her in the eye. Standing at the door, you were at a loss. She must have seen that post too. Did she remember all those things from before again? You silently closed the door, like a prisoner about to enter an execution ground. What is he thinking? His voice was hoarse, and his heart was filled with terror. Now that everyone knows, what will he do? Get a divorce. But just then, Shen Youchu saw your gaze and instantly got triggered. She suddenly dragged you onto the bed and bit down hard on your arm. Intense pain flared up, snapping you back to reality. You subconsciously wanted to pull back, but you endured it through gritted teeth. Let her vent. It'll make her feel better. Until Shen Youchu let go and looked up to see your gentle gaze. She couldn't hold back her tears anymore. "Are you stupid?" she cried out, immediately pulling up your sleeve. A row of deep bloody teeth marks on your arm was a shocking sight. "All right, now we're even," Shen Youchu said with a sob, throwing herself into your arms. "Now you've been domestic abused too. We're even, so you're not allowed to be sad anymore." In this moment, you were completely stunned. The warmth in your arms felt so unreal. In disbelief, you stroked her head. It was real. Your mood instantly shot from hell to heaven. You grinned and laughed. Shen Youchu said, "We're even." Ever since isekaiing here, you had always been walking on eggshells, always feeling like you owed them. Now finally someone told you that you were even. It's so good. Tears fell uncontrollably. You aren't just redeeming them, you're redeeming yourself. The two of you hugged and sobbed like idiots. After a long time, Shen Youchu muffled in your arms and whispered, "Don't ever do this again. Wanwan and I will worry about you." You nodded heavily, your voice hoarse. "I won't. You always say that." Shen Youchu looked up. His face was flushed and eyes were slightly red. As he looked at you with watery eyes, suddenly he seemed to think of something, and a surge of excitement burst from his eyes. "Right. I think I found that melody." "What melody?" You couldn't help but reach out and rub her little head, as if you were rubbing a puppy's head. "It's for that song I've been working on. I suddenly have inspiration now." As soon as she finished speaking, she broke free from your embrace to strike while the iron was hot. You scratched your head with a bit of regret, took out some sheet music from your bag and handed it to her. "I was actually planning to write a song tonight." "But you go ahead." Shen Youchu nodded with a red face, sat cross-legged on the bed, and quickly began her creation. She hummed a little tune as her pen flew across the page. In just a short moment, a complete piece of music appeared on the paper. She looked up joyfully, staring straight at you. "I finally did it. Do you want to take a look?" You shook your head gently. "I'd rather you sing it for me." Shen Yuchu's face turned even redder, whispering, "There are no lyrics yet. Humming is fine too." You urged her with a smile. Finally, she nodded shyly. Without any accompaniment, only her soft humming echoed. However, the moment the melody entered your ears, you froze right where you stood, your gaze full of shock. You had heard this melody before. In your original world, unable to believe it, you continued to listen intently until the humming ended. "Wait a second," you suddenly interrupted as you hurriedly grabbed a pen and quickly wrote something down. Shen Yuchu was completely confused, but when she leaned her head in and saw what you were writing, a brilliant light suddenly erupted in her eyes. On the paper, the word courage was written in large letters. It was actually the lyrics. You had only heard her hum it once and already wrote the lyrics. Shen Yuchu leaned in to take a look. Instantly thrilled, these lyrics were exactly what she had dreamed of, even better than what she had imagined. Her face flushed. Her gaze shifted from the lyrics to your serious profile. In this moment, as if possessed, she couldn't help but give your cheek a quick kiss. Your hand gave a sudden jerk, the ink instantly smudging on the paper. Your whole body felt like it was hit by a lightning bolt. The moist, soft sensation on your right cheek, as clear as a branded mark. You looked down at the lyrics on the paper, your heart already exploding with joy. This is the courage Shen Youchu wanted. But after doing it, Shen Youchu instantly panicked. She lowered her head, wishing she could find a hole to crawl into. Fortunately, you didn't have much of a reaction. Otherwise, she would have definitely fled in embarrassment. You obviously knew she was shy, so you suppressed your pounding heart and continued finishing the lyrics. Finally, you pretended to be nonchalant as you handed her the lyrics. See if you can sing the whole thing for me now. After the song ended, you smiled and nodded. It sounds great. The next match is in the bag. It's because your lyrics are good. If it weren't for my wife's melody, I wouldn't have thought of these lyrics. The mutual praise began. But who knew that as soon as the word wife came out, Shen Yochu would instantly lose her composure. She buried her face in her chest like an ostrich, feeling both shy and sweet. However, before you could finish enjoying this beautiful sight, the piercing ring of a cell phone abruptly shattered the romantic atmosphere in the room. You picked up the phone. The screen clearly showed the contact manager Lee. You raised an eyebrow. It seemed Li Xia had seen the post as well. The moment the call connected, you still spoke gently. Is something up? Li Xia on the other end was clearly taken aback. She asked cautiously, there are some nasty rumors online. Aren't you going to clarify things? You subconsciously looked at Shen Yuchu. She was pretending to be focused on the music draft, but her wandering eyes betrayed her. You gave her a playful wink, and her little face instantly turned beet red. She hurriedly looked away. Right after, you calmly dropped the bombshell into the phone. There's no need to clarify. It's all true. The other end of the line fell into a dead silence. After a long while, Li Xia's voice came through filled with disbelief. Why I don't believe the you in my memories. But you cut her off directly. Manager Lee, how much do you actually know about me? Everything online is true. If you do something wrong, you must be punished. As for those comments, let them say what they want. Your gaze, from beginning to end, stayed on Shen Yuchu. Incredibly gentle. As long as the person I care about understands me, that's enough. Silence again on the phone. Li Xia's voice carried an obvious sense of disappointment. All right, I understand. I'm hanging up then. Yo, just put down the phone. When Shen Yuchu's voice drifted over. You're too cold. That's not good. You were full of question marks. Were you cold? Unexpectedly, Shen Yuchu added another sentence, her eyes dimming slightly. That girl must like you. What Li Xia likes me. You scratched your head, instantly feeling a massive headache coming on. I only see her as an ordinary friend. But how do you know? Shen Yuchu suddenly looked up and stared at you. Her tone was incredibly firm. I just know. I trust my intuition. You scratched your head, looking completely sincere. Your intuition is wrong. I'm a man with a wife and a child. Developing feelings for others would be very disrespectful. Love should be serious and exclusive. Looking at your earnest gaze, Shen Yuchu nodded gently, but a sense of urgency surged in her heart. Just because you don't like others doesn't mean they won't like you. That older woman was much better than her. You looked at her in confusion. Recalling the conversation just now, you suddenly realized something. With a playful glint in your eyes, you nudged her arm. You're totally jealous. Shen Yuchu instantly panicked, her face exploding in red. No, I'm not. Her voice was loud, but her reaction was even louder. Case closed, it's definitely jealousy. The smile on your lips deepened as you quietly watched her performance. Unexpectedly, the more Shen Yuchu tried to explain, the more flustered she got, both shy and annoyed. Finally, she could no longer withstand your gaze, and recklessly tossed the draft onto the bed. Fine. I'm jealous? Who told such a big beauty to like you? Your smile grew thinner and more dangerous. The next second, you suddenly leaned in close to her, your voice full of temptation. Then how about I give you a stamp? That way you won't be jealous anymore, right? Your face was incredibly close, your breath hitting her skin. Shen Yuchu's heart rate spiked, beating faster and faster, as if it were about to jump out of her throat. Then, under your watchful gaze, she slowly closed her eyes, her small mouth pouting slightly, your heart filled with joy. As you closed your eyes and slowly leaned in, afterwards Shen Yuchu was about to join the New Song Festival quarterfinals. Currently, she was practicing at Starry Entertainment. You returned to the apartment. Only the nanny Sister Yun was home with your daughter Wan Wan. Sister Yun's attitude toward you was complex. She was grateful for your recent changes and help, yet she remembered the pain you caused Shen Yuchu in the past. However, seeing your current care for your wife and daughter, she also felt relieved. She informed you that Shen Yuchu was at the company. Hearing this, you decided to take Wan Wan to visit the set, to give your wife a surprise. At this time, the online cursing against you continued. Netizens even formed denunciation groups, hoping Shen Yuchu would take this chance to get a divorce. However, Shen Yuchu's Weibo, suddenly updated with a pinned post, found my true love in this life. How fortunate I am. When a gentleman corrects his faults, everyone supports him, and my heart feels the same. These few lines instantly made netizens explode, speculating whether Shen Yuchu was being controlled. You brought Wan Wan to Starry Entertainment, and ran into Chen Tian, who was also a contestant. Chen Tian was a fan of Shen Yuchu. After meeting you in person, she thought you were okay, and even asked for your signature. Later, you went to the recording studio, watching Shen Yuchu sing seriously through the glass, your eyes full of tenderness. As the song ended, Shen Yuchu saw you father and daughter and was overjoyed, shout-calling husband shyly and sweetly. The second episode of the New Song Festival arrived as scheduled. With unprecedented hype, you brought Wan Wan to the scene low-key wearing a mask. Shen Yuchu's opponent was Xiao Feibai from Prosperity Entertainment. Before the competition started, the audience loudly questioned Shen Yuchu on whether she posted the Weibo herself or if she was being coerced. Shen Yuchu's gaze was firm, looking at you below the stage. She loudly announced, "I like Lu Fan. He is great. Some love is simply destiny." Then the big screen displayed the song title, Courage. Lyrics Lu Fan, composition Shen Yuchu. The intro began. Shen Yuchu sang with deep emotion, the lyrics hitting people's hearts directly. This naked confession made the entire audience and netizens go numb. Turns out this wasn't a public trial. It was a flex of their relationship. As the song finished on stage, the direction of public opinion shifted drastically. Everyone began to bless this couple and their mutual love. In the end, Shen Yuchu advanced to the Final Four with a high vote count. After the match, Starry Entertainment took the chance to clarify you didn't commit domestic abuse. The two were simply in a mutual pursuit of love. That night, you held Shen Yuchu's hand and strolled the streets. You explored the snack street like a couple in a honeymoon phase. Watched a movie, and inside the cinema, you couldn't help but steal a kiss from Shen Yuchu, making her feel incredibly shy. Although there are still some small misunderstandings between you, the feelings between you are heating up fast. After a brief reunion, you take Wanwan back to Jiangcheng, while Shen Yuchu stays in Shanghai to prepare. Back in Jiangcheng, you're busy finding a kindergarten for Wanwan. Even though you missed the registration deadline, relying on the popularity of Bufan's little princess, you still smoothly managed to get her enrolled at the Zhanghua kindergarten. Meanwhile, a conspiracy in Shanghai is currently brewing. To get revenge, Yingping, a former executive at Starry Entertainment, teamed up with mentors Wang Bin and Ran Xiaoxiao, attempting to rig the next match. To make Shen Yuchu lose to Chen Qian, they even brought in the so-called music godfather No Face to write a song for Chen Qian. New Song Festival Episode 3, the semifinals. Shen Yuchu versus Chen Qian. Host Chen Shuer intentionally stirs up trouble, asking if your new song was still written by you. Shen Yuchu handles it calmly. During the match, Shen Yuchu performs Flower Sea. The beautiful intro instantly draws the audience in. Shen Yuchu's performance is deeply moving, as if it were her own solo concert. The entire venue erupts in thunderous applause. By contrast, Chen Qian's sweet song was okay, but it paled in comparison to Flower Sea. However, the voting process had an accident. Although Gao Yu voted for Shen Yuchu, and Xue Yu gave Chen Qian a pity vote. But Wang Bin and Ran Xiaoxiao actually both voted for Chen Qian, resulting in Chen Qian taking the lead. The whole place went into an uproar. Cries of rigged came from everywhere. But at the critical moment, Xue Yu stood up. "Excuse me. Host, let me interrupt. There's an issue with the votes. I need to apologize to Shen Yuchu and the audience. I'm sorry. I previously received word from Starry Entertainment's operations manager Yingping. He told me that since Chen Qian and Shen Yuchu are both with Starry Entertainment, if the gap between them was too large, I should give Chen Qian a pity vote. I didn't want to let her lose too badly. But now it actually allowed Chen Qian to advance. I feel like I'm responsible because of my actions today. It led to Shen Yuchu being eliminated. I'll resign from New Song Festival to take responsibility." Chen Qian even went as far as announcing her withdrawal, stating that Shen Yuchu's Flower Sea was far superior to hers. The truth was finally out. The program director Ren Chao rushed to save the day, announcing a revote and the removal of the involved mentors. Ultimately, Shen Yuchu successfully advanced. Afterward, Yingping was fired by Starry Entertainment. The involved mentors also had their reputations ruined. No Face, because his song lost to yours, held a deep grudge. He publicly provoked you on Weibo and issued a challenge to have a final showdown in the finals. No Face's provocation set the internet on fire. The media hyped up the battle between the old and new generations. You weren't one to back down either, responding that you'd fight if he wanted to fight. Prosperity Entertainment took the chance to invite No Face to write a song for finalist Miao Ayun. The keyword for the first round of the finals was tragic horror. For No Face, who specialized in this style, this was a godsend. But for you, it was a brand new challenge. Shen Yuchu was worried sick about this, but you seemed to have everything under control. To find inspiration, Shen Yuchu even accompanied you to watch horror movies, ending up scared out of her wits herself, which actually led to some skinship between you two. The next day, you brought out a new song. On the night of the finals, all eyes were on the stage. Miao Ayun was the first to perform, singing No Face's creation Mournful Plea. The first half of the song depicted the pain of cancer patients, while the second half was oppressive instrumental music. Though it was a bit dark, its artistic value was top tier. No Face was brimming with confidence. Then Shen Yuchu stepped onto the stage, wearing a bright red wedding dress and a phoenix crown. Her makeup was tragic and resentful, and her eyes were hollow. The song title slowly appeared, Marriage. The music began to play. The erhu and pipa interweave a desolate melody. Shen Yuchu opens with opera vocals stunning the entire audience. The lyrics describe a ghost wedding. Not a single word mentions sadness, yet every line is soaked in it. As the song progresses, the suona suddenly blares, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. That bone-deep desolation and terror made the audience's scalps go numb. Shen Youchu's performance, without blinking once, was hailed by netizens as the most beautiful ghost bride. She defeated cancer with an overwhelming advantage. With a 4-0 mentor vote and 88% of the audience vote, Shen Youchu won a landslide victory. No Face was completely crushed, keeping his promise to drop the Music Godfather title and apologize. After the match, you wait for Shen Youchu outside. Shen Youchu tells you that Zhao Chuchu already left and she didn't bring her apartment keys. With a silent understanding, you both head to a hotel. In the hotel room, the atmosphere is romantic and tense. You step out of the shower to find Shen Youchu crying. She opens up feeling like she doesn't deserve you. The closer she gets, the more she fears losing you. You gently cup her face, telling her that you used to be insecure too, but she was the one who gave you that spark. Everything is the best arrangement of destiny. Destiny's plan is the greatest. Your words make Shen Youchu turn her tears into a smile. You embrace each other tightly, and at this very moment, you finally understand each other's hearts completely. Two hearts are pressed together without any reservations. In the future, you will walk hand in hand, whether through storms or glory, facing it all together.